Lock in, Nick Matau. Time to lock in. Thanks, Legima, for the early super chat. Collapsed again. When will we learn to just be nice? Why can't we be friends? Hello. You guys, I turned on my YouTube chat. I turned on what's it called? Something called like slow mode, where you can only send a message every 3 seconds. I hope that's like short enough. Let me know if that's not or that's too long. The only reason I'm doing it is I'm trying to stop like the once in a while we get people who just like copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. You know what I mean? But I'm not trying to stop like normal messages that are just people are just, commenting a lot, but like normal stuff. So I thought 3 seconds made sense, but I don't know. Maybe it should have been less. Nick, love your reels. Thanks, I appreciate it. Nick, would you and Mrs. visit Samoa in the future? Absolutely. Absolutely. Of course, you're not America first. American first? Yes, I am. But it doesn't even put America. Did you watch the Owen Schroyer and Andrew Wilson debate? I saw a little bit at the end when they were doing Q&A, but I didn't get to see the whole thing. I still haven't even watched the Jubilee stuff today.
Yo, America first or Israel first, bro?
I literally just answered that. Are you not listening?
Well, I mean, like you didn't really answer it fully. I want
did.
like more of an answer instead of saying just like America
I did.
first.
How is that not
So
an answer? You said America
come
first.
on.
Relax. You said America first or Israel first. I said America first, and you said that's not really an answer. How is that not? Those are the only two options you gave in your question. So how is that not answering the question?
Because you're not elaborating on it.
But your question, okay. Do you like pizza or tacos?
I like both, bro.
Okay, fair enough. But you answer the question nonetheless. Imagine if I said, you didn't answer the question. You're like, what do you mean? I said both. And I'm like, yeah, but you didn't elaborate. If you want me to elaborate, then tell me why I'm America first and I'll elaborate. But see how you just answered the same way I did? You get what I'm saying?
So why are you America first?
I'm an American.
So how?
Like I have a tendency. Wait, are you asking why am I American first or how am I America first?
I guess more specifically what I'm asking is how is Israel furthering Americans' goals?
Yeah, sure. I think we have a lot of the same interests. Of course, we're two sovereign countries, so we're not always going to line exactly the same, but a lot of the interests and intelligence that they have help America. They are one of our only allies that actually... Wait, why'd you run away? All right. Guess that guy got real scared. What's up, Shay? See you over there.
Hey, Nick, it's Shay. How's it going? Long time no see.
What's up? Yeah.
Good to see you. All I wanted to say to that knucklehead is that they think that they're mutually exclusive. They think that if it's good for America, it is therefore not good for Israel and vice versa. And they don't understand that we can have mutual objectives, mutual desires, goals, and what's usually good for us is usually good for Israel and vice versa. And there's no problem with that. Alhamdulillah, la 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 la
la. Big facts. I agree.
All right.
All right, bro.
Tell your lovely wife I say hello, and we'll all pray to our mutual friend behind you.
Will do. Thank you.
Catch you later, brother. All right.
Catch you later. Thanks, Matt Nuclear, for the super chat. Matt Nuclear, are you posting on YouTube yet? Yeah, you are. Look at that. You are. Everyone, if you guys are on YouTube, you said that guy that just sent the super chat, Matt Nuclear, you guys should already know him. If you don't, he's absolutely incredible. Very smart for his age, especially. Actually, he's smart regardless. It's not like just for his age. I'm just saying especially for his age. So you guys go boost up his YouTube channel. Posted his reaction to Rudy Rockman. Oh, you know what? I saw some of his short clips from that. He did a long one. Okay, fair enough. What's up, America First? How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good. I mean, I would love to talk to you, but, I was so scared that a lot of times where, someone looks like someone will be on live, and I've seen it before, but, I'm glad I was talking to you right now. I am from the Middle East. I was born there. I came when I was a young kid.
Yep.
And you always shares your view. I see you on YouTube all the time, and your views or your topics are very simple and easy.
Hmm.
The biggest enemy is not by who has Air Force better because they cannot compete with USA. What I'm trying to say is they are fighting inside. They are immigration. They're walking in. They are building small towns and they are growing. And you brought this issue many times, and people don't see it. A lot of American naive, they don't see it. I see it when I was a kid. I see it in my own country. I could say what country, it doesn't matter, but even the country I was in, it was not bad. It was nothing like Afghanistan or nothing like that. But even though you have those inside, they live in, like when they don't have the power, they stay quiet. Once they get that power, you will hear them loud and clear. And that's all the point I want to tell you.
Fair enough. Appreciate that, man.
Thank
Hey
you.
guys, really quick announcement. My account was banated yesterday for 3 days. I made a backup. Everybody follow so that we can continue things as normal. Nick, tell everybody to follow me because they'll listen to you.
Thanks, Matt Nuclear, for the other super chat. I will check the clip you sent. You debated Simple Black Theory. Yeah, he ran away from me yesterday saying he was too busy to debate, but I guess that wasn't true. Yeah, everyone, if you're on TikTok, just click the panel. She's already on the backup, so you don't have to go find it. All you got to do is click it, go to her profile, follow, and then back. You can come right back to the live. Very easy.
Thank you guys.
She does a lot of work behind the scenes. Yes, she is my wife, but still, she does a lot more than you guys think behind the scenes, including helping people stay on TikTok, but still be able to watch the times I go on Umingle, where I end the live on TikTok because TikTok don't really like when I go on Umingle, so I'm trying to protect the account. That's kind of why she got bananaed yesterday, but she will, kind of risk her accounts, and they'll go on Coach's live or her own live to be able to stream it so you guys can stay on TikTok and watch it. So
yeah, thank you, baby, for saying that. I just mostly try and keep the engagement. If you want to get to Nick, it's probably better to go through me, honestly, at this point. And we appreciate you guys.
Donnie's just more personal than I am. It's not that it's just.
We're going to also create an email that will be able to get back to you guys sooner. So we'll let you know. Probably we'll do that after Israel. And so thanks. Follow me here. And let's get the show started.
Chaim, thanks for the super chat. Why isn't Jubilee releasing your video? Yeah, like I said yesterday, I thought it was a little weird because I would have thought it was. I can't tell you guys what the topic is, but it's just something that it doesn't make a lot of sense to wait on. But they're trying to release it sometime in the last half or more of May, so we'll see. It's just sorry guys, I don't have control on it. Simple Black Theory dropped Matt Nuclear. Yeah, I didn't even tell you guys this yesterday. It was pretty funny. What happened was he debated Maddie. He just the whole time I was there, but I'm sure the entire time it was like that. But I saw the last third of the debate, if you will. He just kept screaming over her, literally just would not let her speak. She was being a little too nice in my opinion, but that's Maddie. And he just kept switching the topic and screaming and being very, very performant. It was really weird. He was like I'm not even I can't even exaggerate to his levels. I'm gonna do my best. He's just ask people in the streets, they know my name. He was just doing shit like that the whole time. It was just really weird. It's why are you talking about the streets? We're on TikTok debating. What are you talking about right now, bro? Anyways, so she let me up. She's like, you know what? You're interrupting me too much. The debate's done. You can stay up if you want, but I'm done debating you. And she just lets me up. He sees my face, immediately freaks out. And he's just like, I'm going to debate Nick in June. But it's really funny. He goes, you're so bad. You're as bad as Maddie. You don't know anything about Israel. And I'm like, all right, cool. If I don't know anything about Israel, why don't you just debate me tomorrow night? Why did you say in your comment section, because he told one of his own followers who's like, why don't you just debate Nick? And he's like, oh, I need at least a month to prep to debate Nick. And I'm like, wait, that doesn't make a lot of sense. How can I be super bad and I don't know anything, but you also need an entire month? I've seen people say, can I get a week to kind of, prep a little? Okay, fine, but a month? And so I asked him that. I was like, if I'm so bad at debating, why do you need an entire month? And then he ran away. It was really funny. But I guess Matt Nuclear sent me actually, let me see if I can just pull it up right now. We can watch it all together. What Matt Nuclear sent me. Matt, this is just like a normal clip, right? I can play it. It's not gonna be anything weird. It's not gonna be like a picture of you at the beach or anything like that. I'm going to go ask the streets. Yeah, he literally told me that. He's like, he called me a failed engineer, whatever that means. And then he said, ask people, because he told me that he was just like too busy to debate, which again, obviously wasn't true. Then he's like, I do stuff, I work. And then Maddie's like, didn't you admit that this is your full-time job? And he's like, you got to ask people in the streets. They know my name. I'm not even kidding. He literally said this. It was really funny. All right. Let me... Hold on. Let me add the video that Matt just sent me. Ellie, I know you're up here. I see you. Just give me 1 second, please.
Let's start with this. What is the Greater Israel Project?
So the Greater Israel Project is basically Israel trying to expand their land and try to get back to what quote unquote.
Actually, hold on. Let me get it up on YouTube first before I play it. Actually, this might be a little difficult because I was just thinking. The winner takes it all.
Well, baby, can you mod me? Give me all the mod powers. Mossad
Yeah,
powers.
absolutely. 1 second, please.
Just a big reminder, please follow me on this account. Almost 300 people. I'm trying to get my followers up. Thank you. Mike asks, are you pro or against APAC?
Neither. I think APAC is pretty useless in a lot of ways, but that doesn't mean I'm necessarily against them. I like the idea of advocating for American-Israeli relations. I just don't know if they're the best ones to do it. I wish they were as effective, even half as effective as everyone thinks they were. That'd be great. There you go, mods. All right, let's go.
It's Omegle time, everyone!
That's not the right one. That's the other one.
Greater Israel Project.
So the Greater Israel Project
keep
is
forgetting to play
basically
Arabs
Israel
and
trying to
Carstal.
expand their
hold
land
on.
and try to get back to.
I have to replay it.
Sorry.
Let's start with this. What is the Greater Israel Project?
Thanks.
So the Greater Israel Project is basically Israel trying to expand their land and try to get back to what quote unquote Israel was before, taking Lebanon, Syria, and expanding past that as well.
Okay. Would you say that this has like been a general goal of the Israeli government since its inception in 1948?
Yes.
Okay, great. So when we're talking about Israel and taking land, do you know the territory that was the most largest in terms of like square miles that Israel has actually taken?
No, not in particular.
Yeah, you know what the Sinai Peninsula was, or is?
No, what is that?
It's the peninsula in northeast Egypt. It's more than 3 times Israel's size. Israel took it during the 1967 Six-Day War.
Okay, yeah. I believe they took a whole bunch of other places too.
Not really, but Israel took control of the Sinai Peninsula, and they gave it back in 1982.
They grew by like 78%. I know that for sure. They grew very large after the
They grew more than that, bro.
Multiple lands for sure.
Yeah, they took the Sinai Peninsula, right, as a defensive measure, obviously against Egypt, because that's the main way Egypt can attack Israel. But through the Camp David Accord, specifically in 1979, they agreed to give it back. 3 years later, in 1982, they gave that land completely back. And so if Israel has a goal of Greater Israel, why is it giving back territory more than 3 times its size for recognition?
First of all, that's literally how delegation works. If there's delegations happening, it's happening. But let's look at Lebanon. Israel
Delegations
20%.
makes you no longer.
That's diplomacy, and then if you
why would they?
I'm sorry, guys.
So would you agree that Nazi Germany was an expansionist state?
Yes.
Did they ever give back land due to diplomacy?
Well, okay. Can we agree?
Like,
okay.
what?
Oh wait, no, that doesn't make any sense.
That's
Oh no, that doesn't make any sense.
hilarious. He didn't know what Sinai was, and he thinks he needs only a month to prep for me.
Yeah,
I
he'll
don't
need way
know,
longer than that.
bro. I don't know. That
I don't
sounds
know.
sounds a little sketchy.
He'll never debate you, baby.
a couple things. Well, he said he wants to debate in June. I'm just gonna wait till June. I'll be like,
Thank
all
you,
right,
guys.
it's June. A couple things. One, how the fuck do you not know what Sinai is? Two, Matt correctly said that it was 3 times the size of Israel, and then he says they expanded 78%. No, they expanded way more than 78%. That's just a Sinai alone. 3, I like how he flips the whole goal. Is like, oh yeah, Israel really, really wants greater Israel. And then Matt's just like, well, Camp David, which was in 1978, and then from 79 to 82, they start to give back, the
Thank you.
Sinai little by little, but they give it all back between 79 to 82. And then he goes, well, yeah, that's delegation. It happened. Well, that's not really the point Matt was making, was it? The point is why would they even do that delegation or anything if the whole thing is about Greater Israel Project? Which, I mean, pretty base if you ask me, but I get it. That's an extremist point of view. That's hilarious. And notice how, and Matt did what Matt he should have done. Matt did a good job when he tried to, you see where he tried to like flip it on Matt. He's like, well, delegation. Let's talk about Lebanon, because he thinks he knows more about Lebanon. So he wanted to try to like force Matt into a new conversation. And Matt didn't take the bullet, which is exactly what you should do. That's amazing. Anyways, Ellie, good job, Matt. Ellie, go ahead. Sorry for the wait.
Hey, man.
Delete that.
I was wondering 2 things. Number one, is there a better way for America to educate people about, like, better education about Israel and about Jewish people, or is that just not so important?
Why would America need to educate Americans on Israel?
On Jewish people in general.
Oh, okay, maybe there's some overlap there, because Jews go back to the beginning and before the beginning of this country. So of course there should be talks about that, but beyond that, why would they need to?
Well, because all the false information I'm saying is like not necessarily in a classroom, but like in the sense of all the hatred that's coming out against Jews.
I mean, I have to know what you mean. Well, first let me read this real quick, because I missed it earlier. BRBVB, thank you. Your videos kept me going through rough times. Can't believe you won't be going live while on the road. I'll try to do some lives, you guys. I'll figure it out.
And I will. And when I'm with Nick, I'll go
this is on
live. And we're
YouTube.
like
It's on my-
out.
on
Oh,
YouTube,
okay.
though.
I see what you're saying.
Weather in Israel should be nice. Yeah, the weather is actually gonna be nice.
Definitely follow
Levin's-
Nick around on TikTok then, because
Yeah, I might do some impromptu lives on TikTok, but anyways, love
and
support
me
to
as
you.
well, because
Love and
I'll
support
like
to-
go live and like show what Nick's doing and shit. Sorry.
Love and support to you and Danielle from Canada. Thank you, and thank you for the membership. I cannot pronounce that name; it's in Russian, but thank you. Yeah, I mean, what is it that you envision? Like, what exactly you think the government should like? What is it that you envision for me to say I agree or don't agree on?
I guess my point is, like, for example, we say Israel's our ally, our biggest ally, and we know that our citizens obviously are the ones that are voting for presidency and voting for things. And if we sway to a point where they don't like Israel anymore, and we cut relations with Israel, then I feel like that's not going to be like so good for, like, not like horrible for America, but it's not going to be like the best for America. We lose a lot of we lose a very big ally, and on top of that, the people that live in America itself.
Sure, but why do you think putting Jews into listen, I understand Jews are in a special predicament that we don't see amongst other groups of people, that in terms of how much hate they get and how much double standards and singular standards the Jews get. So you may be quick to say, well, we should counter that by also putting the Jews in a special position of teaching people more on why maybe they're wrong about the Jews and Israel and whatnot. I'd caution you from that, because some people, a lot of people who aren't even like necessarily like hateful of the Jews. I'm not talking about like these far right people or even like leftists that are anti-Semitic. I'm just talking about like people that are starting to like raise their eyebrows. Like, well, why is it, that we have this like kind of special thing with Jews? I'd caution you to like put yourself more as a group of people into the limelight in that way, because you might think, oh, if we can just educate some people, it'll all work out. That's not true, unfortunately. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know I sound a little hypocritical right now because my whole thing is about educating and stuff, but that's to people that are willing to have the conversation. 99% of the time, they're people who aren't going to change their mind anyways, but they bring up the points for people that are listening to my lives to either they're already on my side and they learn more so they can debate it better, or they're people that are center. There's been dozens of people over the past 2.5 years that have come up to me and said, I was pro-Palestinian, I started watching your lives, I am now pro-Israel. That's not a lot, but for an individual, I think that's a lot. But that being said, as a massive thing, listen, we all just need to do our part, and I think truth always prevails, and we should just kind of let that play out. I know it sucks and it's very negative right now, but I don't believe in this idea of like America should do more to educate Americans on why the relations with Israel is so important. Just treat Israel like any other country. You like her, you don't like her, and most importantly, most Americans don't give a shit, just like any other country. And once we can get back to a normalcy, right, I think things will just kind of go back to what it was before. Sure, there's still going to be a lot of people that hate Israel, but it won't be an influential voice saying it.
Okay, I guess my second question would be: is it fair to me, for me as an American Jew, to say that, like, because I was raised when I was like growing up, I felt like at one point I was like, I was raised like to be Jewish, whatever, but then at one point I was like, I'm American. Like I'm just as American as anybody else. And then as I started growing up, I started realizing like not really. I'm like segregated in a sense, in some senses. Maybe I'm using the word wrong, but I was wondering, I guess my question comes in, is it fair to me say for me to say as an American Jew that I'm Israel first, being an American?
You can do whatever you want. Do I agree with you? No, not at all. But you can do whatever you want. I think if you feel truly Israel first, I'm not going to bash you for it. And I can totally understand your point of view because you're being bashed so much in the country you grew up in that maybe you start to, not maybe, you'll start to push yourself back towards your community, which is the Jewish community, which is naturally going to have a connection to Israel. And so you'll start to feel more of a connection there than you will with the country that you feel is consistently bashing you. So I'm not coming from a place of judgment, but if you truly just feel Israel first, then you should make Aliyah. That's what you should do. It's no hard
What would you
feelings.
say?
Yeah, go ahead.
What would you say, babe, for someone like me who's a dual citizen and can't necessarily choose if somebody asks me to? Like, it's hard for me to choose one or the other.
Yeah,
Like, one
I don't
person.
agree with that. If you're in the United States of America, you should be America first, period. I don't care if you're a Jew, black,
But I was
white.
in Israel for 13 years.
Okay, if you're in Israel, then be Israel first. If you're here in America, living here, paying taxes here, you should be America first. That doesn't mean you have to hate Israel. And
Thank
that
you.
doesn't, by the way, that doesn't mean if you love Israel and want the best for it, that doesn't mean that you don't want the best for America. I want the best for Israel, and I'm still America first. Don't listen to these people that feel like, oh, it's this or that. No, it's not. That's just ridiculous. However, I'm very, very strong in the idea that if you are here, it should be America first. Now, maybe your idea of America first is, I think the relations between America and Israel are so strong that I'm going to advocate for that because I do care about Israel, and I do care about that idea of that relation with America because I believe, and I have reason to believe, that it's going to make America stronger. But if you're not there, if you're not that kind of America first, and you're just you're just in the idea that you actually want more for Israel, then go live in Israel. That's it.
I'll go
Thank
live
you
in
again. I
Israel.
can't
You stay
pronounce your
here.
name because it's Russian, but thank you for the super chat. Love from Florida. Thank you for everything you do. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hi, Matt.
Hey, what's up? I only came up for something really quickly. I'm going to drop. When it came to simple black theory, obviously, there's a big echo. Obviously, he was an idiot throughout the entire debate. But you shouldn't debate the guy, dude. Like, it would be ableism. Like, he's so dumb. It's
agree.
not even worth it. Like, he dropped me pretty
It's low-hanging
quick.
Please don't make fun of disabled people. It's not cool, man. It's not cool.
No, I mean,
Oh,
no,
shush, be quiet.
seriously, he's so dumb that it's honestly not even worth it. Like, when you're talking about Greater Israel, you don't know what the Sinai
I mean,
was.
his name is simple, so that
Yeah.
makes sense. Hey, the guy at the top, did you just get offended by disabled people?
Yeah, he's been offended in the comments, so I
No,
let him
I'm
up to say
offended.
his piece.
I'm autistic, and I take that as offense. You're making
I'm
fun of disabled
autistic.
people.
I'm autistic,
I think
and I don't
I'm
care.
saying it's a joke, like, because he's like.
Wait, hold on
He
one
wasn't
sec,
calling
Matt.
you-
Hold on one
he
sec.
wasn't
I'm
calling you stupid.
autistic. What does that have to do with anything?
Okay, then you should not want people to make
Not
fun of
being a
other
victim,
Why
bro.
would
disabled
it
people.
matter? He's
it's not
not. He's
funny
not
to make fun of
talking
disabled
about
people.
you. First off, autistic people aren't even generally dumb. In fact, most of the time, a lot of the times,
I
autistic
know
people
that,
are even.
but
So then, why
still, you
did
shouldn't
you?
make fun
If
of.
anything, what you said was actually fucked up because all he said was he was dumb, right? And you took that to be an attack on autistic people. So if anything, you're the one that's kind of calling autistic people dumb, not Matt.
No, I wasn't
You're
saying just
soft, bro.
autism. Okay, can
That
I
was that
talk?
you're the equivalent of if someone says criminal and then
You
someone
and
goes, "You're
Charlie
talking
Kirk
about
before
stop,
you,
shut up,
Ryan.
shut up,
Charlie
shut up,
Kirk's
shut up, shut up." Anyways, you're the equivalent of when someone says criminal and then some leftist comes out of the woods and goes, "Oh, you talking about black people?" And it's like, I never said black. You said black. That's kind of what you did just right now.
Yeah,
You said
nobody
dumb.
talked. Nobody
and
Okay,
talked
fine.
about
Can I talk
autistic
now? Can I talk
people.
now?
I don't know. I don't really like leftists offend like I'm offended by everything kind of people. To be real
You
with
say I'm a
you,
leftist? I used to support MAGA until I left the movement.
I don't particularly care what you did or didn't
Said
do.
anything
I'm
about
saying
MAGA.
you're acting like a leftist.
Okay, you're not. So you support Charlie Kirk, right?
Well, I did support him. That's correct. Yeah,
Yes.
he's dead.
Yes, but you can still support it even if he's dead. And also, I got a question for you.
No, you can't.
You're a little
I
bit all over the
supported-
place.
I got a question for you. Do you think Charlie Kirk would support the current administration of Trump?
I mean, we can just use his words. He consistently always said he did.
Well, you don't know if he would support it now because before Charlie Kirk was unalived, right? He was talking out against Israel. He was talking out against.
What did he say against Israel?
He said that they were gonna come after him actually,
When
and
did he
I'm
say
also.
that? Wait, stop, one at a time. When did he say that?
You can look at his friend.
Oh,
said
I
that
know where
he-
you're getting. Oh, his friend said that. Who was his friend's name?
I don't know. Remember the friend's name.
Okay,
but-
so the friend that said it. Okay, so no, you're wrong. I'm going to actually correct you. So Charlie Kirk never said that, by the way. First off, it wasn't even a friend. It was a friend of a friend who said that friend said that. That's where this guy's getting this information from. And then they later said that a pastor at the church that Charlie Kirk was at, one of Charlie's pastors, heard him say it. And that pastor came out immediately and said, "This is not true. This is fake news. Not only was this never said, I never even told anyone that I said it." So the original guy that said a friend of Charlie said it actually lied, and it's been confirmed by the people that they said heard it. So next point, and if you're going to quote
Okay.
Charlie Kirk, why don't you actually quote him? Don't say somebody said that.
Okay,
heard that he said.
can I talk now? Okay, let me talk. Okay, and then he.
How
was-
old are you, bud?
I'm 18, 2007, May 21st.
I didn't need you to do all that, but anyways, I need you to calm down a little bit, okay?
Okay,
Don't ask me
So I
if
got
you can
que-
talk. You know how conversations work.
I got a question for you. You know that he was saying that it would be a mistake to go with war with Iran, right?
Okay, and what did he say when Trump did actually bomb Iran during the 12-day war? What did he say?
I don't know exactly, but okay. Listen,
Okay, well,
can I
take a
ask-
guess. No, you can't. If you're gonna make a claim, you don't get to just like talk really fast and try to
Fuck
spit
Israel,
past it.
fuck your movement, fuck
Oh, here we
everything
go.
you
Here
do.
comes the
Burn
crash
Israel,
out.
burn Israel
Here
to
comes the
fucking
crash out.
ground.
Oh, wah. Here comes the leftist crash out. Wah.
I'm not leftist. I'm
Wah,
actually
I'm
a
not
right wing.
leftist. Oh,
I'm
no.
not a fucking dumbass.
No, yeah, you're just autistic,
You might as
dude.
well be at this
You're just-
point. You really might.
You're
as well
just severely autistic. I guess you and I got different spots on the spectrum. You know, I got highly functioning, and you're all
regarded.
fucking
got, like,
all the way
best
down at the opposite end of the spectrum, dude. Go fucking have your mom make your lunch for you, since I'm sure
The
you can't
fact that
fucking
he
do it
even
for
brought
yourself.
his autism into it at all is highly regarded, if you know what I'm saying. Nobody talked about that. Just talked about that dude's low IQ, and this guy's over here playing a victim.
So just so
Shut up.
everyone knows, because he didn't know, what Charlie said was, even though he wasn't necessarily for bombing Iran, he said a couple things. He said, one, we have to give President Trump some grace because he's very good, unlike prior presidents, at being able to figure out how to get in and out of conflicts relatively quickly, right? And he doesn't fight war, if you will, the same way old presidents have. Second thing he said was, I support my friend, Donald Trump. And he said, I will always, not sometimes, not up until Trump does this. He said, I will always support him because he's my friend and I trust him. So if Charlie was alive today, I'm not saying he would have flipped and been like, I'm so for this, I love it. I'm sure he would have his criticisms because he's an American that is allowed to have criticism of anything, whether it be about America, President Trump, Israel, anything for that matter. However, to try to pretend like he would completely flip to the other side, right, or just completely abandon, quote unquote, as he said, his friend Donald Trump, is absolutely insane. Anyways, Ellie, did you have anything else? I'm sorry.
I guess not. I'm gonna go down, I guess.
Nice.
Have a good night.
You too. Next is
Okay.
Super Chat, D-Sign. You're rubbing off on Andrew Wilson. He debated Owen Schroyer tonight. Is Trump successful? Andrew took the affirmative. No, I don't. I mean, thank you. I appreciate it. But no, Andrew has always actually defended President Trump from my understanding. Or at least for months he has been. He has his criticism, but I want to say he has been. But correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it's not like I watch Andrew Wilson all the time. But I did get to see a little bit of the debate. It was towards the end though, and they were already getting to answering questions, so it's not like I saw the whole thing. But I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure he's been defending Trump though. Andrew Wilson can, there's things I disagree with him in, but when it comes to like these Candace Owens and like Tucker, he doesn't side with those people. So anyways, Alter, go ahead. Sorry for the wait.
Hey, first of all, I appreciate you, and we're both on the same page. I want to ask a very specific question. There are 2 ships docked in Haifa with Ukrainian grain from the Russian-occupied lands. Why has Israel accepted them, and what's the situation there? And also,
You said Ukrainian what? I'm sorry?
Ukrainian grain.
Grain?
That was the grain that was farmed on land stolen from Ukraine by Russia. And it does speak about there's a really strange relation between Israel and Ukraine. Zelensky has asked Israel to.
You have this like ringing noise.
Okay. Well, Nick can explain to me.
I'm still a little confused at your question. You're saying Russia delivered it or Ukraine did?
Yes. No.
Okay.
Russia.
Okay. And what exactly is your question? Because you said they have a weird relationship with Ukraine. Did you mean to say Russia?
No, Israel.
No, the other one. You said Israel has a weird relationship with Ukraine. Did you mean to say with Russia?
And also with Russia. Yeah. There's a very strange relation.
Well, what is
between
strange?
Israel and
I'm sorry.
Strange. Just not.
Yeah, what is strange about it?
They consider them a strategic partner.
I would say they consider them. They have ties with them. That's true. Okay. What is your question? That Israel? Do I think that Israel should accept grain from Ukraine?
It's stolen. It's Russian land now that they stole from Ukraine.
Okay, so you're saying that you think it'd be better if Israel were to deny the
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
I don't know. Let me let Matt up because he seems to know about this already. But my guess is that it's probably necessary for Israel. And so go ahead, Matt. If you already know about this, feel free.
Yeah. So obviously everyone knows that like Ukraine's territory, about 20%, including Crimea, has been taken by Russia, right? And so one of the main things that Ukraine exports is grain. And so obviously when Russia took over Ukrainian territory, especially in the east, they have also been exporting Ukrainian grain using their own land. But the issue with like saying, well, why is Israel taking, Russian grain? Well, it's like, or Ukrainian grain that's stolen by Russia is because there's no way to decipher. Like, there's no way to delineate, like, okay, this is Russian grain that they didn't steal, and this is like, Ukrainian grain that Russia did steal, right? Because Russia does export grain itself. But yeah, in the territories they've conquered of Ukraine, they've also been exporting, obviously, Ukrainian grain, right? Because Ukraine, one of their biggest exports is also grain. And so that's basically clear. But you can't blame Israel for it because it's like, how is Israel supposed to know, okay, this is Russian grain, or this is like, Ukrainian grain that Russia stole? There's no real way.
Right.
You know what
It's kind of like they're asking Israel effectively to just like cut off everything that they already have ties with Russia. And it's like, even if maybe Israel were to aim that way into the future, that's not something that just, you could do like, in the snap of the finger. But anyways.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Fair enough.
And the second question, Nick, and because you were in the Navy,
sure.
Why is it difficult for the U.S. naval ships to attack these Iranian speedboats in the Strait of Hormuz?
Thank you, Colt. Thank you, brother.
Well, if they're farther away, which I'm going to assume there is, or they are, excuse me, my guess is that using munitions like torpedoes or whatever, whatever the case might be, larger munitions, it's not something that would be very easy to attack a speedboat on. Now, the speedboat gets close enough, then you can use closer weaponry, right? Mounted guns, for example, on the speedboats, and that would be easier. But my guess, without knowing much more information, is that they're probably somewhat farther away. Where are you getting the information that it's hard to attack them? Where's this coming from?
Well, I was just seeing how these speedboats were attacking container ships and others in the Straits, and the Navy is there.
I don't think the
isn't
Navy's in the Straits.
Oh, they're not actually in the Strait.
No, last I heard they were doing a blockade from outside of the Straits, like the Gulf of Oman and out. But I could be wrong. Did that change? It's possible it changed, and I just didn't hear about it. I don't think they're like literally just like chilling in the Strait itself.
Okay, so that would explain it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. Thank you, Real Soft, for the super chat. I like Charlie, but why is he being used for validating U.S. support for Israel? Say he did flip on Israel, so what? Then he's wrong. His support or not isn't the right or wrong choice. That's 100% accurate. Like, I loved Charlie, and I agreed with not everything, but a lot of stuff. But it's so true. Hypothetically, if we could, like, let's say, read the possible future where Charlie was alive, and let's say we can see that he completely flipped on Israel. It's like, yeah, I'm with you. That just means he'd be wrong. I mean, it's his opinion. Of course, he's allowed to do that. But yeah, this idea that there's a lot of people, people that ironically hated Charlie before that are trying to now use his words against him in a very disingenuous way. But also some people that love Charlie, they're like trying to make him like whatever he said is automatically was correct. Look, we all miss him, of course. But he wasn't God. He could say things that were wrong. In fact, he said a lot of things that were wrong, and sometimes he would correct himself later, and he got smart on some stuff. And he was his own individual person, just like anyone else. They can have their opinions on one thing versus another. Max, thank you for the super chat. Do you think America should support expansion of the settlements? I understand Israel's claim to the land, but it seems to cause more conflict. There are no settlements. If you're asking for like neighborhoods, Jewish neighborhoods in Judea, Samaria. If I was the American president, of course I would support that. Why wouldn't I?
I just want to thank Mix by Colt, by the way, for all the gifts. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, what's
Love
up,
you.
guys?
What's up, Spellrad? Go ahead.
All right. So first off, I just want a yes or no response. Does
Well,
Iran have
maybe.
ICBMs? Does Iran have ICBMs, to your knowledge?
Yeah, to my knowledge, no.
Okay. What if I can show you a video of Bibi himself saying that they were hit by an ICBM?
Well, it wouldn't. To me, for
Well,
my
he
knowledge,
quite literally says
wait, let me finish.
intercontinental
Let
ballistic
me
missiles.
finish. Let me finish. So a couple things. One, what year was this that he said this? Was this year or last year or before?
Fresh 2026.
Okay. So my guess, right, would be a couple things. One, you asked based off of my knowledge, right? If somebody sends an IC,
your
shut
book full of
up,
facts.
shut
That's what
up.
you-
Just let me finish. Based off of my knowledge, if somebody were to send from Iran to Israel, you could send technically an ICBM. I'm just saying based off of my knowledge, I wouldn't know if it was. BB would know more than I would because he has an entire intelligence that would be able to tell him. I'm going off of basic news information just like anyone else. But that being said, there are reports that have said that Iran has, not a lot, but has ICBMs. However, that's not confirmation. So I want to make sure you understand your original question was, do they have it based off of my knowledge? My answer, because you said only yes or no, has to be no because I'm not in any intelligence to be able to say otherwise. However, if there is an intelligence that says that they do, I'm inclined to believe that.
Well, look, I long story short, I forgot. It was one of their most recent attacks on Jerusalem, I think.
Okay, sure. So, okay.
He quite literally says, like, he was at the site which got blown up, and he says that they hit us with the intercontinental ballistic missile.
He said it in Hebrew or English?
Well, I don't know what exactly he got. I don't know what exactly got hit.
No.
but
Did he
it was-
say it in Hebrew or did he say it in English?
Right now.
I'm just gonna look it up.
I'll come right back.
So,
I'll be right back. Though.
Well, you
Yeah,
heard
if
him
you can
say
just- if
it.
you can
Did he
just
say it in
give
English
me-
or did he
yeah.
say it in Hebrew? What
Yeah,
language?
In English. He said in English. I'll come back right now with the source. I just gotta answer
Thank
these phone
you.
calls.
Just go get the source. Yeah. No, don't do anything with phone calls. Just go get the source. No, why are you running to... Fucking Jesus Christ, dude. Never mind. Shelly, go ahead.
Hello?
Hello.
Can you guys hear me?
Sure can.
So first of all, hello. My name is Shelly. I'm 25 years old, and I'm actually from Israel.
Mashallah.
And and I first of all wanted to thank you for everything that you've done. You and also your wife.
Ay, toda, mama.
I
It's our pleasure. And bemet.
Thank you. So I also got one question.
Go ahead.
And the question is, what do you think, in your opinion, is the solution for the Iranian people?
Like if I can choose anything, like snap my fingers kind of thing?
I guess so.
I mean, what I would like to see is a regime change, not just for the Iranian people, but for the whole world, because I want less Islamic regimes. But naturally, of course, that'd be best for the Iranian people. Realistically, let's say hypothetically, if that doesn't happen, I mean, I think unfortunately the Iranian people are always going to be oppressed as long as the Islamic regime is in power, whether they're weak or not.
Yeah.
If anything, sometimes them being weaker makes them even more aggressive, actually, just because when they feel weakened, they get more
Desperate.
desperate. Thank you. So,
You're welcome.
fortunately, if we're talking about solely the Iranian people right now, not just like goals of the United States of America during this war, like the overall like Iranian people, just not just now, but for the indefinite future, regime change would be the best thing, and probably the only good thing actually out of it.
I hear that morale. I hear that morale on like the ground in Iran is not great because they're just like giving up. Like they don't know what exactly to do. The organization is, you know.
Javid Chokesh.
I meant the Iranian people don't know what to do. Like they're not.
It's like
They're not really
stuck
trying to
in the
rise
middle of
up
something.
because they just seem defeated. Like they're not. I don't know.
They're trying to eat. Food prices have gone through the roof in Iran. Meat went up 700%.
Exactly. Yeah.
So they're having trouble eating right now.
Okay. You have anything else, Shelly?
No, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Okay. Yeah, so I just
Da.
what I just saw when I tried to look it up, because that guy ran away, so I was kind of like, I guess I'll just go
He's
find it
back.
myself. He is back? Oh, okay. Well,
what
let
it
me let
says.
him up real quick. Max, just wait 1 second, because this guy owes me an answer.
All right, so I have
Where'd you
the
go?
video of him just explicitly
Is this
saying
the
that he
one where
got
he's
hit.
wearing? Is this the one wearing the sunglasses video? Hey, we can't hear you when you pause, bud.
Oh no, it's not. It's not. Can I send you the video? It's a Twitter post.
I don't really. It's you could. I don't know how I'm gonna see.
I
it
mean,
right
this
now.
is because you don't know, right? So going forward, once you see him say this, when someone tells you this,
One second. I don't really care about the gish galloping. I really don't care. I don't really care about the gish galloping. I just trying to.
No, brother. I'm just trying to get you to acknowledge something new that you don't already know.
I understand, but I don't know you, right? It's not about acknowledging anything, especially if it's a Twitter post. Oh my god, you like have a hard time listening, huh?
I mean, I'm just trying to get the answer, man.
That's ironic. I just want you to listen a little bit, okay?
All right,
I'm
go
not
for
saying
it.
you're right or wrong. I have no idea, but especially if your source is a Twitter post and you're over here saying like, well, I'm just trying to get you. It's not about acknowledging anything. It's just about, I don't know you. I don't know this Twitter post. And also, I don't really know what BB was or wasn't talking about. And I don't even know if he's right. Like, there's a lot of things that go into...
And I'm trying to tell you...
I'm going to just mute you so you can shut up for a second. There's a lot of things that go into my standard of, like, maybe what I will and will not say moving forward. Okay? So I know he talked about intercontinental ballistic missiles with the Diego Garcia attack. That makes a lot more sense. Okay? But you're saying you're talking about something different. So, I guess... go ahead and send it to me. I guess you can
Just tell him
DM
what
me.
Twitter account. Just tell him what Twitter account.
Yeah, but then if it's posted a long time ago, it'll take forever to scroll.
Well, he said he just said it, so I don't know.
And he ran away again. All right, if you're still here, just DM me. I don't know. I'll look at it later, I guess.
And
Or
the question is,
maybe
did
I'll
he
look at
say
it
they
later.
had ICBMs, or did he say they're working on ICBMs?
I don't see why this actually matters.
It got
but-
hit. Their site got hit by ICBMs,
All
and
right.
it's
So do me a favor, stop running away because this is wasting time.
I'm clicking these URLs and I keep getting these phone calls, bro. Let me just
That
take care of this
has
phone call. I'm
nothing
not
to
gonna
do
leave the
with
site,
anything.
but I sent you it via
You
DM.
sent me a DM.
40 seconds. We're on
Great.
40.
Just all right, go away. All right, Max, go ahead.
Hey, what's going on, Nick?
Hello.
I just wanted to chat with you about like the kind of I guess I would say I've been talking to a lot of people about like the situation with the U.S. Iran, and I just keep getting like these super like kind of fear mongering like economic takes because they're saying like the fertilizer and the oil and the supply chains. Do you think like America has a plan to kind of mitigate all that as this conflict continues on?
Yes. So what he's talking. Wait, hold on. Let me just see this real quick. Yeah. So Trump. I mean, yeah, it's in the news right now. But Trump has not even actually right now. It was like a couple weeks ago. Trump has been securing the energy lanes that go from the Straits of Hormuz area all the way to the Straits of Malacca and Singapore, and they're doing deals. I mean, the news is actually pretty vague on the deals that they're doing with Singapore, but it's very, very, very obvious that they are doing deals with Singapore because they're trying to pull away from China, and they want to pull more into America. And so I know that those deals are definitely about the Straits of Singapore and Straits of Malacca. Straits of Malacca are actually the #1 choke point when it comes to oil in the world. So it's actually not Strait of Hormuz, and especially with China. China, I think it's 80% of their foreign oil imports comes through the Straits of Malacca. So maybe I'm not understanding your question. Is your question, what are we doing about oil prices?
No, not even so much that. I guess I keep hearing people that I know that are like super adamantly against this conflict, right? And they just say that if America doesn't do something and it keeps going, right, that in a few months the economy could turn out and look really bad. Like
Yeah,
jobs,
they've been saying
inflation.
that. Yeah, they've been saying that since the very beginning. And they keep like extending the timeline. So right now, yeah, oil prices. They went. Let me go back to.
They went up.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at February 28th or 27th, I guess, the day before, right? They spike up around March 9th. They go back down a little bit. Then they kind of even out again where it was on March 9th. They go back down. And then they really, really spike on April 6th, where it was at $112.41. And now it's at $97.76. So it's like kind of balancing between what looks to be, I would say, $81 and $99, $100. Other than that April 6th moment, that was obviously a little higher. But other than that, it's bouncing between those two lines. And it looks like it's slightly trajecting back down from yesterday. But again, or not yesterday, sorry, because today's Monday, huh? Yeah, so from Friday, I should say, or Thursday, technically. So who is they? And you said they are saying if this keeps going that like the economy's gonna do what? Crash or?
Yeah, just friends. Is the echo a little bit better? I turned my phone volume down a little bit.
It is a lot
I don't
better.
know why it's
What do they think is going to happen to the economy exactly?
basically like I've just people that I know, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Are they
And
like
I've kinda pushed-
economists? These people?
No, just people that like they read stuff and then they go on YouTube.
I
Not
wouldn't trust
necessarily people that are.
economists
Yeah, I'm not even. I'm just coming up here to bounce the ideas off of you, right? I'm just they're also they keep pushing this idea, and my friend who I gave the idea to, he pushed back on me and said they keep pushing this idea that if the conflict keeps going, Iran could launch missiles that could potentially hit like desal plants for our Gulf allies. But I pushed back and said, but I feel like the THAAD interceptors have been holding up pretty well.
They've already been aiming at those. What are you talking about? They've already been going after the desalinization plants. They already tried.
Also, even if they did, I find this is called fear mongering from both sides, because there's a lot of right-wing people doing it as well. Even if there are negatives that could happen, so what? That doesn't mean we should abandon what our missions are, especially once you already enter it in, whether you're for it or against it. It's the worst thing you can do after entering into where you shouldn't have is stopping before you even really get what it is you're looking for, or at least most of it, right? Just because it's like, oh, well, they could do this. I'm sure they thought of all of that. Maybe not President Trump specifically. He's kind of a bonehead sometimes, but I'm talking about like the people in the Pentagon. You think they didn't talk about this even before the strikes? Of course they did. So this idea of like, well, they could do this, I agree and accept that answer. I also don't particularly care. But this is what I'm talking about. I know it's a little small on TikTok if you're watching, but this line right here at the $81, and then right here at the 98.23-ish, these two lines right here, it's just bouncing between those two lines. Again, other than what happened on April 6th, where it kind of hopped up over here. But other than this outlier, and it kind of dropped a little low right here, this outlier, since March 5th, excuse me, to today, it has bounced between these two lines. So your friends, whoever they are, do they have reason to believe that it's starting to go back down from, again, the day before on Thursday from Friday, but do they have reason to believe it's actually going to go up more?
I don't think so. I think it's mostly just the concern over this idea that somehow Iran would be able to take out like desal plants if they really wanted to.
How does that hurt our economy?
No, I think so. Yeah, not necessarily, I guess, our economy, but I think they were saying that like, you know, what it could do to a lot of those countries, like if it did cause any like serious crises.
Your friends care about Saudi Arabia and Qatar and Kuwait. That's something.
Oh no, yeah, no, I'm just here shooting the shit. Like I'm for the conflict. Well, we're in it, and I'm American, so I'm not going to root against us even. You know what I mean? So
no, look, I mean, obviously before February 28th, so right here, February 27th, it was $67.02. So obviously we're above that. To the person in the comments says clearly trending up, never become a stockbroker. That's not clearly trending up at all. It's clearly bouncing between two stop points. But anyways, again, if the war were to start back up, it definitely would go up again. It would probably max out around this line. I don't really know what happened on April 6th. I'm not remembering, but obviously something happened that created that outlier. But like, again, I'm not saying nobody wants that. Of course, I would like to see these numbers again over here. But again, this is the idea that we should never ever do any war because there's negatives to it. That's what happens in war. There's always going to be negatives to it. It's about having short-term negatives for long-term benefits. That's the hope, right? And so I don't particularly care more than the short-term, like, oh, that sucks, about any of these like fear-mongering tactics that I'm hearing from both some people on the right, but mostly the left.
You can tell your friends that the S&P and the NASDAQ have hit record highs in the last week.
Do you want that Stellar dude up again, babe? Or no?
I'll look at the video later.
Oh yeah, King. I'm not debating this standpoint. I'm just bouncing questions.
No, I'm just saying you can tell them.
Yeah.
If things are so bad, then why did the S&P and the NASDAQ hit record highs in the last week? I mean, people that are professionals whose jobs it is to invest money seem to think that the war is not that big of a deal as far as the economy goes, and they're investing.
Is he about to talk or should I mute up?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so
okay, I guess
basically, if you think about it, Trump's lost the war. I can't believe you just come on a live and you said that war has negatives, and you hope that it's going to have
a long term. War has negatives. How dare I say war has negatives? That's crazy.
Nick, you're not funny, mate. You don't even know how to debate.
Do you
disagree with me?
You're saying. First of all, Iran was imposing no threat.
Are you going to answer my question?
Yeah. I am answering your question.
What was my question? What do you think my question was?
Don't drop a question when I'm trying to make a point.
So you just
Don't
said
drop a
I'm
question.
answering your question, and then you said don't drop a question. Okay. Okay, so my question was, do you disagree with my statement that war has negatives? Because that's the part you were making fun of, but isn't that something we could all agree to? What is
The
confusing
part that
about
I'm
that?
making fun of is that you said you hope for a long-term benefit.
Yeah, doesn't
What
everyone hope for
long-term
that?
benefit is there?
Again, it's not. This isn't a
You're
weird
hoping. Oh my
statement.
god, come on, Nick. I thought you'd have.
Oh, you just pause yourself. Again, I don't understand why you would disagree with that statement. Isn't that literally something we can all agree to? What exactly about that statement is something worth disagreeing about? Are you there?
First
Are
of
you
all,
okay? Oh, there you are.
yeah, I just got disconnected for a second. You want to repeat that?
Wait, can you? I feel like you're already about to not answer that question. Is there something about that statement we don't all agree with? And please save me the whole, oh, come on, Nick, don't do that. Just answer the question. Is that a weird statement? Because I'm pretty sure we can all agree to that. We would obviously always hope for long-term benefits. The more, the better.
But you're not going to have any long-term benefits. You've lost the
Well,
war.
that's okay, then we can debate
You've
that,
lost
but
the war.
don't. Okay,
You said
okay,
yesterday.
relax.
You
Okay,
said that.
stop. This is what you guys do. You guys come up here, you pretend you want to debate in good faith, and then you immediately just do what's called projection. What you're doing right now is called projection, right? And then you just start freaking out when I say, okay, wait, and then you start like trying to speed past that. Relax, okay? So we can debate that, but your original claim, the original thing of, well, I was making fun of you saying you hope for long-term benefit. And again, that's not a weird statement. So let's debate, quote unquote, you lost the war. I think what's going to happen if I ask you is your idea of winning a war is probably different than mine, / losing a war is going to be different than mine. My guess is you're going to be a lot like that scene from Monty Python where the guy's just like absolutely destroyed and he's like, we'll call it a draw. And he's like, he has like no extremities. But that being said, I'll ask you, what is your definition of exactly losing the war or winning the war for Iran if you're claiming from Iran's side? So can you go ahead and unmute, calm down, because I'd like to have the conversation with you, but if you keep like freaking out like you're doing, I'm just gonna have to drop you. It's just a waste of my time. So if you can just unmute yourself and answer that question.
Yeah, cool. I'll answer your question. So,
Perfect.
First of all, I think if
Not
we
first of all, just go
well,
straight to the answering my question.
mate, I am answering questions. Would you want to stop interrupting me?
Well, when you say first of all, you're literally saying, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So there's a few parts to my answer. You want to listen?
Uh-huh,
Or
go
you
ahead.
can freak out. You're freaking out. So don't freak out, Nick. It's okay. I know you
I
freak
couldn't
out.
be any calmer.
But I know you're freaking out. You're swearing. Don't swear.
Okay, you're wasting time again. I told you what would
Yeah,
happen
you're
if you continue to
wasting
waste
lots
time.
of time. Can you just get on with it?
Just answer the question.
Would have been
Just
if you
answer the
removed in
question.
the, I am answering the question. That victory would have been that you demolished Iran's nuclear power, which Trump
Okay,
said
that's
he did last year.
complete.
What is
No, he didn't. He didn't say
exactly?
that. He didn't say
that.
that.
There was a tweet
No,
when he
the
said
things that
obliterated.
the things that they hit were obliterated. That was confirmed, but they have more
So
than
what
just
is he
what was
going to
hit.
do now? What is he going there to do
Well,
now?
he already has. They started actually
Regime
attacking all
change.
the
He hasn't
areas.
exactly
Okay,
changed the
all right.
regime as
I told you what would happen if you waste my time. You're asking me questions, quote unquote. What has he done now? And I get 2 words out, and you start interrupting. So, anyways, the things that he did hit absolutely were obliterated. That's been confirmed. But they have other things. If you want to know more, all you have to do is just just go read the IAEA investigation. They actually talk about other areas that President Trump didn't hit with the B-2 bombers. So again, and then you say, he says he keeps interrupting. You literally asked me a question. You said, what is he doing now? Of course I interrupted so I can answer your question. But anyways, whatever. This is, it's too much. Yeah, go ahead, Max.
Just curious. In the past when we did debate, right? You didn't think I did it in bad faith, did I? I know I got excited, and probably a little anxious, but
I really don't
wasn't
remember
trying-
you, to be honest.
It's Max. It's the leftist kid or the
Not the
liberal
leftist,
kid.
systemic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the
Sorry,
guy.
I corrected myself. You've spoken to him a few times. You blocked
Okay,
him.
I
You
remember
unblocked him.
his name, but I don't remember what we talked about. I don't remember if you were or were not. If you have to ask, you probably were in bad faith.
Talked
but I
about
don't remember.
immigration. You talked about a bunch of other stuff.
I have no idea.
That was
I honestly don't care. I've moved on from it, honestly.
True. What was my question? What do you think? Like the are is there like concerns for like farmers right now in the U.S. or anything with this conflict, or is it not so bad?
Yes, there's always concerns for our farmers in the modern age, but definitely during this conflict.
Yeah. No, I mean, I trust me. I hope we win. As a Democrat, it is kind of frustrating. Do you know who Dave, the angry lawyer, is? Do you know who that is?
Yes.
I know that. Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, okay, he's cool. Okay, we were talking about you last night because he's Jewish. He's from New York, and he's Democrat, but he's super pro-Israel too. And we were both just talking about like how it is crazy how like so many young people really are like kind of going communist around in this country. It is kind of. I hope more Democrats can just go back to being liberal and not be communist.
I hope the Democrat Party completely falls, and I have no idea why you are with the Democrat Party still. I don't see what exactly is the Democrat Party doing that aligns with your values.
I would say so. Like we've talked about, it's a lot more like domestic stuff, right? I don't really like.
I'm not trying to get you to not be left wing or be pro Trump. See, I knew it. I was trying to stop you before you did it, and you still did it. Every single Democrat, when I ask about like their values in the party, always has to mention Trump. I didn't say you should start liking Trump. That's totally fine. It's not my question. I said, what is the Democrat Party actively doing that aligns with your values? I'm not even trying to get you to change your values. Continue to be left-wing, be a progressive, that's fine. I'm just saying, what is the Democrat actively doing? Not maybe in the past, where they used to, actively doing that is pushing for your values.
Could I point to something maybe Biden did, maybe? Or no, you mean like
older Democrats were way better.
Sure,
I guess like, I think like with Biden, I thought the infrastructure bill was pretty good. I thought the CHIPS Act was good.
Wait. Hold on. The Infrastructure Act, is that the one where they set aside $42 billion for rural internet connectivity and they connected nobody?
Wait, also, is that the one where they were supposed to build a bunch of chargers and they only built 7?
Thousands of chargers they were supposed to build.
Yeah, and they built 7, right?
7, yeah.
Yeah, not 700 or 7,000. 7.
I don't have my laptop to check that on hand, but
Trust us, we're right.
I thought there were jobs that were being created from the Infrastructure Act and then the CHIPS Act as well.
We're not trying to say that nothing got done. I just said 7 chargers got built, but when you put aside a budget that is meant for thousands. Now, okay, again, let's say they were supposed to do 1,000 for an easy number and they came out to do 900. Okay, fine. I probably wouldn't mention it. It happens. Budgets are flexible a little bit, but yeah, it was significantly less. And so I'm all for increasing infrastructure in America too. I'm the opposite of you. I'm on the right side, right? But so I don't see what being a Democrat has to do with being pro increasing our infrastructure in America.
No, he's talking about spending money for infrastructure, which doesn't actually go to infrastructure, but which funds NGOs and unions and other associated grifters.
From what I just saw, it was something like by October 2024, it was like 60,000 projects and over like 1.7 million jobs from the IIJA.
Who gave you that report? Who made that report?
Maybe I sent you a message on WhatsApp.
Okay, one second. Let me read these super chats because I'm falling behind a little bit. Why me? Thanks for the super chat. Do we blame Bush or Obama for 2008? I was Bush. The real thought. One second. Let me just catch this up real quick. If the war was as bad as they say it is, then the oil would be at 120 or more. The fact that it's only $95 says it's just the oil companies milking it until it ends in a month or so. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of both. I mean, I'm not going to say that the war obviously does have an effect, but what? You don't believe that they're milking it?
No. It's a publicly traded commodity. They can't control the world market for oil.
Well, let me rephrase it, actually. I think that all markets, but right now we're talking about oil, I think a lot of it's just based off of our own. If we fear something, it causes, in this case, the price to go up. Even if that fear is or is not justified or not, it doesn't really matter. It just causes it to go up.
It's very regional. It's very geographic. Every state has different laws and regulations. The state that I'm in gets 90% of our oil from California. You know what that means? That means it's $5.35 a gallon. If I drive 2 hours east and go to Utah,
Well, why is it
it's in the high
$5.30?
threes
Why is it $5.35?
because we get our gas from California and it's expensive.
Yeah, but is it that expensive?
It is very expensive. California gas has to be special blend, and because California gave up their own energy independence, and because they have less refining capacity, the Valero refinery closed last month, so the refining costs have gone up, and California now has to get its oil from the Middle East, and the oil is traveling across the Panama Canal, making it more expensive because of the longer transit costs.
Right.
Because there's no pipelines that connect California to the rest of the country.
Okay, Blade, thanks for the super chat. Tell this Brit the only thing lost to his country is by Islam. Okay. All
And
right, go ahead,
taxes.
Max.
And don't forget about the taxes California has.
It was right. Yeah, it was right from the transportation.gov that by October 2024 it was
I don't believe that.
60,000
That was still
projects,
under
1.7 million jobs.
Yeah, I don't believe that. That was under Biden. That's bullshit.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't believe it at all. The same remember the same Biden administration right before the election had to correct themselves. They created 800,000 jobs in the unemployment reports that they didn't actually create, and they had to go back and correct it right before the election.
I mean,
All
that,
the
so
numbers-
that happened under Trump in 2019 with 500,000. That happened under Obama in 2011.
Right.
That
So
just
they're
happened like
always
3
wrong.
times under Trump, and then he tried to like cancel and fire all the
They're
people.
always
in the
wrong.
bureaucracy.
That's the point. Don't trust government data. It doesn't matter who the president is.
Well, yeah,
the
but I'm just saying
government is bad at it.
There's multiple sources that do confirm that a lot of these jobs are being created. Even if you look at the Inflation Reduction Act bill, right, that was supposed to put investment, and I'm not saying it actually
That
did
didn't
that, but it was,
didn't reduce inflation.
but it
and
was
they
supposed to
admitted
put
later.
investment into green energy jobs and sectors. A lot of that was supposed to go.
All of them are
going to
go bust. All of them are going to go bust because they can't
now that
survive
Trump
without
is freezing
subsidies.
all the projects, so yeah. I mean,
Yeah, good, because they can't survive without subsidies.
This is okay. This is what I was going to say. I'll accept the numbers.
Okay,
I mean, I'm not
appreciate it,
going to say I'm not going to say that they're probably fully accurate because I agree with Hammer that government, but obviously they're a good starting point to have the debate. I don't really particularly care. My thought as a conservative comes more from efficient spending, not spending even if it does create. I'm not denying that this spending went to nothing. I'm sure it did go to something. And what'd you say, 1.7 million construction and manufacturing jobs? Fine, let's say that's true. It's about the efficient spending that I have a problem with. Is are we actually getting within a reasonable amount? I'm willing to be a little flexible. Is this spending going to be efficient to create these 1.7 million jobs, or is it a shitload of money and the 1.7 million jobs is actually not efficiently spent based off of however much money they spent to create these 1.7 million jobs?
You're
That's
missing
more
the
where I
bigger
come from.
picture. You're missing the big picture.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
The lost opportunity costs. How many jobs would get created if that money wasn't taken out of the private sector, and the private sector could spend that money?
That
It's
is what I'm
impossible to
saying.
know.
That's my point, is that if that same amount of money was spent in the private sector, you would have more jobs, or you would have the same amount of jobs for significantly less money. That's the point I'm making. Is it's not about, I'm sure you can pull these numbers and say 1.7 million jobs are created and Trump can do the same exact shit. But for me, I don't like when the government does that kind of stuff, because the private sector can do the exact same work for less money, or for the same amount of money and do a lot more work. That's my point.
Wait, wasn't it just subsidies though for like businesses that are still private sector, like, or just contracted through the government?
No, it was paying out. It was paying out money.
Well, even if it was subsidies, that doesn't actually help either. Subsidies, I'm also against, because what ends up happening is because people are greedy, they end up taking these money, and they're not as efficient as they normally would be, and they end up getting subsidized by the government. One sec.
And the government should not be in the business of picking winners and losers in the private sector.
So,
every time they give a subsidy, they're putting their thumb on the scale against the competitors of the company that didn't get the subsidy.
So I might be wrong about this. I'm just going to throw out another number, something I read. I think in Biden's final year, it was about $80 billion in government subsidies to businesses. I think in Trump's first year back, that number was closer to $180 billion. I could be wrong about that, though. So if I'm wrong,
I'm against that. You understand I'm not. You understand I'm not MAGA, right?
The money. No, I get that. Yeah,
it's great.
I'm just saying.
Subsidies are bad no matter who the president is. I don't know why you keep bringing up Trump.
Well, no, I'm saying I don't think like when we get, I mean, and maybe you could just blame it on AI, but I'm saying I think when all the jobs numbers do come out for Trump's 4 years, I don't even think his jobs creation numbers are going to be that good. Like I think it's going to be pretty bad. Like I think.
Well,
he's
first
be
of
one
all,
the
you
worst
have no way to
presidents.
predict that. That's impossible to predict.
Well, I mean, last year
years
it was like what 181,000 jobs created or something. It was like the lowest number in like 23
Well,
years.
hold on. First of all, there's two ways to help the economy. There's creating jobs and there's getting rid of worthless jobs. How many less federal employees are there now? About 40,000.
And there's that class action lawsuit now, right? All those black people from the government are suing him based on racial discrimination. We'll
They're
see how
gonna
that
lose.
plays out, but that could
They're
look
gonna
really
lose.
bad for him as well too.
Anybody can
It
sue.
doesn't look bad for him, and I don't care. Again, I'm starting to
Oh, I'm not saying
remember.
he's racist
Starting to
or anything,
remember our last conversation. You're doing that thing again where I care more about values than specific numbers in this case. Don't get me wrong, numbers can be used to justify one's values, but I don't particularly, and that's Hammer. You want to debate that stuff? Do it with Hammer. For me, it's about the values. I don't give a shit if it's Trump, Biden, or anything. If Trump does it, Trump does tariffs. Guess who's against tariffs? Me. I don't give a shit. Like I don't care if it's Trump doing it or if it's Biden. My question for you originally is, what has the Democrat Party actively been doing that supports your values? This is a rabbit hole we went down, and fine. Let's say everything you're saying is 100% correct, okay? And not just correct, but in your favor, okay? Let's say all of it's correct and in your favor. Is that enough for you to be with the Democrat Party? Again, not saying you should go Republican. Just, is that enough for you? That right there, that infrastructure bill and Inflation Act?
I think it would depend. It's going to depend on like what I see in the future. Like certain candidates, like Ilhan Omar, like I hope she's gone. Right, I want to see her go. And like certain people that are like just over, like just all the way against Israel. Which I mean, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see how many that is. You know, I'm not gonna
It's
really.
almost the entire
openly endorse
Democrat
them.
Party. It's almost the entire Democrat Party, other than like John Fetterman. And also,
Is
what
it-
about? Pretty
Because I
much.
thought
I
when
mean,
Biden-
is there anyone
Well,
else
when
you
Biden
guys
was
can think of
president-
that's at
sorry.
least strongly pro-Israel, other than Fetterman, in the
Well,
Democrat
but-
Party?
Well, because I thought when Biden was president, they did mostly approve of his spending packages that went to Israel. They did, for the most part, approve of it.
Well, first off,
Israel hated Biden.
right. First
hated
off, he
Biden.
used it as a like a when you put a piece of meat in front of a dog on a string. Like that's how he used it. I don't want that kind of allyship. I wouldn't want it the other way around either. But they would never do that, obviously. But still, I don't. That's not what I want with the American-Israeli alliance. That being said, since that moment that Biden has been doing that, or did that, excuse me, since that moment, the Democrat Party has completely flipped on Israel. Richie Torres, okay, sure, I'm talking about like Congress members, but fine, fair. I'm not saying literally any Democrat. I'm talking about like Congress and higher. But that being said, my okay, so they're completely flipping on Israel, and that's important to you. Their calls for violence has been way too high. It is way too much. And I know before you go, because you're probably going to pull up like, well, there's this one statistic that kind of, says that there's more right-wing violence or political violence than left-wing, which that study is such bullshit anyways. But even if we believed it, I'm not talking about like individuals acting if they vote Republican or Democrat. I'm talking about these extreme amount of calls for violence, them propping up Hassan Piker. Still to this day, by the way, they started to like look like they were pulling away from Hassan Piker, and now they're like going back into Hassan Piker. This guy literally said, kill them in the streets. He said 9/11, America deserves 9/11, like these kind of things, and they're putting backing into this guy. And then you have, I mean, I could keep going. I mean, just look at what Kimmel just said yesterday or 2 days ago, where the whole you look like, what did he say? You look like an expectant widow. Like this kind of stuff is insane.
I guess if I could respond, and I really do appreciate us having this conversation. I don't want you to think I'm bad faith. I come up here because I do value talking to you. I respect you as a debater. I really do. So I just think, right, when Trump had the unalivement attempt against him, right, Biden condemned it. After what happened to Charlie Kirk, Obama condemned it. I think other notable Democrats condemned it. I see all these crazy kids, and trust me, I was literally talking to my dad earlier about it, saying, yes, like these people are insane. Like we're going to literally lose more old Democratic voters if we keep going down this route. But I just think that there are still enough Democrats that are in the party that aren't saying, let's go out and be violent. You know, I know Maxine Waters
Are
said
they
some stuff
speaking
before.
out against the ones that are calling for violence?
I think I am.
Who?
I think there
Who
needs
is
to be
speaking
more.
out against
So
it? Who,
yeah.
who in the
Max, we're
Democratic
not
Party
talking.
has
Yeah,
said-
we're not talking about Democrats like you. We're talking about like Congress members.
Yeah.
Which, sorry,
Who
somebody
amongst the
corrected me.
Democratic Party
Richie
in
Torres.
I think that's a
is,
problem.
1 second. 1 second. I just want to
Sorry,
correct
okay,
this because I mixed up his position. Richie Torres. Somebody in the comments said he is in Congress. My bad. I literally mixed up his position. That's true. So I'll give you Richie Torres as well. That's true.
Okay,
Anyways, go ahead.
who in the Democratic Congress right now has spoken up, other than Fetterman, and said we should not be associating with Hassan Piker. He should not be invited to Yale University to speak, and people should not be going on his podcast because he tortures dogs and he's calling for violence. Name me the Democrat that has said
Yeah,
that.
I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Well, because there hasn't been any except for Fetterman.
If
None.
I could just
Zero.
add on to that.
Zero.
Add on to that. I have to see
Zero.
right. And I have to see where the party's still going as a whole, right? What the advocates, the Congress people, what they're going to be advocating for.
Much
What
more
I'm
do you
saying
need
is
to see?
that wouldn't be enough for me to not vote Democrat or then even consider voting Republican, unless
That wouldn't be
unless
enough?
it was. Well, because I'm saying I don't think that the next Democrat, I don't think Kamala or Biden or even Gavin Newsom
let me just
or
say
is
something
running
real quick.
on this crazy platform.
Do you agree that Nick Fuentes would be the opposite, the far right side of what Hassan Piker is for the left side? Is that like a
Yeah,
fair
sure.
enough? Okay. If the Republican Party at their conventions was inviting him to speak and putting backing into him beyond just like far right people doing it, but like Donald Trump, the Trump administration, etc. If they did that, I would not vote for them.
Well, I think for me, it's already gone too far with Trump, right? Like, because he incites violence. He
Again,
does.
I'm not asking you to not. I'm just simply saying I find it insane that you're like, this is not enough for me. Really? Is it not? Because would you? Let me ask you. If you were a Republican hypothetically, or you're conservative, right, and you were voting, and you still have the same kind of like values with Israel, and like you were center right, you're not like this far right guy, and they were doing the Republicans are doing with Nick Fuentes as the Democrats are doing with Hassan Piker. Would that be enough to get you to not vote for at least those Republicans?
Well, I would say like if they were literally like if they bring Hassan Piker into like the DNC national convention, then yes, I might.
They have, didn't he?
But he was
Didn't he
kicked out.
speak
He
at
was kicked out though. He was.
After he shocked his dog, or was it after the 9? No, it wasn't after the 9/11 comments. It wasn't after he said kill them. I think it was after. Actually, I don't know which one he did. He's done so much shit. I actually don't know which one. There was a time where there was someone talking about, she was from Cuba, I believe, and she was speaking out against communism, and he said things I literally cannot repeat because the live will get banned about that woman. I think as bad as that could potentially be, right, if it got to that point, I just still think the very fact that 77 million people voted for a guy who thinks he can just send the FBI everywhere he wants, can send the FBI to seize ballots, can try to overturn the results of the election, can tell his vice president to break the law, it's like he shouldn't even have ever been able to be the president again.
You mean you don't approve of him using the FBI to spy on members of Congress?
Well, so I was about to say that, I mean, ultimately those toll records were approved, and that was because he was having conversations with McCarthy and Jim Jordan about how they were all going to plan to reject the vote.
That's not what they found in any of the evidence. None of that was found.
They know for a fact that Trump was on the phone with McCarthy when the attack was happening.
No, this was way after that. This was
when Jack Smith was seizing the toll records and going and the phone records and all that.
You don't think that's a problem?
I mean,
and by the way, they lied to the court to get those warrants.
I mean, like I said, do
you think it's a problem
I'd have to
to
specifically
lie?
look at all that. I'd have to look at all that.
Do you think it's a problem to lie to the court to obtain warrants to wiretap members of Congress? Do you think that's using the FBI?
So from what I've read,
right
like it's the way you're painting it is different. So like because those people were all conspiring with the president to overturn the
lied
election.
to the court to get those records. Do you approve of that?
I mean, no. I mean, I don't. Like I said, I have to read into that part again.
The FBI under Joe Biden said that parents and the Department of Justice, who went to school board meetings to protest and to speak out against the grooming of our children were considered domestic terrorists. Do you agree with that?
Well, so I heard that what also was happening was that the parents were like threatening these teachers as well.
They were
too.
not. They were not. They were
Well,
not.
yeah, like I said, you're going to give that side of things, just like
No,
you're
I
going
just
to
want you
run
to show
away from the
evidence
fact
that
that we
they
know
threatened
Trump
it. I
did
wanna
try to
see the
overturn
evidence
the
that they
2020
threatened
election.
Real quick, hold on one sec. What I want to say is, even if he is just showing that side's evidence and there's more to the story, the point, at least that I'm taking from it, is that he's showing your hypocrisy, because your point wasn't what Trump did or didn't do or didn't get accomplished. Your point was that he even attempted stuff. And so therefore, you will never vote for a guy like that no matter what. And when Hammer is saying, well, this also happened on the opposite side of the aisle, regardless if you're saying, well, they also did this. Okay, fine, fair enough. But by your logic, then you shouldn't vote for either then, by that logic. My stance is I accept and I agree that Trump did things that I don't even agree with. And I called it out from the very beginning. As someone who voted for Trump 3 times, I couldn't stand his whole "the election was stolen" nonsense. Do I believe there was some fraud? Yes, I do, and I think Democrats are still pushing for that. However, my thought is either you prove it or you don't, even if it is true. I'm not saying I believe that, but that's not the point. I'm not here to say it is or isn't true if it was stolen or not. My point is that you either prove it or you don't, and you move on, dude. And he didn't do that. But my thing is that we have a checks and balance system, and I trust the system to work. If it was up to me, I wouldn't vote for Trump or any of the dog shit that Democrats put in. You can ask Hammer. Hammer was one of the first people to tell me why he didn't really like Trump, and me and him used to argue about that, and he had a lot of good points about him. And but my thing is that the Democrats have always put up dog shit. So like you are saying, I vote for, I guess, the lesser of two, if you will.
Yeah.
But my issue is that I don't care to say, well, he did the January 6th thing, so you should never ever vote for him no matter what. Okay, listen, again, if it was up to me, I would love to see two great candidates, and I truly choose which one I like better, whether it be a Democrat, Republican, or any party. We don't really have that in America right now, unfortunately.
Did you need to finish, or I'll let you finish your point?
I'm good. That's my point. Is that I'm voting off of what happens and actions, not what you think the character of a person is. I'm not voting for someone to have dinner with.
I think there are problems with both parties. From what I'm reading, and I got to read more completely into it, but I don't think there was anything wrong about how the phone records were taken. And like I said, he knew that he had lost the election. Everyone in his cabinet told him. All these conservatives, right? Republicans in Georgia and Arizona all debunked the fraud. The attorney general.
What do you mean debunked
away,
the fraud? What are you talking about? Fulton County admitted to 330,000
those weren't
fraudulent
fraudulent
ballots.
votes. Those were the tapes. Those were the
They
tapes men
admitted
signed
to
off on.
it. Why
Those
won't
were
they let
early in
anyone see
person.
it?
Not that
Why
they were
won't they
fraud.
let
They didn't
anyone
admit that they
see
were
it?
fraud. Not that
What
they
are
were
they
fraudulent.
hiding? Why won't they let anyone see the ballots? Why
All
does it
that
have to
is
go
that
to court?
they seized them, and we haven't even found anything.
They haven't seized them yet.
Trump had
They
to lie
tried
to get the
to
court
seize them.
order.
They're
Trump literally had
holding
to lie to
them.
get the
They're
court
holding
order
them.
to send
You
FBI and
just
Guys
all.
are speaking past each other.
Yeah, and you're just wrong about the fraud. Like I said, how is it attorney generals that are Republican in Georgia and Arizona? How is it when Rudy Giuliani and Trump were pressuring Rusty Bowers, the Republican House Speaker of Arizona, who endorsed and campaigned for Trump in 2020, and he says, you have proof, you have a list, you have names referring to undocumented immigrants and fraud, and then later on in the telephone, right, weeks later, he said, we don't actually have evidence, we have concepts and theories.
I do want to point out, to be fair, that these judges, a lot of them were Trump appointed, by the way. These judges threw out for lacking standing. A lot of them did. I think most of them actually threw it out for that. But a decision by the Supreme Court after the fact would have made it to where they wouldn't have been allowed to do that. Now, that doesn't prove it was fraud. I just want to point out that a lot of this stuff was throughout on things that the Supreme Court later said that's not a reason to throw these things out. But at that point, it was too late. So we don't actually know what would have happened.
They admitted.
So I would say
they admitted to breaking state law and certifying 315,000 votes without the backup tape to confirm receipt for mail-in ballots. They admitted it.
And even despite that, though, right, Raffensperger even admitted that, and they still did 3 recounts. They had 3 different auditors do recounts, some by hand, some by machine, and it's still confirmed. Yeah, that's fine. But the point is that when you tally all the votes, Biden still won. And Biden still won by
the law.
But it's not criminal. That doesn't mean you would overturn the results. That's you're
I didn't say
interpreting that
overturn
wrong.
the results. I didn't say that. They broke the law.
So an error doesn't mean you disqualify people's votes. That would be like if you
I
and
didn't
I
say disqualified the election. I said they broke the law.
Okay,
Is
so
a fact?
that would be like if you mean Nick.
Did they break
and
the
that
law?
would be like That would be like
Did
you,
they
me, Nick.
break the law? Yes
So
or no?
it's a civil thing. It's not criminal. It was an error. It's not.
Did they break the law?
Procedurally, the law was not implemented properly. That's how you would view that.
That's called breaking the law.
Okay,
that was sneaky how you did that, Max. That was pretty sneaky.
That's called breaking the law.
And Biden still won it. You wouldn't disqualify those votes.
I didn't say Biden didn't win.
So breaking the law doesn't mean you disqualify those votes, though. So it's not, and you can still say that, and that doesn't mean you would disqualify that those votes are illegitimate, though. It doesn't make those votes illegitimate.
It doesn't make them legitimate either.
Yeah, no, they still would be counted as legitimate. Even
Not
the court
if they
that
break
ruled in the
law.
case. But even the court that ruled in the case didn't say that those votes wouldn't count.
You're telling me you should be a Democrat. You should stay in that party because you're a cheater. You're saying
right, like
we
Trump
should
is with the
count
fake
votes.
electors and trying to have his president toss the
count
election.
votes.
Yeah, lying.
We should count votes. We should count votes when they were tabulated against state law. That's what you want to do.
So there were 3 hand recounts that confirmed
Did
that
they
Biden
break
still
the
won.
law in certifying the election with those votes?
Like I said, you're doing this absolutist thing, all or nothing.
It's
That's
not
not
absolute.
how that
You
works.
either break the law or you don't break the law.
Yeah, I mean,
There's
so
two
that would,
options.
a lot of that comes down to like staffing shortages as well. Like it was a clerical
I don't
error.
care why they did it. Listen, as a civilian, you and I, there's a common thing in criminal
Well, thanks,
justice.
this guy YBS is with me.
Excuse me, why
so
are you
it's
interrupting?
nice to know that not all of
Dude,
them.
calm the fuck down and let me finish. There's a common thing in criminal justice. Ignorance of the law.
It's not a
doesn't
criminal
absolve-
crime, it's civil.
Dude, you're interrupting again. Shut your fucking mouth. Just shut the fuck up.
Well, you say things
Seriously,
that are
can't you
objectively
control yourself?
incorrect.
Just
It's
shut
not a
your
criminal
fucking mouth.
crime.
Just shut up and let me finish. You can spurt all your bullshit later. Just let me finish. They broke the
Nice
law.
projection.
Oh God, Jesus Christ! All right.
Well, no,
whatever.
the spurt all my bullshit. Nice fucking projection. His own vice president and attorney general said it was bullshit that Trump thought he lost the election.
I
Bill
didn't
Barr,
say
the
he
most
didn't lose the
conservative
election.
attorney
Okay.
general,
All right,
You're arguing against something totally different.
all right, Max. What you're doing right now is you are
Yeah.
straw manning Hammer. You're attributing arguments he is not making, so that way you can argue back against him. He's not making that argument. You know how I know he's not making that argument? Because one of the first arguments me and Hammer had when I first met him over 5 years ago, right? When it came to talking about the election and Trump. Hammer and I used to argue because I was more pro-Trump. I mean, I had some issues. Sorry, Hammer. I had some issues, and he's the one that told me about this stuff. One of the things that Hammer would tell me from the start was he couldn't stand Trump saying that the election should be overturned. So right now, you are arguing with him, and I know he's not making that argument. One, because I'm listening to him, and you're not. But two, because again, Hammer has been telling me this since the very beginning. Hammer's not this like super pro-Trump guy. He's a conservative for sure, but he's not pro-Trump. So you're like trying to attribute these arguments to Hammer, and you're just wrong. Anyways, let me catch up with these super chats while you calm down a little bit. Yoshi, thanks for the super chat. Caller can't denounce violence outright. Thank you, Ray, for the super chat.
Can I say something real quick, Nick, or no?
2 more super chats. Sig, I personally don't think anyone else would address the global issues like Trump has. Everyone would keep the status quo in favor of Russia and China. I agree with that, actually. Dennis, thanks for the super chat.
Sorry.
So from what I'm reading, right, it's because I'm reading more about it. Procedure is not considered a this violation of the law. It was just a procedural error. Like, sure, that is something that has to be corrected, but I would attribute that more to human error. A lot of people don't even want to.
It actually doesn't matter if it's human error.
Human
or
error
not.
doesn't matter if you
Yeah,
break.
it doesn't
See,
matter.
the point that you're missing because you're so adamant about talking about Trump, okay? And even though none of us is bringing up Trump or defending him even, but you're so hyper-focused is your critique of Trump is the law breaking. However, when the law breaking is done on your side, you don't give a shit. So all we're doing is pointing the hypocrisy of your argument. That's the point. You only care when one side allegedly breaks the law, but when your side breaks the law, well, it was staffing shortages, it was procedural. Bullshit. They broke the law. They knowingly verified verified ballots without the receipts to back them up. They did
So
it on
I just
purpose.
looked up the court ruling on it. Yeah, like it wasn't what they didn't rule that they broke the law. They ruled that it broke procedure, but that doesn't mean anything against those
They
votes.
broke
or that
state
that those votes
law
don't
by
count.
confirming
Wait, just real
the
quick.
ballots
You're saying
without the
that
receipts.
You're saying that they ruled that there was no law that was broken? Is that what you're saying? Because I'd like to read that.
Give me one second.
It says the words, they did not break the law, or something somewhat similar to that? Or did you add that in? You can just say yes or no. You just read it. I don't know why you're saying 1 second. You just read it. Yes, I did read that, Nick, or no, I made that up, or I added it, or whatever. We can't hear you if you're speaking because you're paused.
So yeah, so yeah, I guess they said that I guess technically, yeah, the law was broken, but not that the votes were unlawful.
So I
though.
was right.
But it doesn't make the votes unlawful, though.
Okay, again, he
But
never.
that's not what
he
I
never
said.
said that. He never.
I
said
thought you
that
did say that
again.
the votes were
He
like
no. Not only did he not say that, Max, I heard him tell you 1,000 times he's not saying that, as you kept trying to attribute that to him over and over and over. But I have a question for you now that you just finally admitted that it does say that. Why did you say it said the opposite 5 seconds ago? You said it said that they didn't break the law. Where did you read that from? If that's not
So
true.
I was just honestly asking questions to get the definition.
No, you didn't ask questions. You made a statement 5 seconds before you paused. You said, "I'm reading the whatever." I don't remember the word you used. I'm reading it right now, and you said it says that they did not break the law. Why did you say that if that's clearly not what it says? Because you just admitted that it does say they broke the law.
So I wasn't at my laptop. I was just on Perplexity.
Why
and
did you
sometimes
say
and
it?
I rephrased it because initially when I typed it in, it didn't say it. Then I asked a better question, right? That was kind of lined up with what
Why did you
King was
say
saying.
that it said they broke the or they didn't break the law?
It was just I'm telling you, it was just an error by the search engine I was using. It was
So the source you're using is flawed.
Well, like I said, I'm not at my computer. Usually I look things up on my computer and do go to official
So the
sources.
source you used was flawed.
Yeah, in that specific instance.
So
yeah.
how can we take anything else you say
Well, 'cause people make
seriously
mistakes all the
when
time.
you're relying on flawed data and sources?
I don't actually. I'm going to be real. I don't believe that a source said that it said they did not break the law. I don't.
Well,
I think
Perplexity
you
is just
added
AI.
it.
Perplexity is just AI. It's just
Yeah,
AI.
still, and don't get me wrong, AI gets stuff wrong a lot, but you're saying it said the straight up opposite of the truth. I mean, I guess that's possible, but I'm gonna be real with you. I really don't believe.
Yeah,
I
if
think
that's
what
what you
happened
accuse me of, that's
is
fine.
you were trying to just win the argument, so you added it, and then when you realized you were wrong, you were finally honest after the fact.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say that even as much as that's an error, right? As much as that's an error, that's way different than once again creating fake electors, conspiring to defraud the country, and obstructing an official proceeding.
Again, as Hammer said, and I have to agree with him, you were so adamant about just attacking Trump, which is what I said at the very beginning. Hold on.
Yeah.
It's what I said at the very beginning about not just you, but like leftists in general or left-wing people. You're talking to two conservatives that aren't even like these big MAGA people, dude. Like, yes, I support Trump. I voted for him because, again, the Democrats keep putting up dog shit. The Democrats would have put up somebody better. Again, probably not likely, but I would vote for a Democrat over a Republican if I liked them better. But the Democrats keep putting up dog shit. So I voted for Trump. Now, it doesn't mean I don't like the guy. I like a lot of his policies, but I'm just not this like super MAGA guy where I feel like I have to defend him a lot. And Hammer's probably even less than I am with the guy. And so you're talking to two people who are not like deifying Trump, and you keep trying to shift the conversation to attacking Trump. Remember the original first question that I asked that got us into this whole rabbit hole? I asked you, what is it about the Democrat Party that aligns with your values? And it feels like the one thing that aligns with your values, the one thing that I see in you, that I see in every other left-wing person, especially Democrats specifically, is you guys can't get Trump out of your fucking mouth. You guys really can't.
So I don't even like, for example, right? I think a judge I mean, this is what I would say too. I guess like, it's just that like I think trying to use like Hassan, who sure is kind of like infiltrating the kind of outer perimeters and maybe the inner perimeters.
They're welcoming. They welcomed him in.
Because he's not a representative. Whereas I'm saying is like the president, in my opinion, right? Even if he's not as not even close to as extreme.
Would you like
as
me to
Hassan,
read from
I
representatives?
look at Trump as an extremist. I do.
You think Trump is an extremist?
Yeah, I think knowingly lying to stay in power is pretty extreme. Yeah.
You mean like Joe Biden telling everyone that he was mentally and his whole administration
That's bad too.
covering
that's bad
for
too.
him for 4 years?
That's bad as well, but
do you think Joe Biden is an extremist? Wait 1 second.
They perpetrated the greatest fraud.
That's arguably the biggest scandal in
Let me ask this real quick. Let me ask this real quick. Hold on, wait. Let me ask this real quick. Let me ask this real quick. You said Trump was an extremist for lying so he can stay into power. Biden literally did the exact same thing, or at least the people around him. Maybe he was so far gone he didn't know what he was doing. But regardless of exactly who, whether it was Biden himself, the people around him, and or both, do you think that they are extremists?
I think it's just a false equivalent. Like the whole thing what you just said is a false equivalent.
You don't believe that they lied to keep him in power?
Because he's the acting president, whereas the 45, after losing the election, actually tried to administer.
So you think? Wait a minute. So you think it's
certification
okay if the acting president does it, and that doesn't make him an extremist? But if he does it after he gets kicked out, then it makes him an extremist? Is that what you're saying?
Because he won the election. He's a duly elected president.
That's not what I'm asking. It's not what I'm asking. Your argument.
Gang up all five.
This is not what I'm asking. Oh my god, dude! I'm starting to see.
Did he win the election on telling the American people a lie about his mental and physical health?
And that's not as bad as sending hundreds.
It doesn't matter if it's. It doesn't matter. Stop. Hold on. Wait. It doesn't matter. Keep Trump out of your fucking mouth for 5 seconds so you can answer the question that's being asked. If you were to ask me about Trump, don't you think it'd be pretty annoying if I was like, well, Biden, it'd be pretty annoying, right? Got it.
Yeah.
You think Trump is an extremist. I'm not here to try to get you to change your mind about Trump. I don't give a shit, dude. Your reasoning was, and I quote, he tried to lie, or he did lie to try to stay in power. This is not even up for argument that Biden and his administration did the exact same thing. I don't care if you think one is worse or not. If a gun's being held to your head, which one would you choose is worse? That's not my question. Again, Trump doesn't exist right now. Do you think Biden is an extremist? And the people around him that helped him? Okay, then you're a fucking hypocrite. It's hypocritical. Because it's the same thing. He lied to try to stay in power, and or the people around him lied to keep him in power.
Well, so when they had the debate, right, in 2020, if you look at the debate in 2020 to 2024, right, like he didn't
Not
have
talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I
Yeah.
am not talking about that. I didn't say he was as bad in 2020 as he was in 2021 even, or 2022. It's not what it's not what I said. They lied to keep him in power.
Yeah, that's wrong. I'll concede that's wrong.
But it's hypocritical because one, if someone lies to stay in power, one person it's wrong. But if they're a Republican, he's evil and an extreme. You said the word extremist. He's no different than Nick Fuentes. He's no different than neo-Nazis who you also call extremists.
I didn't say that.
You said extremist. You didn't even say.
So because he broke federal statutes. Biden did not break federal statutes. Trump broke 4 federal statutes.
That was not what you're saying. That is not what. Hold on. That is not what you said. You're changing it now because you realize you're a hypocrite.
No, that's what I said. I called it a crime.
Stop it. You said it was because he lied to stay in power. Now you're adding it. It's like shh. Now you're adding stuff on. It doesn't matter what you meant. I can only answer what you say. I don't give a shit what you meant. Now you're adding it on. Now it's you have to lie to stay in power, and it has to break. You're adding stuff on because you realize what you said was hypocritical.
So when I say lie to stay in power, I don't mean just the art of lying and then trying to stay president. If he just lied after he had lost the election and then everything happened normally, right, and he didn't gather all those people and do the fake electors, yeah, sure. But what I'm talking about when you combine all the pressure on the state lawmakers, the fake electors, all the Eastman memos, right,
you
the plans,
cannot keep Trump out of your mouth. I am not asking you. I am not asking you if you think what Trump did was worse or not. It's so fucking insane. I think leftists, I actually hate them more than Islamists. I really do. Because you guys are so fucking insane. At least with like Islamists, although I disagree with them, I can still have this debate back and forth and they expose their like evil ideology. You guys have this idea where you cannot keep Trump out of your fucking mouth. I didn't ask about Trump. I didn't ask what you thought was worse. I don't give a shit. I asked what you thought about this, and you cannot.
Yeah, it's bad. It was wrong.
I'm done. I don't need you to say it's bad again. I got it. You think it's only bad, but it's not evil. It's not extremist. It's just bad. It's just bad. It's not a big deal. Whatever.
The thing that makes them worse.
Duly elected president.
It's just bad. It's just bad. No big deal.
You know what, Max? The thing that makes them worse is that Islamists very clearly hate the country and are trying to change it in every way. Y'all act like you are trying to better the country, and everything that you fucking advocate
Exactly.
for is making shit worse.
Exactly.
And
Islamists will
Max,
tell us
I
straight
think
to
it's
their
really
face they want Sharia law.
disingenuous, Max. I thought it was very disingenuous, Max, that I had to listen to you keep bringing up 2020 when guess what? That is under investigation. Also, you keep talking about overturning elections and all this. You don't want to talk about the coup that was waged by the Obama administration on a sitting president or the
wasn't a
fake
coup. He didn't do
impeachment that
anything
your
illegal.
party did, which is all under investigation and indictments are going down.
Bob
I
Obama's
guess
not
you're
getting
not
indicted for
following
anything.
DNI Gabbard at all. Or
Yeah,
the Justice
Gabbard, like
Department.
that little thing she said. Yeah, I read into that. There was nothing to that, right? Like, there
Are
was,
you
like,
kidding
Obama,
me?
the Steele dossier,
There's a
right? That was
special
that was the
prosecutor.
DNC, and
Joseph
then the Mueller
DeGenoa
report.
is the special.
Nothing about the
Max,
Mueller
you're gonna
report
have
was
to let
illegal.
Kelly finish what she has to say. I
Yeah,
can't
go
hear.
ahead.
There's actually a thing, Max. Joseph DeGenoa is the special prosecutor on this case. So yes, it is going to be because she said that it was all fake. And she
Okay.
has the proof. She released the files, and you people don't want to admit it. You refuse to be held accountable for what you do. You hold Trump to a higher regard than you do your own people. At least we call him out when we don't like what he does. You
Problem
people
with this
just
whole- the
whatever.
problem with this whole
Can I respond? Or is this
discussion
going to be
is
5-on-1?
none of
Can I
this-
respond? Or is
none
this is
of-
what you
he's
guys
not
do in all
making
these
the
fucking
case.
conservative panels.
He's not making the case for Nick's original question,
Right.
which is
Yeah.
why are the Democratic Party's values more aligned with you? All you talk about is Trump. You hate Trump.
Probably, yeah, just
Got it.
because I
Okay,
support.
so here are the Democratic Party values. Let's go through the values of the Democratic
Oh,
Party.
here we
okay?
go. Here we go.
Tell me on which issue here the Democratic Party doesn't support. Okay, they support the mutilation of children through surgery and drugs.
No, I think that's like I think that was like what I think that was like I think I saw maybe up to like 5,000. They were like 14 or 15, and then all those it was like parents and counselors. Yeah, I wouldn't be a big fan of that myself. But
Okay,
like
that's the Democratic Party- that's the
if
Democratic Party
doctors and parents
platform.
and mental health specialists are okay with that, I don't give a fuck what
Okay,
you
great.
think.
Yeah, there is no
Go
reasonable
support your
world.
mafia boss, coup artist, crypto
There you go again. You
sheik
can't
of
stop
UAE.
talking about Trump. You
I
can't
know it
stop
sucks. You
talking
support a
about Trump.
mafia boss. You
Trump
support an
has no-
unconstitutional
Trump
president.
has
You do.
nothing to do with.
He committed
No
an
accountability.
insurrection. He broke the 14th
You
Amendment of
guys,
the Constitution.
all right, stop. Why
Trump
does it
has-
matter?
It was an
He's
insurrection.
asking, dude. So what? We are
That's
not
against the
trying to get you
Constitution.
to be. Oh my god. And you know what? Hey Max, I think Hamas is really bad. You see how it has nothing to do with our conversation?
Well, they're not running for president
what?
in America.
So what? So
They're running-
what? It doesn't. I am not trying to get you, and neither is Hammer. I don't think anyone on this panel is. We're not trying to get you to like Trump again for the 1,000th time. I don't care. Do you believe me? I've said this like 5 times. Do you believe that I don't care if you like Trump or not?
Yeah.
So why do you keep bringing him up?
What is
Yeah, no,
what
I
is
understand.
Hold on,
Trump's
I want him to answer. Wait, 1
insurrection
second,
have to
please.
do-
I want him to answer
least he
this.
admitted
Why
it,
do
okay.
you keep bringing him up? What does our question about what the Democrat Party is with your values, what does that have to do with Trump? Why do you keep bringing him up? I really want an answer to that question.
So you want me to talk about like why I support Democrats or why I keep bringing up Trump?
What was my question just now?
Hammer was going somewhere. He was listing some things.
We're gonna get right back to
we
it. I
can
just
go-
really.
we can
Well,
go
he's gonna
through
just
one
gish
by
out through all
one.
these different values, and then I'm
Max,
not gonna be able to
You
debunk
have to
all
be
of them.
patient, brother.
I'm starting to
And you
see
brought
why I
it back
bought you
to
before.
Trump. So can we just go down the avenue?
Hopefully
that
you
he
debate
was trying to
Destiny
go-
someday.
I don't
Nick
care to
has
debate
asked
about
you
this
very
topic.
simply-
What are you bringing this shit up for?
Nick has very simply asked
Do
you,
you wanna have a
beyond
discussion or not?
your dislike for Trump, what is it that keeps you voting Democrat? That's all he's asked you. It's
Okay,
not a hard
1 second.
question,
One
dude.
sec. First off, me and Destiny actually talk sometimes. Honestly, first off, I wouldn't debate him on this topic because I don't really care that much. I don't care to say you should like Trump or not. You're the one that came up here and started talking about it, and I have no problem with it if you can, 1, calm down. 2, if you can stop deflecting. Just stop saying all right, dude. You fucking said it 1,000 times already. And I know you're wrong because you're like, yeah, all right. But you keep doing it. You are, I don't know what it is. I don't know if you're trolling me right now. I don't know if this is like
No,
totally fake, but
I
stop
think
talking.
Biden
Nope, I'm
is-
going to
I
get
just-
this
I just
out.
agree with
If I was here to talk, or if I was talking with Destiny, we probably would have a much better conversation. We wouldn't agree, of course. But if I asked Destiny, like, hey, without bringing up Trump, can you tell me blah, 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 blah? I actually am confident, even though I don't agree with 95% of what Destiny says, I bet you he would actually fucking answer. You're the problem. It's not Destiny. It's not Democrats or Republicans or Trump or even Biden. It's you right now. So for the thousandth time, why do you keep bringing up Trump when we made it very clear we don't care if you like Trump or not? Why?
Yeah.
What about my question makes you think we're talking about Trump?
I mean, yeah, I guess he's part of why I voted Democrat. It's not the only reason, but it's like
He
when you
asked
look at
you
both candidates,
originally
it's part of it.
what values the Democratic Party represents that keeps you voting. Now, you could answer,
yeah,
I don't care about the Democratic Party. I'm just going to vote against Trump. But that's not what you said. You said your values are more aligned with the Democratic Party. Fine.
Yeah.
I went through one before you started talking about insurrection. The mutilation of children, open borders. They oppose any oversight.
Let's go one at a
fraud.
time. What does he think about open borders? You asked her about mutilation of
Open
babies. You said
borders.
you didn't agree with that, really. For the
So
most part,
I
you
think
said that.
I think the Langford bill would have been a good thing to kind of
Okay,
fix
but
that
the
because
Langford bill was not passed, and the Biden administration had 4 years of opening the borders, and Trump is closing the borders. So you either support one or the other. I don't care what bill that didn't make it out of Congress.
well,
Do you
yeah, so I
support-
don't.
Do you support open borders?
No, I don't support open borders. No, but I
Okay,
don't
well,
support
that's a
Trump.
Democratic Party position.
Yeah, but I think Trump's immigration. I like
Great,
the
you don't
idea
like Trump.
of doing
I didn't
a
ask
bill.
you about Trump. I asked you about the Democrats. The Democratic
Well, yeah, like I
Party
said,
position
all your
is
questions are
open borders.
absolutist. There's no nuance or in-depth analysis. It's just one or two. That's literally what you've done this whole conversation.
No, not at all. I just don't want you talking about Trump. We're talking about Democrats.
Okay, all right.
So the Democratic Party, I'm talking about the Democratic
Yeah, so
Party.
I don't think the Democrats were for open borders. I think Biden did a lot of asylum and parole, but there were still a lot of expulsions as well. Yes, a lot of people did get into the country. I agree, and there are problems there. But I would say, by and large, I think
Did the
that there are a
Democrats
lot
in
of people
Congress-
here that even the courts are now ruling have to have their due process to claim asylum or not
Yeah,
claim
they'll
asylum,
get to the
and that they
Supreme
can't
Court
just
and
take
they'll
away
get
people's asylum.
overruled. Don't worry about it. But
Yeah, we'll
did
see.
the Democrats in Congress support it when Biden deported people, or did they oppose it?
I don't think did they oppose it? I don't think they did. No, I don't.
They
think
opposed
they did.
it strongly,
Really?
openly.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't oppose it.
I'm talking about the Democratic Party. I don't care about
Well, that's
you.
what you're saying. So I don't
Max,
actually
you have to understand
to be
something.
honest.
Max, you have to understand something. You're a nobody. You're nothing.
Thank you.
You're a speck of dust on this earth. So am I, by the
And
way.
yeah, we're all gonna fucking die someday.
Okay, no, that's not what I'm saying.
We're all
there
gonna
are
turn
people,
to dust. I promise you, God's
there are
not real.
people of influence and control. Our
Yep.
politicians, people like you who are Democrats, have an opportunity to vote for one type of Democrat or another type of Democrat. The Democrats that are winning in Congress are open border Democrats. They don't support clamping down on the border. They don't support vetting these people coming into the country. 300,000 missing children who were given to sponsors without any vetting whatsoever in this country, so they could be trafficked and abused, and God knows what else happened to them. And the Democratic Party opposed every attempt to try and close the border and to rescue those kids and to vet so we know who the fuck is coming into our country.
Yeah, so part of the 300,000 that started in 2019. That was from 2019 through 2023. That wasn't just all of Biden's years.
Okay.
So,
But
well, what
it
I'm
did
saying is that
happen
I don't
during Biden,
agree
yes
with
or
you
no?
that they wanted open borders. The Langford bill was a bipartisan bill, so I just don't even
It
agree
wasn't
with you.
bipartisan. If it was bipartisan, it would have passed.
Well, no, it didn't pass because it didn't pass because Trump literally called the Republicans and said, "Don't pass the bill." It was the Republicans
So
were
then it
the
wasn't
reason that the bill didn't
bipartisan,
pass.
was it? So then
It
it
wasn't the
wasn't
Democrats that caused
It
that bill
had
to
a
fail.
quota on it that nobody wanted to sign up for. They didn't want to let in 5 billion
just
people a
mention
year.
Trump
It wasn't letting
You
in
just-
5 billion people. That's not even what the
Just
bill
mention
says.
Trump again.
He
Are you
can't-
for
he can't
open
do
borders
it.
or not?
Bill is
Are
my
you
reasoning that
for
they don't want
open?
open
I'm not. He
borders.
didn't even ask about a bill. Are you for open borders or not? You said no. What's the next one on the list?
Okay, let's see. Fighting any attempt to. Okay, how about this? Wanting to tax people whether they're billionaires, millionaires, or regular people, without going through the government and doing an audit to make sure that the money that is coming in is being well spent. And how do I know this? Because the Inspector General under Biden said between $300 and $500 billion a year is being lost to fraud. Do you think that we should be taking more money from hard-earning, successful people before we know where the money that's actually coming in is being spent?
Yeah, I think we should audit the fraud. So yeah, I wouldn't want to raise taxes before going after fraud.
Okay, is it the Democratic Party position to lower taxes, raise taxes, to look into the fraud? What's the Democratic Party position on this?
Well, I know at least in the Minnesota fraud thing, I know that it was the DOJ under Biden that initially secured a bunch of the indictments.
That's not what I asked you. That's not what I asked you. I don't care about Biden and I don't care about Trump. I care about positions of the party.
So yeah, I don't think Democrats are all against fraud. I don't think so.
Do you think the Democrats are for raising taxes?
Yeah, I think they are. Yeah.
Do you think that they want to raise the taxes now before the fraud is discovered or after the fraud is discovered?
Probably. Yeah, I mean, they probably would have tried to pass a bill to do it most likely before. Yeah, probably.
Are they talking about like a wealth tax, for example?
Yeah, I think they. I didn't agree with the unrealized.
So the Democratic Party
gains
position
tax.
is to raise taxes before they know what the money's actually going for.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that, but I would even say that I would just say that I don't think that that even Trump is necessarily trying to go after fraud. I think that like even stuff with the USDA that he had done during the COVID stuff in 2020 is actually what kind of led to the fraud getting even worse.
Why are you talking about Trump again in 2020? We're in 2026. I can't.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying. I would actually say that I think. Yeah, I think Kamala would be better on fraud.
Is Trump fighting the fraud today?
I mean, I guess he's fighting the fraud, but like I said, they were already fighting. So in Minnesota, like I said, that was already being discovered before he got into office. So sure, he's fighting it, but it was already being discovered before he even got into office.
Great. I didn't say anything about Trump or Biden. You did. You keep bringing it up.
You just asked, is he trying to fight the fraud?
The Democratic Party wants to. $1 trillion a year the federal government generates in revenue, 4.8 trillion. They don't know where that money's going. The Inspector General said up to $500 billion a year is being lost in fraud. And the Democratic Party position is we don't care. We want to raise taxes and take more money from the private sector.
Yeah, I don't think their position is we don't care. I don't even believe you.
Well,
sorry.
I'm sorry. Why are they opposing all the committee hearings and why are they saying it's not a big deal? Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, actually said that there's no fraud. It's not a big deal. It's all a Republican hoax.
Omar didn't even show up for her hearing on it.
Yeah, the Democratic Party wants to take more money away from me because I'm successful. You're not. You're poor. I'm not. I make a lot of money. They want to take more money away from me, even though they acknowledge at least $500 billion a year is being fraudulently wasted.
So I think some of that $500 billion is fraud, and then a chunk of that is also just like improper payments. Improper payments isn't the same type of fraud, though.
It's still wasting the money.
Yeah, so I agree. Improper payments is a problem, but that's always been happening. That's been happening. That's happening regardless of what party is in power. It seems like.
Is it gotten worse or better?
I mean, yeah, it's probably gotten worse because we're spending
probably
more money.
Gotten worse under Obama. The amount of people collecting Social Security disability doubled. Was there some sort of workplace malfeasance? Was OSHA not an entity when Obama was president? That the Social Security disability rolls doubled in 8 years? You know how much of that shit is fraud? How much of the SNAP shit is fraud? How much of the Medicare is fraud?
Yeah, I mean,
there's so much fraud in this government, and they want to take more money from people like me.
And we have tax fraud too, and not even just like legal tax avoidance. There's also just actual tax fraud that equals out to hundreds of billions of dollars, probably annually as well.
Probably? Where does it say that?
Let me look it up real quick. I'm finally here on my computer.
How do you know if someone's committing tax fraud if you don't catch them? You can tell if the government's doing fraud. That's totally different. If someone's committing tax fraud, you can't know that unless you catch them. So any estimate you come up with is a guess.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is. It is. It probably is. I'd say an estimate. Yeah.
Yeah, but we know government fraud because we know how many people were paying Social Security that are 120 years old. We
So
know
no,
how much
that
money is going to hospices in Los Angeles
so that the
that
dead
don't
master file
exist.
thing, right under that they were talking about, right when Trump was initially doing his Doge cuts, yeah, that wasn't there wasn't actually proven that tons of people were getting those payments and that they weren't able to recover them. They actually had
They
to rewrite. They
absolutely
had to
have.
rewrite a
They
bunch of
cut
that
the
Doge
people off
stuff.
the rolls. He cut
They had to
millions of people off the rolls.
Yeah, no, there. From what I read, there weren't tons of like.
Oh, did you read the same source that said they didn't break the law in Atlanta? Was it the same
Yes,
source?
they were. They were cut.
Was it the same
Cameron's right.
source?
I don't know what you're
Let me
trying
look at it
to
real quick.
argue. It's like really ridiculous at this point.
Well, I mean,
listen,
everything you guys say is
Where Nick
ridiculous.
and I
so.
live alone, there's $280 billion worth of fraud.
Yeah, look,
Like,
No,
are
now
you
we're talking
serious?
about.
I think like these conversations are fine. You guys are getting into the specifics. Again, this is totally something you do with Hammer. Again, for me, it's just straight up values and what I see. Like, I feel like with Democrats and leftists mostly, but Democrats even, I feel like it's just major gaslighting. I don't think everything Trump says or does is correct. I've made that very clear. That's like the
Yeah,
difference.
so that was a
between you and
tiny
I
number, a
is
tiny
that-
number of
yeah,
payments.
Why are you
that- so
interrupting me
Hammer
right now?
lied.
Why are you interrupting
You said it
me
wasn't.
right
You said it was none.
Well, yeah, so they still recovered all that money. You're making it sound like we're losing like trillions and trillions of dollars to.
I didn't say that.
We
I
are.
didn't say
How we
that.
probably could pay off
I
the
didn't say
debt.
that.
If we
Well, that's well.
stopped
I hate to
that.
say it, but
Once
yours truly did lie.
Yeah,
About that,
once
the
again, okay,
office
all
and
right,
president.
just stop, dude. Once again, you just said he said something that he didn't ever say. I'm halfway listening. I just did a words per minute test even I know he didn't say that. Anyways, so once again,
Well, they were
I feel
claiming
like it's
millions.
just all right, bye, Max. Anyways, I feel like it's just I feel like it's just massive gaslighting, right, from the Democrats because again, unlike Max and his party, I can criticize Trump. I've done it throughout this entire conversation. I have no problem doing this. But the thing is that it's just major gaslighting because even though I don't agree with everything Trump says or even Republicans say, and we are very good at calling ourselves out. In fact, we do it so much that our whole entire party's kind of split right now. But like, how do I put this? I still see what the Democrats do and say and the ones that they are propping up so much more. There's some Democrats that I think are actually pretty normal. They're not the ones being propped up by the Democrat Party. They just kind of happen to exist in the background. The ones they're propping up, right? I hear the things that they say and it just feels like gaslighting when people like Max or whoever, when they come up and they're just like, no, they don't really think this way. Look at this one guy. It's just like,
Maybe-
you're trying to tell me my experiences are just like completely wrong. It's like I hear the Democrats and the leftists. Trust me, I have no problem voting against Republican. I'm not a Republican. I'm a conservative for sure. So generally I will vote Republican, but I think the Republican does a lot of bad things.
Baby Moose said block him again. He's the kid that asked you to unblock him. Remember? He kept asking.
I don't really remember. I mean, I kind of do now that you're mentioning it, but like again, I'm starting to. I feel like that's why I blocked him the first time. It's just insane.
It's cool. Like I understand he wants to have these discussions and debates with you, but he's not going with the flow much. He's not like meeting you in the middle. And I do really believe that leftists are the most dangerous thing for America.
100%. 100%. Like, it's just, leftists are the ones bringing in people that are not just, like, agree with our culture. They hate our culture. They hate our way of life. They want to change who we are. In fact, the major things that Hammer brought up about the Democrat Party, Max actually said he was against those things. Like, he was actually saying he was against the major things. It was actually the specifics that he liked about the Democrat Party. But if you can only like the specifics about the Democrat Party, which if you got into specifics, there might be things that, I don't know, it might be hard, but maybe I might like about the Democrat Party. But the major things, right? Open borders that's a big one for me. I don't know where that is on Max's list, to be fair, but for me, that's a big one because it brings in a bunch of fucking third world type mindset. People that hate this country, hate our culture, hate who we are, try to change who we are. They come over here, they burn the American flag, they say they hate America, they back people who hate America, and that's all Democrats. It is. You can't even deny that. Now, the problem is when you bring this up to Democrats, they go, well, Trump did that. I don't care. I don't care because I don't think Trump's perfect. Trust me, there's a lot of things Trump does that I wish he at least did better. Some things he does that I don't even agree at all. But it's just straight gaslighting because the Democrats are doing it. Anyways, thanks for the super chat. It's Hyper. Nick, nothing smart to add here, but we'd love to hear more about your Samoan father and how he's influenced your views on Israel. Doesn't have to be now, maybe sometime. Yeah, I'll talk about it at the end. Just remind me. Yeah, I don't know. It's just I think it's all insane. I think leftist is a cancer. Leftism is a cancer that honestly it spreads. It's not even like leftists in America. It's all the time. It's everywhere. Anyways, the anger. I know you've been waiting a long time. Or the angry, sorry, Zionist. What's on your mind? Are you still here?
I'm still here. How you doing, Nick and crew? Good morning from Israel.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I'll be quick, but I have 2 bones to pick, and I have a question. So bone number 1. A few years ago, I had a stroke, and like with that being said, if you give people like Max so much time, I'm gonna have another stroke, and I'm gonna blame you. The doctor said that like 20% of my brain died. Nope. What's Max's excuse? Anyway, moving on.
I'm laughing. I'm just muted.
The next bone I have to pick is that, you know, like, you're a smart guy, Nick, and I consider you a trustworthy source, but like you spread disinformation. Like for a few minutes or a few hours, actually, I thought that the handsomely fat-headed Hebrew Hammer was the king of Somaliland.
I am.
He is the king of Somaliland.
And you know, I could have gotten into trouble in some debates with that information.
I have a crown.
Oh my god.
I have a crown.
Oh my god.
Somaliland.
He pulled out the OG crown, everyone.
I
Where's
just want
your
to point
spoon, bro?
out. I just want to point out that crown is not comfortable at all. It's the most uncomfortable thing in the world to wear.
Where's the spoon? There it is.
Do you
There it
share
is.
crowns?
Y'all don't even know about the spoon. You guys are too new.
That's funny. Anyway, here's the real question. So you're coming to Israel in a couple of days. Are you going to be doing a meetup or something? I would love to buy you a beer, take you to a comedy show or something.
I hope I'm coming to Israel. I heard Lebanon and Israel are attacking each other again. It's really making me a little nervous. But anyways, yeah, I will be doing a meetup.
Yeah, we'll do some meetups.
You guys will know. I'll make sure everyone knows about it.
And I'm the only one in this panel. I'm the only one in this panel that's actually been to Palestine.
That's true.
None of y'all have been to Palestine. I have.
My mom used to go to Gaza. She served
And I
there.
found Nick in a tunnel.
Texas.
You did?
No, the tunnel one was Kentucky?
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
That's the best video. Do you have that video, Nick?
Yeah. And because my daughter's going to school in the South, I'm going to be able to knock off like 3 or 4 more Palestinians visiting her.
Yes.
That's hilarious. All right.
You've been to Gaza, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1988.
Okay, I'm gonna drop some people so I can let some other people come up.
All right, man. Be good. Thanks for. I look forward to meeting you. Hopefully things will be good and you'll
Kelly,
be able to.
I'll see you at Coaches.
And thanks for commenting on one of my videos, by the way. That was cool. Thanks.
Oh yeah, you're welcome.
All right. Be
Thanks,
good.
bye. You too. Bye, Kelly. Air Dwarf, go ahead. Air Dwarf?
Hello.
You there? Hello? Hold on a sec, Doomer. Air Dwarf. Air Dwarf, are you there? Okay, Doomer, go ahead.
Yeah, you say the 2 big problems for the world is leftism and Islam, right? That's what the moon up there, that emoji's for, right? That's Islam, correct?
You did it. Hold on, babe. Just one at a time now. It's too much.
Oh, I'm just putting them in line. Okay.
Right, and then you say you're pro-Israel, right? You're a Zionist?
What do you think, dude?
Okay, well, I'm just pointing out that Israel backs radical Islam over secularism. Is what I'm pointing out.
Israel, like, as an official policy, or are you just talking about Israelis?
No, Israel as an official policy supports radical Islam over secular countries.
Okay, go on.
Right.
Wait, hold on.
Benjamin Netanyahu
Radical
took credit
Islam
for
or
bringing in-
countries? What are you talking about?
No, they support radical Islam over
You just added the word countries after, so it was like a little weird.
Right. They prefer countries be radical Islamicists over being secular.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, so Benjamin Netanyahu took credit for bringing in Al Qaeda Jelani into Syria and overthrowing the secular Ba'athist
Jelani's not
government
been
of
with Al
Bashar
Qaeda for a
al-Assad.
long time, so that's not particularly true. But that being said, even if he backs someone leading the country over another, that's not proof of somebody backing radical Islam over secularism. That just means in that case, he sees that there, for whatever reason, more or less, a strategic value in this specific person. And he
So
has
to be clear,
credit
there's
for that?
strategic value in radical Islam
When did he take
over
credit for that?
secularism.
When did he take credit for that?
In December of 2024.
What did he say?
He said he took credit for it. So did Donald
What did
Trump.
he
They said
say? Don't tell me
I'm
what you
fixing to tell
interpreted.
you.
What did
I'm
he
fixing
say?
to tell you. They said it was a great thing that the tyrant that Bashar al-Assad had fallen.
Okay.
And that Israel's going to do good things with Syria. And they have done good things with
But
Syria.
That's not the same thing at all. What
That's
you said,
not what
he
you said.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, it's way
he took
different.
credit for it. He took credit for it too.
Well,
Wait a minute.
how did he do that?
Yeah,
Tell me.
You want me to go
wait,
find the? You want me to go find the exact quote? You want me to
Yeah,
go find the exact quote?
you could have given us the quote right now,
Okay.
but what your quote was just now was, "We're glad Assad fell," okay, and that they, hope to do great things with Syria moving forward. That's completely different than we back Al Qaeda over a secular government. That is quite the fucking stretch. And if this is your debate skills, then holy fucking shit. Jesus Christ, what is wrong with these people? Hey, did you know that Israel, and by the way, that wouldn't even be Israel.
Sorry,
it'd
hold
just be
on. Do you want me to grab
Netanyahu.
the quote or do you want me to argue with you? Which one?
I want you to
Get the
grab the
quote.
quote. What did I say that made you
Oh,
think that
thank
you
you.
should continue arguing? I'm saying you're still stupid for the first thing you said. Unless you lied about the quote just now, and the quote does actually say what you originally said, but then I'd have to be like, why the fuck did you lie about it this time? I just think that was
Okay,
just
yeah,
kind
I
of
found it.
insane. All right, great. Does it say what you said it said? Just
Yeah,
10
it says
10 seconds ago?
we play. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm
Okay,
giving it
well
to you
then,
right
then
now.
you're wrong. Then that didn't say that at all. You originally said that.
All right, here, put me on
Israel
the.
itself.
Can you make my thing the big? I got the quote from
I don't
BB.
need to. You just told me that it does say what you already said.
Yeah, this collapse is a direct
Right, that's-
result
that
of our
is-
forceful actions.
Right. That's not what you originally said. This is
Yeah, it
this
just
is
said-
completely
it just
different.
said that this is a direct result of
calm
us.
down,
It literally
relax.
just says
okay,
that.
all right. I need you to relax a little bit. Okay, I don't want to have
Okay.
to mute you, but you have to relax. So the first thing you said, right, was that, well, first off, you went from Israel to Netanyahu. But even if, let's say, you were smart enough to say Netanyahu originally, you said Netanyahu specifically said, I like or back radical Islam more than secularism. So now you're saying that Assad falling was a direct result of their actions. That's not the same thing as I back radical Islam more than secularism.
can I-
that just means
can
they
I
don't like
continue?
us. Okay, if you interrupt me one more time, I'm just gonna have to move on. Do you agree Assad was radical?
No.
You don't think Assad was radical when he
Not a
gassed
radical
your own
Islamist.
people
isn't
Right.
radical?
Okay, so I
Well,
guess
now
we
I'm
just
being interrupted.
we just asked you, gassing your own people and killing your own people. It's not radical.
I don't. That's obviously nonsense, right?
You don't
like
think he did
we
that?
have the WikiLeaks, the OPCW, like completely forged their analysis of the chemical gas attacks in 2013 and in 2015.
Wait,
and
dude,
in
when
2017.
do you agree when Assad fell and they started liberating the prisons that there were women with babies inside of the prisons?
Which prisons?
The ones in Syria.
Where in Syria?
Multiple. It wasn't just one. It was multiple that were held by the Syrian government.
Okay, name the
originally, But when the
prisons.
Assad, I'd be more than glad to. But did you see that? It's yes, I did, or no, I didn't.
No, I
Just
didn't see
because
that.
I don't
no.
know the exact name of the prison doesn't make it any less true.
Okay, well, did you acknowledge my original? So first of all, I never said that.
Wait,
Benjamin
why are you
Netanyahu
why are
said
you
himself.
ignoring what I just asked you? It was not a trick question. It wasn't. A
I just said
rhetorical question.
I didn't see the stuff you just made up. I just
Okay,
said that.
well,
now, if you
hypothetically, I am telling the truth, but for purposes of argument, right? Do you don't think there was anything radical? So you don't believe that he killed his own people? I think that's insane, but okay, fine. But I'm asking about that. That was also pretty radical. And the reason they had babies in the prison is not because they put babies in the prison. It's because they put young girls, because that's what they do in a lot of these countries, into the prison and impregnated them through you know what. They impregnated them and they had the kid in the prison and they kept them in the prison. And they were only freed because the Assad regime fell, and there was many videos of these people being released. And so I find it interesting that you don't think Assad was radical. And if you do believe he's radical, which you should, or was radical, right, then what's the problem with Netanyahu or any Israeli person coming out and saying, hey, this was the direct result of our actions, and it's a good thing.
All right, so I'm going to respond. It's going to be a little bit of a lengthy response, but if you could give me the time to, I'd appreciate it. So number
As long as
one,
you respond to my, yeah, go ahead.
yes, well, you said multiple things, so I'm going to say multiple things. So number one, I never said that Benjamin Netanyahu himself said that we support Al-Qaeda over secular regimes. I didn't say that. I said that Benjamin Netanyahu took at least
That is exactly what you said.
partially. I never said that he said that himself. I made an
you can just
argument
rewind-
based
you can
off
just
of a
rewind.
quote that Benjamin himself said. Do you see the
Okay,
difference?
So no, that's actually not what you did, right?
That is
You
what I said.
So okay, I'm gonna rephrase it, and if you don't believe me, go on YouTube.
I thought
you
we
can
said no
rewind it and
interruption.
hear it.
What is this?
Israel.
Okay, but
You didn't say Benjamin
Why do you tell
Netanyahu,
me
you
not
said
to interrupt
Israel.
and you interrupt?
Couple things. You
Behave
are
yourself. You're
quoting
you're
me.
acting like a third
So-
worldist. I'm just asking you to behave yourself.
Okay, so when you quote something from me and you completely lie about what I said, I'm gonna have to correct you. Of course I will. So if you don't believe me, you just rewind. So you originally came up here and you said that leftism and Islam I believe to be two of the biggest problems. So I said, yes, that's true. Then you said Israel backs radical Islam over secularism. And I said, what do you mean? I already said,
Correct.
keep going, expand. And then you said that Netanyahu said that they back radical Islam over leftism. And I said, well, actually, I started
Yes.
arguing something else. And so you did say that. You did say Netanyahu said that.
Yeah, he okay. So if
Why-
I could, can I elaborate?
So you
Golly, I
agree.
mean,
you
just-
did. But I just want to make sure you agree you did say that.
I said yes. Bibi Netanyahu.
Okay, good. So
himself
5
took
seconds
credit
ago
for
when you said I
bringing
never
in-
said that,
You
lied.
won't let me. You won't let me talk. Why won't you
No,
let
it's
me talk?
perfect.
You
That
bitched
was the
about me
easiest
interrupting,
debunking
and now
in the
you're
world.
interrupting. This is how
Perfect.
third worldist Zionists argue. It's
Uh-huh.
insane. They don't let
This is
people.
projection what
explain.
you're doing. You said you never said that.
I
And then
never
5
interrupted
seconds
you.
after, and then, well, first off, you did, but nonetheless, you said you never said that, and then I reminded you, and you said, actually, I did say that. I just want to make sure we're all clear that you lied when you said you never said that, and you now admit that you did say that. Perfect.
Okay,
Keep
so
going.
what I said was
You're doing
Benjamin
good.
Netanyahu took credit for bringing in Al Qaeda into Syria. That is what I said, and he did take credit into that because
didn't.
Giuliani is a former Al Qaeda member who was in
Former,
Syria in the
former,
first place because he was
former.
sent by Al Baghdadi in
Former.
Iraq to go
said
to
former,
Syria
right?
to
Did
lead
you
the
say
fight
former?
against Bashar al-Assad.
Yeah,
you say
Giuliani
former?
was on America's
bringing in-
most
so
wanted
bringing in-
terrorist, and
great,
HTS, even the
Perfect.
breakaway from Al Qaeda,
Let me ask
was
you something.
designated
was Al-Qaeda,
as a terrorist
perfect,
organization
great,
by
great.
the
Shut up. Anyways, is Al Qaeda CIA agents?
is Al Qaeda CIA agents.
Yes.
I mean, Al Baghdadi, Osama bin Laden, those guys weren't CIA.
Okay, I'm going to
agents.
ask one more time. Is Al Qaeda CIA?
Donald Trump said they were, so I'll go with him. Yeah.
Okay, so you do believe Al Qaeda is CIA?
Well, was Donald Trump lying?
I'm not asking about that. I'm asking you, do you believe Al Qaeda is CIA?
Al Qaeda, and the
Okay, let's
Islamic
try
State
it
were
one more time.
receiving
Let's see if we can get a
funding
yes
from
or
the
no.
CIA.
Is Al Qaeda
They
CIA?
were receiving funding from the CIA.
Let's
I'll
try
say
it one
that.
more time. Is Al Qaeda CIA?
Yes, they were funded by the CIA.
Okay, so the answer is yes. Perfect. So did Bibi Netanyahu bring in the CIA into Syria?
Did Ben? No, that's not
Why
what I
not?
said.
Why not? You just said Al
No,
Qaeda
I said he
CIA. Hold,
aided-
stop. You said Al Qaeda CIA, and he brought Al Qaeda into Syria. So the reason you're saying that is because Jolani
Wait, I never
was a
said
former.
that.
Shut up. Yes, you did. Yeah, yes, you did. Are you gaslight? Yes, you did. You said Netanyahu took credit for bringing Al Qaeda into Syria. Why are you gaslighting? You said it
Okay,
5
okay, I see what
seconds
you mean.
ago.
I see what you mean. Yes.
Great.
Yes, the
So
CIA
shut
and
up.
Mossad
Okay,
brought-
perfect. Now shut up. So you did say that. Once again, I don't know why you keep saying you didn't say things we all heard you say just for you to admit, oh yeah, I did say that. There. Anyways, so your argument is that Jolani was a former Al-Qaeda guy. So therefore, if Jolani takes over Syria, that is the equivalent of the entire Al-Qaeda coming into Syria, or not the entire like 100%, but Al-Qaeda itself coming into Syria because he used to be part of Al-Qaeda, and therefore Bibi Netanyahu brought Al-Qaeda in. So by that same logic, he brought CIA in because Al-Qaeda had people in leadership that were, according to you, CIA. So if you're using the same logic of what they used to do, and somehow that means they're forever that, because that's the logic you're using with Jolani, then effectively what you're saying is that Bibi brought the CIA into Syria. That is what you're saying, and so therefore I don't care anymore.
Okay, well, if I could elaborate a little bit, Donald Trump himself said that Obama
don't
was
care.
responsible for Al Qaeda and the
I don't
Islamic
care.
State.
I don't
Well,
care.
hold on. Well,
This
hold
isn't
on. Let me.
this isn't
Can
an
I?
argument
Why?
about Trump. This isn't an
I'm
argument
not.
about Trump. You're just like
I'm
Max. You're like
responding with
that leftist
I'm
before.
going to elaborate.
It doesn't
right?
matter. I don't care about Trump.
So
We're
what
not
was
arguing
Operation
about
Timber
Trump.
Sycamore?
I
What was
don't
Operation Timber
care.
Sycamore?
What is so confusing, dude? I don't give a shit. This is what leftists do, like what Max did. They shift to Trump for whatever fucking. I don't care.
I'm not blaming
Your
Trump for
argument.
anything.
I don't care. The argument. Now, if you want to concede that and have a completely different new argument, okay, fine, I guess. But I don't give a shit. I'm not here to change your mind about what Trump did or didn't say, or if you believe him or not. I don't care. I'm using your own logic against you, and you realize, yeah, you said I see what you're saying, so that's true. Case closed. That's it. That's all I'm doing. I'm just using your own argument against you, and you realize it was a stupid point. Now, if you want to have a different argument, honestly, I have other people waiting, but maybe, I guess. But I don't give a shit what Trump said. It doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with your claim. It has nothing to do with what we're debating.
Okay, so if I can elaborate for a moment, the reason why I brought up Trump was because under Operation Timber Sycamore, which was a covert CIA operation under President Obama.
What part of I don't care do you not get?
Why don't you care about $1 billion being sent to the Islamic State to overthrow Bashar al-Assad under the CIA? Because
it has nothing to do with your original claim, which is what we're debating.
Then why'd you bring up the CIA?
Israel, well, first off, I only brought it up to show your hypocrisy in the argument that you were making, not to completely pivot to what the CIA didn't or didn't do in the past. It doesn't matter. It's just to show your hypocrisy. My point, right, is that your original claim, what you wanted to debate, was that Israel likes radical Islam more than secularism, or slash Netanyahu said that he brought Al-Qaeda into Syria. That's it. That was your claim.
But he did say that.
Officially, but he didn't, and we've already proven that.
Giuliani is Al-Qaeda.
Great, perfect. I'm going to move on, okay? Good job. You're a great debater. You did absolutely incredible. I'm going to move on because there's other people waiting to come up, and we have to get to you, Mingle, soon.
Interesting.
Hi,
Grump, go ahead. Oh, wow. That person is fucking dead asleep. You know what? Smarter argument.
She's a supporter.
Smarter argument than Doomer made.
Yeah, she wouldn't have argued with you. She's a supporter.
Still smarter argument than Doomer made. That was embarrassing. Holy shit.
Nick, tell me if you want ice cream.
Not really. I mean, I don't know. I guess if you're getting it, sure, why not? J-Mir, go ahead. J-Mir? Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I was going to ask about when you say Israel is our greatest ally. What do you mean by that? Could you expand on that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think for the most part, it's depends on which aisle of allyship we're talking about. When it comes to capability and technological innovation cooperation, that's what I mean by greatest ally. If there's other allies we go down, I would probably pick other people over Israel, although Israel can still be up there, but maybe not literally greatest.
Yeah, I personally believe in a two-state solution in Palestine or Israel proper.
Okay, I mean, I don't agree with the two-state solution at all. I don't see why. Why do you think a two-state solution would be beneficial and how it would help the conflict?
Because there are two groups that have very strong, they have very strong ties to the land.
Even if that was true, which I'm going to go ahead and say there's one that's significantly stronger by far, but let's say even if you were correct, why should that mean that it would help the conflict, right? Do the Palestinians, do they accept that their land is only Judea Samaria? Because by two-state solution, I assume you mean Judea Samaria would become Palestine, what they call the West Bank?
Yes.
Okay, so how is that going to help the Palestinian question, if you will, because they believe that the entire land is still theirs, even if they were willing to, which they never would be. They don't want a two-state solution. They just say that. But even if, let's say, hypothetically, they'd be willing to accept that, do you think that that would stop everything? They wouldn't attack Israel?
Yeah, no, maybe there will still be people that want to attack Israel.
Okay.
I think.
Go ahead and finish that real quick, but I have a side question for you, but go ahead.
If there was a Palestinian state, there wouldn't be as much violence if there wasn't.
Well,
You mean
I don't.
like Gaza?
Right. I was going to say, I don't know why you think that. There was a small little project in 2005 that was implemented to see how the Palestinians would do with autonomy in a smaller region. And I don't know if you know the what happened with that, but they failed almost immediately, and they created actually more violence. In fact, the more autonomy the Palestinians have had, it has led to more terrorism and violence. It's actually the opposite. The more land they've been given, the more autonomy they've had throughout all of history, it has actually led to more terrorism. So why do you think it would be different if we give them even more land? And my side question for you is, do you know how far on October 7th, when the Palestinians attacked the Jews, do you know how far the Palestinians made it into Israel proper during the October 7th attack? Are you there? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know how far they made it into Israel.
Would you believe me if I said that they made it farther than the distance from Judea, Samaria to the Mediterranean Sea?
Did they?
Yes, definitely. I'm asking, would you... Okay, anyways, you're taking way too long to answer, so I'm just going to get to the point here. They made it farther into Israel proper on October 7th from tiny little Gaza than they made from Judea, Samaria to the Mediterranean Sea. So if you were to give them even more land, right, and now it's bordered up with a very long land border with Jordan, okay, because we know that they were smuggling weapons through Egypt, and that's a very, very small land border compared to how long the land border with Jordan would be if it was a state of Palestine there. What would happen when they would cut Israel proper in half, significantly easier than what they already did on October 7th, okay, and have even more terrorist attacks, because now they have the entire land border of Judea, Samaria that wraps all the way around from the north part, wraps around into Israel proper, into the south part. What would you do if they did attack that way? And before you answer that, that's kind of like question one, but question two that's attached. If they did do that, would you support Israel wiping out Palestine and saying, we are now taking the whole land? We gave you a state. We recognized that you were part of the United Nations. You failed. Now we get to take everything. Would you accept that? So kind of a two-parter question.
Would accept Israel defending themselves, but
Nope.
I
No.
wouldn't accept it.
The deal is we will give you a state and recognize it, but if you attack us, I'm not talking about some like broken off person who just like attacks. Like if there's some kind of coordinated attack that you weren't able to stop, or your government itself implemented and did, the agreement is we will recognize the state and give you one, but if you do this even once, we get to take all of it. That's the deal. Would you take that?
Yes, okay. It sounds fair, so yes.
Okay.
Yes.
They won't.
Okay, then can you answer the first question? Because that was kind of the second one. The first one was that they did make it farther than the land from Judea, Samaria to the Mediterranean Sea. They did that farther in just October 7th. So you think it would be smart to give the Palestinians, who have always pushed into terrorism. There's not one moment in Palestinian history that wasn't filled with terrorism. You think that that's the people that you think should have a state?
No, but that was Hamas, and Hamas shouldn't count
really?
for all of Palestine.
Really? How about PIJ? Is the PIJ also a one-off?
Yes, that's a terrorist group. They shouldn't.
Okay,
count
how about
for,
the Okay, great. How about the DFLP? Is that also a one-off?
Wait a second. Forget the terrorist group. There was as many civilians from Gaza that went into Israel as there were Hamas members.
True.
There were civilians. The most of the graping was done by civilians, not by Hamas.
That's true. Can you actually
Those were
tell me?
civilians, regular old Gazans just wandering into the border and graping women.
Can you actually tell me who is, like, who do you think, and you can go throughout all of history from 48 to today, any of the Palestinian organizations, can you tell me who you think is just the peaceful one, like the most peaceful, whether you pick Hamas, PA, PLO, Fatah, all the same thing, kind of, PFLP, DFLP, PIJ, pick whatever, you can pick any of them, as long as they're in a Palestinian organization. Which one do you think that's the one that will be peaceful with Israel? That's the one we should put in power. Which one would you pick?
I got us an
None of
Oreo
them, because
milkshake.
they're all
That's all I have.
terrorist organizations.
Thank you, baby. So if the Palestinians, by your own admission, and this is the first thing you said correct, by your own admission, the Palestinians have been incapable of, because you just said, oh, that's just Hamas, but you just admitted right now the Palestinians have been incapable of doing anything peaceful or pushing anyone that's peaceful, right? The most moderate one today is the PA, and even they fund terrorism more than they do their own education. That's actually true. So if you're admitting that now, why would it be different if tomorrow they became a state? Why would it change?
Because maybe we should get someone who isn't part of these organizations.
Who are you to tell them? You want them to self-determine, right? That's the whole point. Who are you to tell them who gets to be their leader or not?
I mean, obviously, we wouldn't get a terrorist organization to lead.
Who are you to tell them? Who are you to tell them? The IRGC is a terrorist organization. They're the government of Iran. Taliban's terrorist organization. They're the government of Afghanistan. Who are you to tell them what they get to have and don't? And even if you could convince them for a couple years, who's to say that they won't just flip and vote someone in later that's a terrorist organization like they did with Hamas in Gaza?
You want them to be independent except for being able to choose their leadership, so you want them to be a puppet of the United States and Israel.
Right.
That's smart. That'll go well. I think Palestinians would love that. Should give it a shot.
What are you going to do when the Palestinians start attacking Israel and their reasoning is that they're still occupied even though they have a state? And when people ask, what do you mean you're occupied? They say, well, they choose our leaders for us.
Well, before they attack Israel, they're going to attack the leaders that they didn't choose.
Well, true. Yeah, that's true too. But you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, this is why the two-state is a delusion. It's made by people, and I'll give you a little bit of credit right now because I used to be this way too, you know, and then I grew up. But it comes from a place of a good heart. Like, hey, I'm just sick of like all the war and the blood from both sides. I really just want it to end. And so you believe if we just give both of them a state, everything will be kumbaya. But once you start getting these questions, which honestly, these are pretty basic questions. I haven't even gotten into the hard ones yet. All of a sudden it's like, well, we'll choose the government for them. Oh, wait, no, they're not going to like that. Like, it doesn't work, does it? The two-state is a delusion. Also, furthermore, Judea Samaria is the eternal land of the Jewish people. It is the heart of the Jewish people, Judea and Samaria, right? Jerusalem, before Jerusalem was a capital, it was Hebron, which is in Judea specifically. And so this idea that you want to kick all of the Jews out, which is called ethnic cleansing, by the way, which is kind of ironic because that's what the pro-Palestinians are always crying against. But now we want to ethnically cleanse almost 1 million Jews. It'll be 1 million relatively sooner than later. We want to ethnically cleanse 1 million Jews out of Judea and Samaria. That's where, if any place in the world where we're like, you know where we should really ethnically cleanse the Jews out of? You're going to pick Judea and Samaria. That's wild, bro. That's really wild. And we're going to give it to the Arabs. Like, come on, dude. You really think this makes sense?
Where do you think the Palestinians should go? Do you think they should stay where they are, or should they go? Should they disperse into the Arab countries?
I'll answer that question in 2 weeks, and I'll tell you why. Give me a second. I got a new book. I haven't read his argument yet. I don't know if I agree with him at all, but I got a book by Rabbi Meir Kahane. It's called They Must Go. And I'm not saying I agree with him. I'm not even saying it's the right answer, but I am very, very keen on learning all sides. I've read the worst of the worst from the terrorist side. I'm not saying he's the worst. I think there's a lot of things Kahane says that actually make a lot of sense. That being said, he is considered, I guess, like Constantine Zarek. I've read Constantine Zarek. He was an Islamist, Syrian historian, Arab, who was very, very anti-Semitic, anti-Jewish, anti-Israel, whatever, all the keywords you want to say. And now I want to read, Meir Kahane. And I want to see what he has to say. I want to see what his argument is. Right now, what I would say, before I've read this book, because I literally just got it today, and I'm going to read it on the plane. What I would say is that that's up to the Palestinians to choose, okay? The Palestinians have 3 choices, in my opinion, okay? They can choose metaphorically Jordan, Nazareth, or Gaza. Metaphorically, what that represents is they can choose to live in Israel and not be terrorists and want to help uplift the Jewish state. Even though they're saying they're not Jewish, that's fine, but they want to help uplift this state. They don't want to attack it. They might have problems with it socially, but they want to uplift it. That's Nazareth. They can choose Jordan, which metaphorically represents that they don't want to live in Israel. They don't recognize it, but they also don't want to be terrorists or attack it. Then they can leave. Okay, they can go to one of the many Muslim/Arab states. Or they can choose Gaza, which metaphorically represents that they can try to attack Israel and try to fight, and then they can die.
Ooh.
That's what I would say right now, but maybe in a couple weeks I'll answer you what I think, if I think differently. That being said, Jordan was Palestine. I hope we all understand that. It is Palestine, but I'm saying it literally was referred to as the Palestinian region. So I do find it a little interesting that there's no Free Palestine movement in Jordan. It's a little weird, right? Because it's kind of like they took 78%, give or take, of the land, right? And they called it a different name. They don't call it Palestine. Palestinians don't control it. They make up most of it, by the way. More than 50% of them are quote-unquote Palestinians. So it's kind of interesting. Why aren't they calling for a Free Palestine? I'm not saying they have to like Israel, but why don't they hate Jordan? Why is the world not boycotting Jordanian products and calling for a Free Palestine there? It's a little hypocritical.
I think now's a good time to bring up Jamie, I think is this guy's name. Jameer.
Let's make it quick. I need to get to you, Mingle. So
there's still to this day, to this day, there's only one formal, internationally recognized peace plan that's on the table, and the Palestinians have not responded to it, Jameer. So if you could get this in front of them, the Pact of Shakush is still the only legitimate peace plan that is in existence right now. The Pact of Shakush solves everybody's problems.
Normally, I hate when you bring this up, but since it's been so long, can you tell us a little bit about what the Pact of Shakush is?
Pact of Shakush is a peace plan that I formalized, which includes a path to citizenship for Palestinians, but some benchmarks that they have to hit and some laws that they have to live under.
Is there a law of return for them? Can they
the
return?
Palestinians have to live as dhimmis under the Jews for 1,000 years, like we had to live under them as dhimmis for 1,000 years. And there's certain laws and rules about how they can live their lives. For example, they're not allowed to use any motor vehicles. They can only ride bikes and animals. They have to wear identifiable clothing, which identifies them as Muslim. They have to pay certain taxes to ensure their safety. And any violation of the Pact of Shakush is immediate deportation to Greenland. It's much more formalized than that, but I'm giving you the broad strokes.
What happens at the end of the 1,000 years?
Hammer, are they allowed to return in order to do that?
They have to accept. If they accept Israeli citizenship, they have to pledge allegiance to the country, and they have to live as dhimmis.
No, she's saying
and
the
if they're
ones
able
that
to do so for 1,000 years.
she's
they
saying,
can then apply for citizenship.
She's saying
The ones in the West, if they're allowed to come
right,
back.
are they
and
allowed
do
to
that.
start their 1,000-year process?
Oh, no. That's very
Okay.
specifically
That's too much.
delineated. Only the people on the land today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why are there no Jordanian Jews? We would like to know.
Yeah, diaspora Palestinians, they get nothing. They get nothing.
You know, the reason I do like that plan is because if anyone bitches about it, it's like literally that's what you did to the Jews and
Exactly.
others. So it's like you can't like, how do you bitch about that exactly?
Lalo.
They do that to the Jews.
Did you mean to request, babe? I feel like she made a mistake. But I love her, so I'll give her a second. Lalo, you there, girl? Okay, come back if you meant to.
How would that be fair?
Who cares?
In your
What do I
peace
give a shit
plan.
about fair? Why do I care about fair? Fair is subjective, first of all.
Life isn't fair.
Who determines fair? But why should I care about what's fair to the Palestinians? I have no interest in them. My interest is in Israel's security. Palestinians, I could give a shit about. I care about the Palestinians as much as Hamas does.
Nice. Nice.
I wouldn't say they care.
You nailed it, Jameer. Good
And
job.
I wouldn't say I do either.
That's
the difference
point.
is I'm not their elected representative and Hamas is. And they're elected to care. So yes, I care as much as Hamas does.
So you would want the Palestinians to go under Israeli citizenship?
If they're willing to live under the rules of the Pact of Shakush, sure. They have to wear certain clothing. They can only get around with certain modes of transportation. They can only work certain jobs. They have to pay a special jizya. Yeah, absolutely. If they want to do that, sure. And if they don't, they get to go to Greenland. A lot of open space in Greenland, a lot of property, a lot of available territory to build property. They could really do something good there. And I hear the weather's outstanding.
Yeah.
Almost as good as the Mediterranean.
Almost.
All right. I'm going to go on to you, Mingle, now.
I think Jameer I think he overloaded. He's glitching. He's like, Pact of Shakush. I can't handle this. I don't even know how to respond.
All right, y'all. Thanks, Jameer. You did great. Going on to you, Mingle, so you guys know the drill. Follow Danielle to Coaches Live. They're going to, if you want to stay on TikTok, then they're going to be over there. If you don't care either way, then you guys come over to YouTube or X, and you can watch from there. I'm going to start you, Mingle. See you all around. Peace. Bye-bye. Okay. All right. We don't have no more TikTok.
It's Omegle time, everyone! You know what that means? Arabs hanging out in a car. Nothing but Arabs hanging out in a car.
Screaming and yelling while hanging out in a car.
Absolutely no women, just three bros hanging out in a car. 1, 2, 3 Arabs hanging out in a car. Come on, everyone, sing along. From the west to the east to the north to the south. From the river to the sea.
All we see is Arabs hanging out in a car. Nothing but Arabs hanging out in a car.
We click next.
And what do you see?
No women, absolutely no women, just bros in a car. Screaming and yelling while hanging out in a car. 1, 2, 3 Arabs hanging out in a car. Omegle time!
Omegle time. Hello.
This is the guy, bro. I love Israel, bro.
Awesome.
Israel is amazing. I love Israel. Where are you from? I've seen your TikTok when you roast fucking Palestinians and shit like that.
I thought you roasted this fucking Arab bitch, bro.
I'm from California.
California, nice. Listen, fuck Israel. Fuck شو اسمه هذا Benjamin Netanyahu, fucking piece of shit. Clip us, please. Please clip us.
please.
You
Put
didn't
us on
say
your fucking
anything. What
TikTok.
would I clip you for?
All right, talk to us, please.
Debate.
من شكلك يلعب النفس.
Sure, no problem. Which one am I debating? What's your guys' claim?
We claim that you guys rape little children and you guys bomb the fucking every single person in the world for no fucking reason. You fucking asshole, piece of shit.
It's kind of hard to debate when you're just being like projective.
It's not projective, bro. You guys rape children.
You bombed 100,000 fucking Gazans in Gaza. What the fuck is your justification?
Okay, so is it 100,000? Because the last source I said 688,000, and then there's the Hamas says it's 72,000. So what's the number coming from?
Yeah, and if it's 1,000, fuck you guys.
It's a one. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like 100,000 when it's 600,000.
Why are you guys so angry for? Like, I'm trying to have a conversation. It's hard to do this.
I just don't like not angry, bro. We're not angry.
You have a weird way of showing that. So yeah, people die in war. That's true. So when you say if it's only one, no, that would be ridiculous. Of course, there would be more than at least. Like, that doesn't make any sense. How many of the 72,000? That's
sense?
Sure. Go ahead.
Bombing children, you piece of shit.
Okay, sure. So where is most of the
Why
bombing?
you guys bombing schools? Why schools? Why hospitals?
It's
Why?
hard to answer you, and you just keep interrupting.
Iran didn't do that.
They did.
Palestine didn't do that.
They
Lebanon
did.
Didn't do that. No, they did.
They definitely did. They did actually. So let me just ask you a question.
Talk like a man, piece of shit.
I hate this guy. Well, I can't stand him.
Jesus Christ, you guys are so fucking angry. I see why you guys lose all the time.
Jesus Christ, I thought you
You're
were
too
Jewish. So which
emotional.
one, Moses? No, Jesus.
Moses or Jesus? I don't know.
I'm sorry, what?
Moses, no, Jesus.
I'm not. You think I'm Jewish?
Then what are you? Oh, so you're.
Oh, you're not even Jewish.
Fucking
Just for
the
love of
Jews
the
hate
game.
you, you piece
What
of
the
shit.
fuck?
The Jews hate you.
Why are you guys? This is why you guys lose. This is why you guys lose all the time. Because you guys are dumb. You can't even like. You guys are low IQ people. You're barbaric. You guys scream. I'm not even like screaming at you, and you guys are just like, I got fucking children. Do you guys actually care about your children?
No, I don't care about my children. What the fuck type of question is that?
Well, because most of the people that were killed, including the children in Gaza, were killed in northern Gaza. They were told to go to the Al-Mawasi zone, even by the United Nations. Can you tell me why the parents, 500,000 Gazans, decided to ignore even the United Nations and stop?
Leave your house.
Okay.
Let me come bomb it.
What the fuck? Leave your house.
Come bomb
So
it.
you would rather your child die? Is that what you're saying? Wow, what great parents.
listen,
That's
listen.
amazing. Wow. I care more about my house than my own child. Wow, what a great answer. I'm glad you guys care about your parents and your culture.
Listen, if we leave, then we just gave up everything that we this is our
So the 1 million Palestinians that left, they all were quitters? Is that what you're saying? Wow, he's already crashing
what
out,
that
chat. That's crazy.
No, I'm not crashing out.
Yeah, I know what it means actually. I do know what that means. It means
Fuck Israel. Fuck you and fuck Israel and fuck Trump and fuck Iran. Fuck you.
Oh wait.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Wait, don't leave. It's fun. Aww.
On, bro.
Hello.
How you been?
Amazing.
Oh, wait, sorry. I probably shouldn't say that. You're streaming, right?
Yeah, but I'm on YouTube. I can't
Oh,
imagine
okay.
what you were gonna say, but it probably won't be anything that bad.
Nah, I like your stream.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, all right. Good luck with everything, bro. I'll see you.
Peace, bro.
العلم اللي يقرف اللي
العمل
تعبيط
العمل
لصحابي ما رنوش
Fuck, that was like a 5-year-old, bro.
يا عم
Why am I getting the same fucking people?
fuck Israel.
العمل What's up, man?
What's going on?
Not much. Just like Is vaping that thing down, huh?
What happened?
Nothing.
You said so.
That's why I did. Big Stung Israel. What the fuck? Bro, dude, you look like a $1.10. God bless the USA. Yeah, I agree. Canada. You guys are from Canada? Bro, what is it with everyone without their shirt on? What the fuck?
Fuck Israel. Fuck Netanyahu. Fuck Iraq. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
I
Our
love
dooms.
Egypt. Egypt is so nice. It's one of the
Fuck
nicest
you
countries in the
and
world.
Fuck America. Fuck Iraq. Fuck
I
Iraq.
bet Egypt
fuck
has such a
Netanyahu.
great economy.
Fuck you.
I heard Egypt's
Fuck
real
you.
nice. Is that Australian music you're listening to? Alhamdulillah, Habibi. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Takbir.
Allahu Akbar.
They're like robots. You can just get them to say what you want them to say. Oh shit. Hey, what's up, dude? Oh, alright. Hey, what's up, dude?
What's up, Nick? How you doing?
Can't complain.
Yeah, bro. How you going?
Yep.
Not talking to somebody. Shawty's here free. She got everything I need. Her and all her friends going because this guy's some B&B. I would never tell her secret. Let's just keep it in the sheets. Smoke a bell while you suck it. Damn, you made it hard to breathe. Yeah, she legit. We walk inside the club and my girl is with your bitch. Nail done, hair done, diamonds on her wrist. We ballin' every day like what's a bitch and then assist. Got no talk like Sway Lee. My bitch is on her face, but they love equally. And I ain't switching picking teams. Different location. Most for us overseas. And you know this shit ain't nothing to a G, cause
You know, honestly, you're dog shit.
اللي مضايقني والله
يلا
جامد والله.
الله الله الله. Can't hear you, bro. Thanks, APAC, for the money. Takbir.
Allahu Akbar.
Do you guys like have to say it if someone says takbir? Like, is it like you just can't
I mean,
not
I
say
say
it?
it. I mean, I say it.
Everyone has. Everyone says takbir too. They say Allahu Akbar.
I say it. I don't know if it's mandatory, but I just say it.
Fair enough. Anyways, what's up, man? How you doing? You're in America?
Yeah.
You like America?
I like Chicago.
Chicago? I've been to
Yeah.
Chicago. It's been a while. I was in Chicago in 2012.
Damn.
I don't know what
When
it
I
looks like
was-
now.
When I was 3 years old.
Jesus, bro. You were born in 2001? Or no?
9.
Sorry. Oh, fuck, dude. Holy shit. That wasn't even... Oh, my God. Holy shit, dude. That's crazy.
I know.
So wait, what, you're like... You only 17?
Yeah.
Bro, you look like you're like 35.
I know.
All right. Jesus Christ. That dude's 17? What is it with the Gen Z nowadays, dude? Salam alam. Kosemek. What's up?
Oh, here we go again.
تكبير
بأمك مريضة يا ابن الشرموطة.
تكبير
بس أمك.
تكبير.
Yo, tell your buddy Moderate Case to upload the
تكبير.
full. Tell him to upload the full video where I cooked him. He only uploaded the clips.
Who?
Moderate Case.
Who's that?
The Moderate Case.
Why don't you just tell him?
He claimed he was your friend, so I don't know.
Never heard of him.
Oh, really?
Why don't you just tell him?
He actually knew a lot about your life.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think you're making it up.
He knew a lot about that little slut, the prostitute.
Takbir.
What's going on, bro?
Takbir.
What?
Takbir.
Skip me. Yo, fuck Israel. Fuck Israel. Fuck Israel. Fuck Israel. Fuck
You want to
Israel.
fuck them like really hard?
Are you Israeli?
No, I'm American. But Israelis are pretty hot. Not gonna lie.
Wait, is this a Palestinian necklace?
No.
What is it?
This? It's Israel.
Yeah.
Has the Golan Heights, see? I don't think Palestinians claim the Golan Heights.
Are you Israeli?
You already asked this question. Remember, I said no, I'm American.
Okay, but like you support. Okay, Israel, Palestine.
Just want to make sure it's still up there. Yeah, Israel.
Dang, are you Jewish?
No, I'm not. I'm Italian and Spanish mostly. But why did you ask
I asked
Israel
if you-
Palestine? Is it not like obvious?
I don't know. Maybe you have some meme thing going on. I don't know.
No, I'm pro-Israel.
Like, what are you pro about them then? Like, what's your religion? Are you Christian?
I was baptized as a Catholic as a baby, but right now, I mean, I believe in God, but I'm not really religious.
Okay, so then I'm kind of curious. Okay, what makes you support Israel?
I mean, there's kind of a lot of reasons, but I've studied the history more than 99.99% of people, and I just like through study, and I study both sides, right? I read anti-Zionist sides like Konstantin Zarek, Ilan Pappé, etc. I read the Zionist side. I read neutral books. I've studied Islam theology excessively, and so after studying it so long, I realized that Israel was in the right. Not that they're perfect, of course, but
That they're in the right overall?
yeah, definitely.
What?
Thank you. Yeah, what makes you think they're not?
Dude, they're literally committing a genocide right now.
Well, first off, I was talking about the history, but I also, if we're talking about
Okay,
contemporary,
historically, they're also. I mean, I
Well,
don't
I
even
just
know
want
the
to say
full
real quick,
story, but I just know they're
contemporary.
incorrect.
Sure, but contemporary. Well, wait, hold on, wait a minute. Okay, contemporary times are also not committing a genocide, but I find your comment kind of interesting. You said I don't know the history, but I know they're not correct. If you don't know the history, then how do you...
I said I don't fully know the history, and
Right,
I
so-
forgot certain details.
So how do you
watched-
know if they're correct or not then if you don't fully know the history?
I'm saying I don't know it like in detail.
What do you know about the history?
I just know that like overall Jews that were I forgot what it was exactly. Like they're basically in different countries. Like I don't know, like I want to
Yeah,
say
just like
100,
Arabs.
200 years ago.
Just like Arabs.
And so they decided to go to different countries, and they were already
They decided?
not like this, but they
They were forced out of their land by the Romans.
okay, sure. They were.
Okay,
they
I'm just
were
saying.
forced-
To be fair, that's a big difference.
Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. I apologize. They were forced to move to different lands for certain reasons. I forgot the reasons exactly. I do believe that they do also have bad beliefs. For example, that's maybe one of the reasons why people didn't want them. Eventually, the Germans accepted them.
So far, you're
and
wrong about everything you're saying.
So they didn't go through different countries?
Okay, other than that, you were wrong about everything you said. They did go to different countries because they were forced to, but everything else you said was... I'm not even trying to be rude. Like, it was...
What's everything else?
What do you mean? You don't know what you just said? I can repeat
No,
it for
I'm
you,
saying
but I'd
what
rather
I'm
you
saying
just
everything
remember.
else, like which parts?
So you said, like, they weren't accepted anywhere, and then after some time Germans accepted them. That's not even true at all. They've been in Germany for a very, very long time. It wasn't like Germans accepted them after other people didn't. And then also, when you said their beliefs, the reason they were kicked out by the Romans was actually the Jewish Roman revolt, because the Romans were persecuting the Jewish people and they revolted. The Romans obviously won because, well, the Romans were very powerful back then, to be fair. And then there was something called the Bar Kokhba revolt. And then the Roman Emperor Hadrian, he kicked the Jews out. Not all of them. Jews have always been in that land since the beginning, but most of them were kicked out. And then Roman Emperor Hadrian renamed the Judea, which was a province in the Roman Empire at the time. He renamed it Syria Palestina after the Assyrians and the Philistines, who were Greek European invaders. And that's where Palestine gets its name from, actually. It comes from Philistia, which is... they were Europeans, which is kind of ironic because the Palestinians say that Jews are European invaders. Their name descends from literally European invaders.
Okay. So then when they did reach Germany, was this after this? Yeah.
Well, yeah. So when the Romans kicked out the Jews, they went to many different areas, and this is the diaspora. And so there's the Ashkenazi Jews who went really to Italy at first, and then they spread to the rest of Europe in time. And then you have the Sephardic Jews, who are more Southern Europe, Northern Africa, and then you have Mizrahi Jews, which kind of is sort of somewhat of a newer term, not really. They were the ones that stayed in Israel or went to the surrounding what is now Arab nations. They weren't Arab at the time necessarily, because Arabs, colonized much after, but, for the most part.
And like, why did they split up?
Because they were forced out into different areas, and some people had to go one.
Okay, well, like, do you know why they were forced out?
Yeah, I just told you it was after the Bar Kokhba revolt. I just said this like 5 seconds
Okay,
ago.
but you're saying like revolt. What is that?
So Bar Kokhba was a Jewish man who tried to revolt against, well, him and his posse, if you will, tried to revolt against the Romans because they were raping, killing, persecuting Jewish people, and just after a while they had enough. And it was their land. Remember, the Jews are from there, whereas the Romans were not. The Romans invaded their land, and they failed. The Romans won.
Okay, so then they were basically kicked out.
Right.
And then...
not all of them, just a lot of them.
Okay. And then I am aware of something about them making their way to Germany, correct?
Well, yeah, they went
Like
to all different parts of Europe. It wasn't like Germany specifically.
Okay. Okay. But I'm trying to point towards the Holocaust.
Oh, yeah, that's much later. That was in 41.
Yeah, that's like the early 1900s or like early mid.
Well, more mid. It was 1941
Okay, yeah.
was really the crux of it, even though it's really started a little bit before that in the 30s.
Okay. Was it 6 million Jews that died?
Yeah, of course. What do you mean?
Are you sure?
This is 100%. I've done Holocaust studies before. It is extremely documented. It's not even... What makes you think it might not be 6 million? And then maybe I can help you. I find it funny how pro-Palestinians always seem to be like anti-Semitic. It's just interesting. You guys always say it's about Zionism and not Judaism, but then it always comes down to like, I don't know if it was 6 million. Like, why can't it be 6 million Jews and you still hate Israel? Like, why do you have to attack what the Jewish people went through? But nonetheless, it's fine. You're being cordial.
I can slightly actually explain a little bit of that.
You'll lose the debate, but fine, go ahead. I'm actually curious. What makes you think it wasn't 6 million?
Okay. I don't know, obviously, things to detail. I'm not someone who like studies this.
Well, correct. If you knew it to detail, you would know it was 6 million. So obviously you don't know it to detail. So what makes you think it wasn't?
As far as I'm aware,
what's your number one argument? Give me your best argument on why you don't think it was 6 million.
At most, it was 271.
71,000, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you get that from?
Something about how the style of killing, which was what, the gas chambers, that even
most Jews didn't die in gas chambers. Most didn't die in the gas chambers.
How'd they die? Hunger?
So some died from hunger, typhus, disease. A lot of them died from just being shot and killed before they ever even went to concentration camps, the ghettos that they were forced into.
Part of my reasoning was also...
But real quick, you didn't answer my question. Where did you get the 271,000 from? Like, this is your... Remember, you said this is your best argument, so this is the one you should be able to...
the most.
But I got it, but real quick, just let me finish this one sentence real quick. This is your best argument. So this is the thing that you should be able to argue at least the best. And you're already like, well, I don't really know. Where did you get 271,000 from? I can tell you where anti-Semites get it from, and I can debunk it if you'd like me to. Because I know where it comes from.
Well, there's also more to that statement. That even if it was more than 271,000 or a little bit less or whatever it was around that number, there's no way it could have been 6 million because there wasn't even 6 million Jews in that area to begin
There
with.
wasn't 6 million Jews in Europe?
There wasn't that many to be able to be killed.
How many Jews were in Europe at this time?
I don't know the number, bro. But I just know that there wasn't enough.
There was.
In the
there was...
in the German occupation?
Yes. Do you know where Auschwitz is? Or
No.
was?
I mean, in Germany.
No.
Right?
No.
Okay.
It's in
okay.
Poland.
Okay, I'm not good with that either.
Okay, I'm just curious. Do you think, if you didn't even know where the most famous concentration camp was, which I appreciate you being honest and not knowing, but if you don't know that basic piece of information, do you think you're smart enough to know what the population of Jews were in all of Europe?
I mean, I'm not someone who looked vigorously into all of this subject.
You didn't look at all. You just said there wasn't even 6 million Jews in Europe. Yes, there was.
I'm not in Europe. I did not say in Europe. I said in Germany.
That's where the Jews were. Do you think all the Jews that were killed in the Holocaust were just in Germany?
I think it was mainly Germany.
No,
it was Germany.
I just Auschwitz alone killed 1.1 million Jews, and that was in Poland.
Okay.
The USSR had like 6 million Jews by itself, dude. Just the USSR by itself. Many of them actually were forced into the areas where it became German occupied areas. Poland had, I think, like 3 to 4 million Jews by itself. That's just Poland. That's not even Germany. I mean, we haven't even gotten to Germany yet. There's actually a document from the Nazis themselves. Have you ever heard of the Wannsee Conference? Okay. So it was on January 20th, 1942. This was the Germans. Have you ever heard of the Final Solution?
No.
Oh, wow. God. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to be nice because it's like, but you know very, very, very little. So the final solution was the Germans' plan to exterminate the Jews. This was solidified at the Wannsee Conference. Okay, this was solidified at the Wannsee Conference in 1942. The Germans actually put together an entire, and you can look it up, it's public information, it's in German, but you can translate it, all of the different countries and how many Jews were in each country for the total. It was much more than 6 million, bro. It was closer to 10 million, 9.5, 10 million, something like that. If you include USSR, it was even more, but I'm just going with the German occupied areas. And so when you say it couldn't have been 6 million, you understand that you're just completely wrong. You're not even close to right, dude.
Okay. So these, okay, there's a lot of things going through my mind, like to reply. One is that a lot of sources are owned originally by Israeli or Jew.
What do you mean originally? Like in the 1940s or 1930s?
No, I mean like Google.
What does Google have to do with anything? These are primary sources. I'm not going with Google or secondary.
Are they
also,
actually?
yes, they are. But that being said, what does Google isn't a source? You know that, right? Google is just a search engine that gives you sources.
It's a search engine to find sources, but it can also
but
filter sources.
well, sure, but that doesn't make the source that you look at fake. Just
yeah, I
you,
get
you
that
can
part.
say
I
you
get
can
that
say it
part, but
chooses
there
one
could
over
be
the other.
sources. There could be
Hold on.
sources that are like, I don't know, just not
So
fully
you're
true.
telling me, because they did a census right after when the Jews had been slaughtered, regardless of how many you think they were, you do at least admit that they did, some died. You believe that the Jews faked
Well, actually,
all
did you know that there's people that don't think that there was a Holocaust? I'm not saying that
sure,
there wasn't,
but I don't really care about that. So you think the Jews early on controlled all those sources even after being
No.
herded in camps and killed?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so
But I
how
think
did those
there's
sources
things that
exist?
change.
So how did those sources exist? Because the census they did right after showed about 6 million
Who is
Jews.
the they though? I'm just curious. I'm not
the
trying to
British,
question.
the United States, the Allies, the
United
different
States.
countries, not just them, the countries that did census after the war, they saw the amount of Jews that were missing when you added up to the different areas was about 6 million. So how did their census go down equally about 6 million? Actually, a little more, actually, technically, but bear with me here. How is it that all these censuses went down? Did the Jews control all these people right after going through a Holocaust, regardless of how big or small you think that Holocaust was? No, you said no, they didn't do that. So
No, of
can you
course
explain to me how all these census that they did and these numbers and the investigations and everything, how did it all show that it's true? That they
I'm
6
I'm
million were
saying
killed?
that things can be easier shown in different ways.
Okay, here's my you're not really answering my question.
Yeah,
but
I don't
my,
really
my
have a good answer. To
okay,
be honest.
but even if you were right, that doesn't mean it's automatically a lie. And also, don't you think it's kind of fucked up? Like, let's say there is a source that was given to you by, let's say, a Jewish website. Are you just saying because it's by a Jew, it's just automatically a lie? Like, do you just think that badly
I
about
mean, it
all
can
Jews?
be sometimes. I mean, have you?
Of course it
do you
can,
know
but that's
what's-
not my question.
you know
Isn't
what-
if it can or cannot be. My question
I'm
is
saying that it
you're
makes it
assuming that it's
potentially a bad
already.
source.
Okay,
That's what you're trying to say,
that's
right?
not your claim, and you need to let me finish so that way you understand my whole question. My question is you are going from it could be to you automatically assume it is. That's a big difference. You're right. It could literally be. Any source can be a lie. No shit. But you're not saying that. You're saying that, well, Google's
it
owned by
is a lie.
Jews, which, by the way, the CEO of Google's actually Indian. He's not Jewish, but whatever, dude. So you're saying that it's automatically a lie, effectively. What basis do you have this on? You don't even know how you got to the 271,000. You admitted that. You don't even know where that. By the way,
my basis is their religion. Their religion is all about them being superior and lying.
Okay, so are you religious?
I am a bit, yeah.
Okay, Christian or Muslim?
I'm Muslim.
Okay, what happens to me as a non-Muslim when the final days comes and Allah judges us? What happens? I've read the Quran twice and I've read over 20,000 hadith, so don't lie to me. What happens?
I don't know the exact answer. I mean, are you just
Yeah,
gonna
you
say, like,
do.
you're gonna
Yeah, you do.
get thrown into Jahannam?
Yeah, you
you're
do.
saying?
You go to Jahannam.
Okay.
Right?
For being like an actual disbeliever and
Correct. I'm a disbeliever. That is correct.
Okay.
And not what happens to Jahannam to disbelievers? What happens?
They burn forever.
Our skin burns off and Allah regrows it and it burns off forever and ever and ever. Okay, how
For
about
a
in
true
Christianity?
disbeliever.
Okay, perfect. So Muslims are held higher than non-Muslims. That's just a
They're
fact.
not held higher.
Yes, they are.
Exactly.
Yes, they are. They get to go to heaven after, and they get to have paradise. If you're a disbeliever, your skin will burn off for the rest of eternity, and it'll regrow. It's fine. I'm not
Okay,
trying to get you to
but-
change your beliefs, but that's just a
No,
fact.
I got it. I know you're trying not to, but I feel like there is misconception to certain things.
It's not. If you want, I can pull out my
No,
Quran and we
not
can
to
go
that-
over
not to
it.
that part. Not to
We
that
can-
part. I understand that part. I understand.
Okay,
that
so
part. Like,
I
what
don't
read
need you
is
to change
true.
the subject right now because I'm
What I'm trying to
almost
say is
done.
that there's misconception about, like, the fact that even though you are a disbeliever, like God is most merciful, most like
I'm not
God has
asking you to
mercy.
defend your God, dude. I'm not here to change your beliefs.
That's
But
not-
what I
okay,
said is factual, and you're just gish galloping right now. It is factual what I said, and that's fine for you to believe that. You should believe in your belief. Go ahead and keep believing and being a
Sure.
good Muslim.
Okay.
But I am the only one telling the truth right now. Okay, now let's go to Christianity.
okay.
What happens in Christianity for people that do not believe
I don't
in,
know exactly.
Okay, to be fair, it depends on the denomination, but a lot of the times there's also a hell. Now, some believe in like a purgatory as well, but for the most part, there's a hell. So in Christianity, they are also seen as Israel, the new Israel in some ways, the spiritual Israel. Some believe in replacement theology, some don't, but they do believe in spiritual Israel, and they believe that they are the chosen one in terms of what is spiritual Israel and being grafted in, okay? And the ones that believe and become Christian, they will go to the kingdom, the paradise, and those that do not, for the most part, again, depends on the denomination, but for the most part, goes to hell. Do you know what happens in
And then for
Judaism?
Jews, it's a lot different, right?
Right. So for Jews, I'm not Jewish, you're not Jewish. Do you know what happens to you or I as long as we follow the 7 Noahide laws, but we don't believe in Judaism, we don't believe that they're right, we don't practice
is it?
Judaism? What happens to us for that?
What is it? I don't know.
Nothing. They don't believe in hell and they believe we will be in the same afterlife as them. There is a cleansing period for all, whether you're a rabbi or you're you or me, there's a cleansing period, and then we all get to go into, they don't say the word heaven, but for lack of better terms, heaven. So I have a question for you. And you can fact check everything, but I promise you everything I said was accurate. So we have Muslims who believe if you're a disbeliever, you're going to burn forever and your skin will regrow and burn if you don't become a Muslim before you die. Christians believe you will burn in hell if you do not believe in Jesus Christ. Jews believe as long as you're at least a good person and you help heal the world and follow the Noahide laws, you are going to see the same exact afterlife as every Jew. So you tell me which one is superior, believes that they're superior. Without your bias, what I've just told you, you believe Jews see themselves as superior?
Well, of course, you're looking at the future aspect of it.
Okay, even now, what does the Torah say?
You're looking at after.
Okay, so, well, first off, don't you think after matters a lot more than our life now? Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so even your
But
argument
now
right
is a
there
test.
doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense. But
from-
let's talk
from my
about the right
perspective,
now.
Right now is a test.
Okay,
right?
perfect. Let's talk about it now. So I have the Jewish Tanakh, and I have the Muslims' Quran. Okay, here's
Well,
a
I'm
verse
thinking
from
about the modern day like Talmud.
Yeah, let's talk about. Okay, we'll talk about that too. But let's talk about the right now. What does it say for the? Let's first read the Quran. I am with you,
Okay, what
so
do you
grant the believers, the Muslims, resolve. I shall cast terror into the hearts of the unbelievers. So strike above the necks and strike their every finger, for they defied God and his messenger. And whoso defies God and his messenger, Allah is severe in retribution. Here it is, so taste it. For the unbelievers, the torment of the fire. That's what the Quran says.
That
Here's-
in context of that was in war.
It's about
times,
war.
by
I
the
know.
way.
I know
Okay,
more
so
than you. You
gave
don't
it-
have to. You don't have to tell.
you-
Okay,
you-
fine. If you want to go down
but
this
you,
rabbit
you
hole.
gave it to me without the context of the fact that it's in.
Okay,
it's
you
during
really want to
war.
go down this? Okay, fine. We
That's
can
why-
go down this
that's-
rabbit. Okay, we can
of
go down this
course.
rabbit hole. What does Ibn Kathir say about war and what that means? If you really
I'm not
think you're
saying I
going to
wa-
beat
I'm
me in a
not saying I
debate
wanna
about
go down-
Islam,
I'm not saying I want to go down a rabbit hole. I mean, clearly you're very knowledgeable. You do a lot of
okay,
research.
so then don't
on your own.
interrupt me because I'm going to beat you in that argument if you try. So you know what the Torah says
But
about
you gave me
non-Jews?
something without full
The
context.
context
You're trying to make
applies
it sound
today.
worse.
The context still applies to all unbelievers in the name of jihad. And I can prove it to you if you want to go down that rabbit hole.
I would like to hear it.
Okay, sure.
If
So
you're
the
willing
Prophet
to say it.
Muhammad specifically said that you can lie in 3 different ways, one of them being during war. On top of that, what he
You can
defines
lie,
as...
you said?
Yes. On top of that, what they define as war, right, is the concept, first off, of Dar al-Islam versus Dar al-Harb. Do you know the difference? Dar al-Islam means House of Islam. These are any countries that are run by Muslims, right? Dar al-Harb is everywhere else. Do you know what that means? I don't know if you speak Arabic or not. It means House of
I do.
War.
But, oh, okay.
So they call every other place House of War. And then it specifically says in the Quran, Prophet Muhammad specifically said, well, Allah said to the Prophet Muhammad technically, he says, why would you not fight those that are oppressing others? So if you consider someone being an oppressor, whether that be Israel, America, or whoever for that matter, you are at war with them. Okay? And then again, if you're in the concept of war and what Ibn Kathir says for what I just read for you, right? It's in Surah 5, it's in Surah 8, it's in others, Surah 929, Surah 9, Ayah 29. I mean, it says it over and over. Specifically talks about those that you are at war with. Okay, you know what the Torah says about non-believers?
Wait, to respond to that.
You
part,
really wanna not hear it, do you? Okay, go ahead.
No,
What's your question?
I know. No, I do want to hear it. I just let you explain
just
the
keep
whole thing
skipping
'cause I
it.
do want to hear it.
But that's a separate thing. I'm trying to compare what you believe about. You said, okay, fine, maybe Jews are better in the afterlife, but what about right now? And I'm trying to prove you wrong. So I read to you a commandment of that it still applies to Muslims today, right now.
Well, yeah, that applies to Muslims today, and it's talking about oppressors. Does it not make sense that oppressors?
So it's not just oppressors. That's one example. But how do you define an oppressor? Do you find Israel to be an oppressor?
Of course.
Okay, so therefore all people of Israel would fall into the verse. What about America? Are they oppressors?
Yeah, they're controlled.
Okay,
by
so
Israel.
all Americans now fall under what it says in the Quran.
Not all Americans.
Yes, all.
The ones who support and fully knowingly support.
Let me debunk you
incorrectly.
again. Sure. What did the Prophet Muhammad do in Yathrib to the Jewish tribe?
I don't know, but
okay, he said that
tell
the
me.
leaders had betrayed the Prophet Muhammad. So what did he do to every single boy? He dropped all of their pants. He inspected them for pubic hair, and anyone who had pubic hair, he beheaded them or killed them. Okay,
The
that
Prophet
wasn't
Muhammad
the
did
people.
that?
Well, he ordered. It's not like he
Or
was
he
the one
ordered it.
swinging.
Is it said that way in Hadith?
Yes, it is. He had a guy named Sa'ad who
Like
was the one
authentic
that placed the.
hadith?
Yes, it's Sahih al-Bukhari.
Okay.
He had a guy named Sa'ad place the judgment, and then he told Sa'ad that you judge the same way that Allah would want it to be judged. And the judgment was to kill every single boy that had pubic hair and obviously older. And they did. They killed every single one. And those were not people that were swinging swords at the Prophet Muhammad. Those weren't even people that helped betray the Prophet Muhammad, even if we assume that the betrayal actually happened. But let's just assume it did. These were just boys, 9, 10 years old. I don't know when you hit puberty. It's about 9 to 11, you know. That's who he killed. He killed all of them.
Okay. Of
So
course, that
anyways,
sounds horrible. I don't know if
it
there's
is
maybe
horrible
context
because
behind it.
yes, it was very horrible. Now back to what I've been really trying to get to. So now let's compare what the Torah says about non-Jews. It says you will be a light amongst the goyim. You know what goyim is? Good. It means nations. Why it says you must be a light amongst the
Non-Jewish
nations.
nations, you mean, right?
Well, it's both. So the Jews
I
are
thought
referred to.
goy refers to a non-Jew.
So colloquially today it does, but not really. It's Hebrew for nation. The Jews are also referred to in the book of Genesis as goy gadol, right? The great nation. But you are right today. Like when people say goy, it means non-Jew. But technically it doesn't. It actually just means nation. Goyim means nations. It's the plural. But either way, in this context, it's talking about the non-Jewish nations. It says you must be a light amongst them. That's what it says in the book of Genesis. So we have the Torah that says to be a light amongst them. And then you have the Quran that says you should strike their necks and strike their fingers. And it also says, do not take Jews or Christians as allies, for if you do, you are one of them. That's what it says in the Quran. Now, the Talmud. The Talmud says that non-Jews who study Torah are the best amongst men, and they are of a high priest. That's what it says in the Talmud about non-Jews.
I've heard the complete opposite.
Would you like me to show you? I can prove it to you.
Yeah. I'm actually very curious.
Sure.
I would like to be proven wrong on this point, actually.
Sure, no problem.
It would be a good thing for me.
I'll tell you why people get it mixed up. The problem
I would
is...
be very interested.
The reason is because at the very start of the verse I'm about to show you, it says... Does it say those that study Torah, a non-Jew, should be killed, right? And then people stop there and be like, look at what the Talmud says. The very next sentence is a guy saying no, and he's arguing against it. And he says, Adam, for example, means a man, and it refers to a lot of the times a Jew, because they use that colloquially for the Jewish people, Adam, right? That's where Adam gets his name from, by the way. And it says, when referring to like the Noahide laws, which is meant for all of mankind, they talk about studying that as a non-Jew, and it specifically says, I'll just pull it up. I have to find out exactly. It's in Sanhedrin 59a. So let's go
I have heard of verses that are talking about how they don't treat goys properly on purpose because the Talmud says to do so.
So a couple things. One, I want to make it clear that the Talmud comes many years later, and it is,
Yeah,
don't
it's
get me wrong,
modern
there's the
day.
Mishnah and the Gemara, and part of that would be the Mishnah, the oral Torah, which religious Jews will believe that comes from Moses when he was on Mount Sinai. But at the same time,
Yeah,
the Talmud,
I will say that the original Torah that I believe in, obviously as a Muslim, like the one that was revealed to Moses is like through Angel Gabriel is the one that is the right message.
what do
It
you
is a
ta-
good
the
message.
Torah today is the same Torah as whatever Muhammad would have been. Dude, the Dead Sea
What is it?
Scrolls. The Torah
Dude,
the
the
Torah
Dead-
has never
I-
been
I've seen stuff
changed.
about
The
the
Torah
Dead
is
Sea
exactly
Scrolls.
the same.
I don't think they're exactly the same. No.
They are exactly the same. They have different script, and there are some slightly different wording depending on like the script that they used back then, but it's exactly the same. There's no major changes whatsoever. And the Dead Sea Scrolls are older than all of Islam itself by like 600, 700 years or more. So
I've heard a lot about Dead
also the
Sea Scrolls,
Quran,
but-
the Quran says for the Jews to use their Torah and the Christians to use their Bible. Why would Muhammad tell them to use something if it was corrupt? It affirms the Torah and the Christian Bible.
I
in the
actually
Quran.
just saw a video on that, and it like completely debunks that.
It does. Do you want me to read you the verse, dude? I've read the Quran twice. It literally affirms the Torah. Also, in the Hadith, what did Muhammad? What did Muhammad say to the early Muslims when they didn't know an answer and Muhammad wasn't around? What did he tell them to do instead if they didn't know
I
the
assume
answer
you're
to
gonna
something?
say they told him, or that he told them to look back on it.
He said go to the people of the book and ask them, which would be the Jews and the Christians.
The
Why
people
would
of the
he
book,
tell
yeah,
you?
yeah.
Why would he tell them to do that if they were corrupted?
I'm not exactly sure.
Just so you know, the Quranic verses that you think are saying the Torah corrupt, that is not what Muhammad meant. What he meant was, and this is, you can look this up, this is what happened. Muhammad said to the early Muslims, when we go and see the Jews and Christians, they're going to know who I am because I'm in their books. And everyone's like, oh, alhamdulillah, this is amazing. Hold on. So he goes and takes the early Muslims to the Jews and Christians. And you know what happens? They're like, who the fuck are you? And so he felt so embarrassed. This is what he said. He said, they're lying. And so back in the day, today I can read the Quran because it's in English. Back then, he said Arabic, they spoke Hebrew, Christians had the New Testament in Koine Greek. So they had to take the words of them, they couldn't read it themselves. Muhammad couldn't read at all, so he definitely couldn't read Hebrew or Greek, right? So what he said to the early Muslims was their book is correct and I'm in their book, but they're lying about what they're saying. So when he was talking about corruption, he wasn't talking about the book. That's something Muslims say today that is very wrong. It doesn't say it anywhere in the Quran that the books are corrupted. What he was saying was that their tongues were corrupted. The people were corrupting the book. He never said the books were corrupted. He never ever said that. He actually affirms the books in the Quran.
Yeah, doesn't that mean that the people corrupted the book?
No, he said that the books were correct, but they were preaching it purposely incorrect so they could control the people. He said the people were corrupted, not the books. The books were not corrupted.
And then eventually it changed.
When?
They changed it in the book.
When?
They
Tell me
changed
when
things in the
specifically.
book.
Sure, when? When specifically was it changed? So how do you know it was changed?
There's many. How do I know? Because there's like a billion different Bibles.
No, the
with
Torah.
many contradictions.
The Torah is exactly the same. It's never changed.
I'm not talking about the Torah. I was talking about
Okay,
the
well, let's talk
Bible,
about the Torah first. How do you know the Torah was...
I'm not very educated on the
It was
Torah.
never changed. In fact, when they write
Never
the
ever?
Torah...
So you're saying that we have
ever.
the exact same one?
Yes. The Torah, the way they write it, I don't know if you know this. I'm not talking about like the Torah I have right here that's printed. I'm talking about the actual Torah scroll. The way they write it, if they even make one mistake, they're not even allowed to like change it. They have to throw it out and start over from scratch, the page that they're on. They can't even like do a cross out or white out or whatever. They have to start from scratch. It has to be, and by the way, not anyone can do it. You have to be qualified to do this. It's very, very technical how they make the Torah scrolls. And they're exactly the same. Promise you.
So are you trying to say to me that, okay, so there's different versions of Judaism, correct?
No. Of course not. What do you mean? There's observance levels, but there's not different versions.
I thought we were just talking about like the Talmud, and then there's like
the Talmud's within Judaism. There's again different observance levels. It's like saying, for example, do you agree some some Muslims don't accept Hadith?
Some Muslim, yeah.
It's the same thing. There might be some Jews that are like, I don't really care about the Talmud, or I don't accept it, or they don't observe it very much, but it's still part of Judaism. Same thing with the Hadith. It's still part of Islam, but maybe some Muslims care about it more or less. It's not. The Quran is, all Muslims believe in the Quran, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All Jews believe, well, religious Jews believe in the Torah. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm. The thing that you're talking about, the reaffirmment of the book, I have a video of it. Like, talking.
Real quick. So, Sears Sanhedrin 59a, just to get back to what we're saying. I promise, I mean, you can look it up. I promise you I'm not lying. So it says, well, I'm going to read what it says before, and this is where people say, oh, they mistreat non-Jews. So what it says is, let me go back a little bit. The Gemara challenges, but if so, let the Tana count the prohibition among the 7 Noahide mitzvot, which is what I said earlier with the 7 Noahide laws. The Gemara explains, according to the one who says that the verse is referring to the Torah as an inheritance, a Gentile who studies Torah robs the Jewish people of it. According to the one who says, betrothed, the punishment of a Gentile, a non-Jew, who studies Torah is like that of what engages in intercourse with a betrothed young woman, which is execution by stoning. So people read that and they stop and they go, oh, look at what they think of non-Jews. But the very next sentence, the Gemara raises an objection. Rabbi Yohanan's statement from a Baraita, Rabbi Meir would say, from where that even a Gentile who engages in Torah is considered like a high priest. It is derived from that which is stated, you shall therefore keep my statutes and my ordinances, which if a man does, he shall live by them. Leviticus 18:5. Which if priests, Levites, and Israelites do, they shall live by them, is not stated, but rather a man, which indicates mankind in general. You have therefore learned that even a Gentile who engages in Torah study is like a high priest. So not only are they saying he's like a high priest, which it says right there at the bottom, they're even saying that they are a man, the same as a Jew. That's what they're saying. Is like, it doesn't say Jews, it says a man. So therefore all that study it is like a high priest. So that's the problem when you say the Talmud says this. People just read that first part and then they don't read the very next sentences. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely get that. Like, there's definitely a lot of things where people can pull certain things out of context many times with any book, honestly. But I mean, I've definitely seen like multiple verses of like the Talmud, for example, just like saying stuff like what you said, and then it was pulled out of context. And then there's other verses which I don't know if they were pulled out of context or not, of it, like saying like a Jew can, I don't know, like rape a non-Jew, that's as long as
Rape is
they're
prohibited in Judaism, period.
okay.
Regardless
They
of
they can have
who.
intercourse with a non-Jew, that's as long as they're like 3 years old or something like that.
Okay, so that
And then there's
one.
also other
No, well, hold on. Let
practices
me
of
answer that one because
Judaism.
that one's important. So what it says is that a woman betrothed through sexual intercourse at 3 years and 1 day, right? And then people read that and they stop reading. What it says is that her halakhic status changes, which most non-Jews are not going to know what halakhic means. Halakhic, halakha, is the Jewish law. And what it means is that if, by the way, the Rambam, which is a guy named Maimonides, you can look him up. He's very revered in Judaism. He actually has commentary about when one should get married. He has commentary on when one should do a lot of things, but for marriage, it's 18 years old. And he was saying 18 way before we say 18 today. He was saying this way back then. So it was actually kind of impressive. But nonetheless, the halakhic status means is if someone were to do that, which would be rape, if someone were to do that, would she still be counted as a virgin? And what the rabbi said is, at 3 years and younger, she would still be counted as a virgin, even if she was, I know it's a little TMI, but I have to give you the honest truth. If it happens at 3 years and younger, which would be very gross, but let's say hypothetically she survived, she would still be counted as a virgin. And the reason they say that is if you keep reading, it says that her hymen will regrow, like medically, it would regrow, so therefore it doesn't count. If it happens at 3 years and 1 day and older, all the way till her death, if that happens, she's not counted as a virgin. It's not like it's necessarily bad. It just means that when she gets married later, she will technically not be counted as a virgin because her hymen will not regrow. That's what it's saying. It's not saying you should or you can do that to a 3-year-old in 1 day or 4-year-old or 5-year-old or every age after. It's just saying that is the
Okay,
age.
I got it. You answered that question. What about a Jew may take from a goy whenever if may take a lost item or something like that?
Have you ever heard of the 10 Commandments?
No.
You've never heard the 10 Commandments? Okay. All right. So the 10 Commandments. Do you know who Moses is? Musa, what you would call Musa? Okay, so when he was on Mount Sinai, he received the 10 Commandments. You never heard of this, really? It's like
I
really
mean,
famous.
I've heard the 10 Commandments. I don't know what they are.
Oh, no, that's fair. I'm not asking if you have a memorization of them. So the 8th commandment, which is what I want to bring up, is thou shalt not steal. That's not thou shalt not steal from a Jew or thou shalt not steal from some people, but others is okay. It's thou shalt not steal. So stealing,
then wouldn't it be a contradiction?
Well, what I'm
between
saying
that and
is
then the
that's
other
not
thing
what the
later?
Talmud is particularly saying. You're not allowed to steal from someone just because they're a Gentile. The reason I'm telling you it doesn't make sense is because the Torah itself says thou shalt not steal.
Okay. So, okay, there is many things though that like I hear or see like and it like actually adds up where like Israelis or Jews are putting themselves as the victims when
You don't
it
think
doesn't
Jews
make
have
sense
ever been
that they are.
victims?
No, of course they have been.
Okay.
But in scenarios that they're saying that they are when they aren't.
Like
Like
what?
would you say that they are oppressing Palestine?
No. I think they respond to Palestinian terrorism. I mean, I'm not going to say every individual Israeli has never done anything wrong, but you're trying to say like some kind of like systematic thing. But can you answer, when have Jews or Israelis or whoever you're talking about, when have they victimized them? I find it, as someone who's a non-Jew, I find them to be the least victimizing, because they've gone through, regardless of what you feel about Israel, Jews have gone through a lot of persecution, and they are still very successful. They're very big on education, uplifting their communities. In fact, that's one thing even a lot of anti-Semites agree with, is that they're very big on uplifting their own people. And they even built an entire state. Again, regardless of how you feel about it, this is just a fact. So I find Jews to be the opposite. Did you know 25% of Nobel Prizes are by Jews, even though Jews only make up 0.2% of the world? I find them to be the opposite of victimizing. They have been persecuted throughout all of history. Again, that's something we can at least somewhat agree on. Maybe you think the numbers might be slightly different or whatever, but I don't think you can argue that Jews have not been persecuted, and they still have done so much for the world, for example. So what do you mean when you say they victimize themselves, even though they're not victims? What do you mean by that?
When, let's say, in it's hard for me to give like an exact example, because I'm thinking of something and it like doesn't work with the context fully. Like, for example, there was, okay, obviously I'm going based off of multiple things,
Sure.
but like an example is a video that I saw where like a Jew decided to rob a store, and then the guy who was protecting the store was telling the guy that was a Jew to get out, and the Jew was like,
when did this happen?
I don't know, dude. I'm telling you, this is just what I saw. I'm not saying that it's like all 100% true.
Well, okay, I'll answer real quick. Even though you didn't finish the story, I'll say that an individual Jew may, or I'm just gonna say if your story's correct and it actually happened, an individual Jew might victimize himself, just like an individual Arab or black person or white person or whatever can. But we're not really talking about individuals here. We're talking about like as a systemic thing.
Okay, yeah, I would say that
that being
they
said,
do
I think you're kind of proving. I think you're kind of proving my point, because Jews are so not victims that the best example you could come up with was something that you don't even really know if it's true or not. You're like, I saw it once. Like,
I mean,
the
they
best
definitely
example you can
do.
come up with is some Jew was, you said, robbing a store. Is that what you said?
Well, yeah, that's just like a bad example. Okay, they're considering themselves victims when they're oppressing all of Gaza and all of
Like
Palestine.
when did they specifically said like we're victims or they were victims? Like, what did they do specifically, and when was this? Like, I need you to be specific so I can
Like
answer. Right?
October 7th. They obviously it's said that October 7th is a bad thing, but isn't it in
Do you not
response to
agree?
something?
Regardless of how you feel about Israel and
I
Jews or
think
whatever, like,
killing, I think any human killing another human is bad.
so you agree they were
Unless
victims on that day. Again, regardless of what you think about the response, regardless of how you feel about Israel, do you
But
agree that
weren't
day there was
those
victims?
there was victims. I'm sure
Okay,
there's
so how
probably
can
even
you
innocent
victimize
lives affected.
yourself? Okay, I'm not trying to cut you off, but how can you victimize yourself when you just said that they were literally victims?
Because there's more to the story.
It doesn't matter. Were they victims that day?
Sure.
So how can you victimize yourself?
Because it was in response to something.
Do you know who Kafir Bibas is?
No, but wait.
Wait, no,
On
this
that
is
day, you're
this is
saying,
important.
wait.
What did
You're
they
saying
do on that day? What did they do on that day? Did they attack
I
the
don't-
IDF?
I don't know exactly.
Almost
But I'm saying-
exclusively, the victims were civilians, babies. They shot a 10-month-old baby in the head. A 6-month-old baby they kidnapped. His name's Kafir
Okay, of
Bibas.
course
And his
I don't-
4-year hold
I
on
don't
one sec.
agree with that.
And his 4-year-old, and they strangled both of them to death, their mother, and killed her parents. So 3 generations were wiped out that day. And you're telling me like, well, it was a response, there's more to the story.
There
They were
definitely
victims
is.
that day. Period.
Okay, so are the victims in Gaza? Are they not victims?
Yes, some of them absolutely are victims. That's true.
Like
but this is
over
a whataboutism.
70,000 of them?
I'm sorry, what?
Like over 70,000 of them?
Well, just so you know, the 70,000 death toll number, you will understand that includes all Hamas fighters, all PIJ fighters, all PFLP, DFLP, PRC,
I thought
Army
it
of
was over,
Islam,
like,
Mujahideen
90,000.
brigades. Like, you understand that's not 70,000 civilians, right? Like, you get that, right?
Okay, I didn't know that
Okay.
exactly.
So
I thought
yes,
it
there
was
are, like, for example, when I see a little child in Gaza, who has been killed during this war. Of course that child's a victim. I don't think that child was, although I do believe they do radicalize their children, that child is not at fault
Although
for
they
being
do what?
born there. Radicalize their children. And
As in?
I can give you examples of what I mean by that, but regardless, I don't think that child is at fault. That child was born there, okay? And I do think they're a victim. Now, of course, I think there's context of why that child was put into that scenario, and I blame Hamas for that 100%. However, that doesn't mean one more sentence, just one more sentence, I promise.
Same exact thing was October 7th.
One more sentence. But that doesn't mean I think that child chose that. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so you're saying that you're blaming Hamas for that?
Of course.
Okay.
Hamas knew what would happen.
So you're blaming Hamas for an attack that Israel is doing on them?
Yes, if you were to, like, for example, do you blame Ukraine for attacking Russia back when they invaded Russia? Or, sorry, invaded Ukraine?
Wait, say that again?
When Ukraine attacked Russia back after Russia invaded Ukraine and slaughtered a bunch of innocent people and their military as well, do you blame Ukraine?
I don't know anything about that war, to be honest.
Okay, do you agree that Russia invaded Ukraine? You know that much, right?
Yes.
Okay, so when Ukraine attacked
But I
back,
don't
are
know
you
any
blaming
context
Ukraine?
before or after.
It doesn't matter. Are you blaming Ukraine for responding back to an invasion into their country? Do you put the blame on
No, of
Ukraine, or
course
do you
not.
put?
Of course
Okay,
not.
why do you have that standard with Russia and Ukraine, but when Israel does the exact same thing back and they're attacking back an invasion, you're blaming just Israel?
Because there's more before that.
Okay, when did the
Which were
conflict start?
initiated from
Okay,
Israel.
fine. When did the conflict start? So we can stop saying before that. When did it start?
I don't know exactly. I don't know
So
exactly.
then
I'm
how do
saying
you
it's
know?
before October 7th, is what I'm trying to say. Where you're saying, where we're talking about how there were casualties on Israelis, right? That we're saying
Yes.
that
Of
Palestinians
course.
caused, right?
Of course.
And you're trying to say that this was not the cause of Israel to begin with?
So
Because
I
it kind
believe
of sounds like we're just like going back and forth.
I believe that the
and that
conflict
it's all from
Sure.
Palestinians
I
to
believe
begin
that
with.
the conflict definitely started before October 7th. But the difference is it started with the Arabs, not the Jews. There has been back and forth, but the Arabs started it. So when you say, oh, there's context, sure. But the difference is I can tell you when that context started. You said, well, I don't really know when it started. So how do you know the Jews were the start and not the Arabs?
Because from what I remember is seeing that the Jews decided to get on that land and say, hey, this is my land. It's promised to me 3,000 years ago.
But that's not what happened. That's not
Okay,
what
so-
happened. First off, a lot of the early Zionist leaders, including Ben Gurion, the first prime minister of Israel, was not particularly religious. So they were not going around being like, this was promised 3,000 years ago, get out. It's not what happened at all. In fact, before the state of Israel, on November 29th, 1947, this is 6 months before the state of Israel was established, the Partition 181 vote came about in the United Nations. 1 minute after that vote, again, before the state of Israel, Arabs were attacking and slaughtering Jews, right? In 1936 to 39, during the Arab Revolt riots, again, before Israel, they were slaughtering about 500 Jews, okay? And there was no IDF. There was no settlements. There was no Israel. They were killing Jews. In 1929, during the Hebron massacre, they went to an anti-Zionist Jewish community. These were Jews who were against the idea of trying to create a state. They slaughtered them. The Arabs did. What did they do that for? In 1517, 400 years before, more than 450 years almost before the state of Israel, they slaughtered Jews in Hebron and Sfat. What was that for? The IDF didn't exist. Israel didn't exist. Settlements didn't exist. What was the reason? Haganah didn't exist. Palmach didn't exist. Ergun didn't exist. You tell me why they were slaughtering Jews then.
Unfortunately, I'm not educated in that topic, so I don't really have a response. I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna have a response in something that you're telling me.
I
from,
appreciate
like,
the I
1 years
appreciate the
ago.
honesty.
I don't know the answer, bro.
I appreciate the honesty, but it's then maybe you shouldn't say there's more context then because you don't know
Well,
the
I'm
context.
sure there is more context. Maybe there's context that even you don't know.
Well, of course, I don't know 100% of everything. I know a lot though. But my point is that when have the Jews, or let's start with the state of Israel. When has Israel ever attacked for just no reason? When you look at that 48 war, 56, 67, 73, 82, 2006, 2008, 2012, 2021, 2023, 9/11? You think Israel did 9/11? You really
Yeah,
want to go down this route? Okay, all right.
I would
all
love
right.
to.
Okay, sure.
I'm putting my seat back.
What makes you think? Well, first off, let me ask you: do you believe Osama bin Laden was a Mossad agent or a Jew secretly or an Israeli secretly?
I don't think so, but I don't know enough about Osama bin Laden.
Well, you agree he's the one that masterminded 9/11, yes? He admitted. He admitted to it.
I don't know. I don't know, dude.
Okay, let me ask you this question.
Actually, I did see something about that. I saw something about that not actually being true. About like that not actually being him.
He wrote an entire letter to America explaining why he did 9/11. My question to you, why would, unless you believe Osama bin Laden was secretly like a Jew or an Israeli,
he wrote
or working,
a letter, like, for sure?
Literally, yes. Yes, and he said it on
Did he
TV.
speak
He
about it?
admitted to it. None of this is up for dispute. You can just look it up, but he admitted to doing 9/11. So my question
Okay.
for you, just one second, you keep
I'm gonna
interrupting me.
I can hear you, by the way.
Okay,
I'm
great.
Just went to the room for a
My
second.
question for you is, unless you think he was working with Israel, working with, or was an Israeli or a Jew or something, whatever it is you think, unless you think that, my question for you is, why would Osama bin Laden admit to that? Because the only reason he'd admit to that is if he was, like, he called Israel and was like, I got you, I'll take the blame for it, even though it was you. Like, why? I know you. I know you can hear me. But
I don't have an answer
Okay.
to that.
Next question. Who were the hijackers?
Well, it's gonna be said that it was.
I'm not asking what it
Arab,
said.
right?
You're the one making the claim that Israel did 9/11, so you must have some kind of thought on who the hijackers were, because you don't believe it was people like Mohammed Atta, who was a
No.
hijacker, and his father even. Okay. You believe it was secretly Jews, Mossad, Israeli Jews,
I do.
someone they hired, whatever.
Because isn't it said that how
Don't
they
tell
even
me. Don't
got the
ask me these
passport?
questions. I don't believe Israel did it. You're the one making the claim, so it's on you to.
No. I'm trying to use because I know you're more knowledgeable overall on certain topics, especially
On all
Israeli. Yeah, I mean in relation to this kind of stuff, right? So I'm trying to ask a question using what you know because I don't know as much as you. So what I'm trying to say is, how did they identify the people who were in the plane? Were their passports correct?
So most of them no, actually. The way they identify them is how you identify anyone after the fact. They went through the records of who checked onto the plane. I'm sure you've been on a plane before, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you kind of know the process. It's a lot stricter now because of what Muslims did, and so now we have something called TSA. But before we didn't have TSA, but there were still tickets. Okay. Well, they were Muslim.
Yeah, sure.
Anyways, no, I'm not sure they were. Anyways,
wait. Actually, wait. Before we wait. The buildings when they collapsed, do you think it was from just the planes?
Well, of course it wasn't just the planes. The planes was the initial impact, and then from there the fires burning and weakening the steel to the point of collapse.
So you don't think?
Wait a minute. Even if you thought it was, hold on. Wait a minute. Even if you thought it was Israel, are you trying to tell me the planes didn't actually crash into the buildings?
No. I'm trying to say that there is a controlled demolition
on all of the buildings.
On the world. On the Twin Towers, and then
okay, just so you know, if you want to get your conspiracy, just real quick, I'm going to help you out real quick. If you want to get your conspiracy theories correctly, you should know that the conspiracy theory is just World Trade Center 7 was a controlled demolition, not the Twin Towers. So if you're going to go with these conspiracy
theories, but there was
theories,
a controlled demolition.
No, there wasn't, and I can prove that wrong too. I'm trying to help you out because it's almost like you read a Reddit post once and you're trying so hard to remember what it said. Nobody in the world thinks that there was a controlled demolition in the Twin Towers. There's a conspiracy theory about World Trade Center 7, which is a separate building.
No. There is many people that
nobody. You are wrong. The conspiracy theory. Look it up. Look it up. It's World Trade Center 7. I promise.
No,
do you really think you know more than me? Like, are you really arguing with me about this?
I'm trying to say that.
How much have I gotten right over you, even on your own religion? And you're over here. You really think I'm wrong about this?
Religion? Well, I'm pretty. Hold on, give me a second.
Okay, while you look that up, I have a question for you. Why do you think Israel did it? Because so far you've given me nothing.
Why?
Yes. Like, what evidence do you have that Israel did do it?
Create chaos.
Okay, but that's not evidence that Israel did it. That by that logic, I think the Kremlin did it. Russia would love to create chaos in America. That's not evidence. When obviously you don't have proof, but I'm asking for evidence that Israel did it. What evidence do you have that it was?
Everyone in Israel. I mean, I'm sorry. Everyone in the government of the U.S. is like dual citizenship.
Okay, there are zero dual citizens of Israel. Everyone is a dual citizen of Israel.
Did I say 100%? No.
You did. You actually did. I'm recording this. I promise you, if you want to see it back, I promise you, you'll hear you said everyone.
Okay, well then, I don't know if I did say that exactly, but I apologize for saying
that. Being said, how many Jews are in?
I apologize for saying that.
Great. You apologize. Can you just do me a favor? How many congressional members are there in the United States of America?
I don't have a number.
Take a guess.
I don't know.
How many senators are there?
Tell me.
2 per state. So there are
100.
Good. And then there's 435 members that are called representatives from the House of Representatives. You know, Congress, House of Representatives, Senate, Congress. Okay? And then, of course, you have the president. You have the vice president. Okay? And you have his cabinet. Right? You know all this, right?
Okay.
Okay, good. You're saying that not all, but how many of those do you believe to be Jewish? I've already named over 500.
I mean, a lot.
Great. How many? Just give me I'm not asking for the exact number. Just give me an idea.
Like over 50%.
No. It's not even close, dude. I think right now Congress has maybe
dual citizenship with Israel or
there's zero
Jewish.
Dual citizens of Israel in Congress.
Or Jewish. What?
Right. There are zero. There are 0 dual citizens in Congress of specifically Israel. Now, there are Jews, like Randy Fine, for example. He's Jewish. Bernie Sanders, he's Jewish. There's a few. I think there's less than 15. I want to say 13 is the right answer, but maybe it's actually 23. I know there's a 3 in there. Let me see. How many Jewish Congress members are there right now? Oh, the 3 it's at the beginning. 35. That was as of early 2025, so maybe I don't know if any of them have quit or died, but 35. So that would be less than 10% of all of Congress. You said over 50%.
What did you ask?
How many Jewish Congress members are there?
What did you ask? You asked Google, right?
Okay, what would you like me to ask? It's going to be the same. Dude, there's 535 Congress members. Why would Google matter? No, seriously, dude, you have a disease in the head. Think about what you're saying.
Yo, chill.
No. Seriously, I want you to think about what you're saying.
Yo, just 1 second. Just calm,
bro.
Calm down,
do me a favor.
Think about
what I got you. I'm not mad at you either. I'm actually sad for you. Think about what you're saying. There are 535 congressional members. It doesn't matter what you ask. You can just fact check this. It's going to be the same exact number. But that being said, can you tell me? Stop. One more question.
I'll take the L. I'll take the L for
One more question. Can you do me a favor? Can you tell me which Congress member is a dual citizen of Israel?
No,
so then why are you making the claims? Why are you making the claims if you don't know one? I didn't even ask you for 10. I asked for 1.
I've seen several things speaking about this topic.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
The kids nowadays are so fucking dumb. You know what? It's actually kind of sad.
That's facts.
No. I'll tell you why. Because you guys have access to more information than any generation before you, including my own. I'm a millennial. Okay? And somehow you guys are I'm 34. Somehow you guys are by far the dumbest generation. I don't get it. You guys have every piece of information and you go, I saw this TikTok video once, bro. Like, did you not think to maybe look into it? I can make a TikTok right now and say anything I want and post it. Did you not think maybe I should look into this?
Of course I do, bro.
But you just decided not to.
Dude, there is so much that can like run through my mind and I can think about it. Like, dude, for example, the fact that. Okay, wait. I want to ask a question.
Sure.
Do you think Trump and his decision making, and do you think the fact that it's connected back to like the Epstein files, for example, and the fact that Epstein was what, I don't know, Jewish? Do you think
I don't
any
mind
of these
answering your
connections?
question, but I think it's funny that you, again, I appreciate the honesty, but you have admitted that you don't really know anything of the things you believe. Other than maybe, I'm sure you know a little bit about Islam because it's your religion, but like other than that, everything we've talked about, you have self-admittedly said you don't know. And now you want to get into
I mean,
something
dude,
as
you can
one
ask.
second,
You can
almost done,
ask
almost done.
so
And
many
now
people
you
in
want
this
to,
world.
almost done. And now you want to get into the complexity of the Epstein file, which right now has like 4.5 million pages out right now.
Yeah.
And you want to get into that. You didn't even know how many congressional members there were. It took you forever to tell me how many senators there were, and I had to help you. But you want to get into the complexity of the Epstein files. Do you really, is that really your question? Do you really want to go down that rabbit hole?
Hell yeah, baby.
To answer your question, Trump hated Epstein, and he was actually one of the first people to call him out, confirmed by the Epstein files.
I'm aware of that, yeah.
Okay, so to answer your question, no, not really. But that being
So,
said, dude,
okay, wait, do
listen,
you think-
my
do you
question
think
for
Trump is
you,
being
my overall
blackmailed
question
by
for you,
Israel?
my overall question for
Do
you.
you?
What's your question?
Do you think that Trump was being blackmailed by Israel?
No, of course not. I don't think anyone can really tell Trump what to do. In fact, it's something I wish he was a little bit more humble about. But even though I voted for him, but you know. That being said, my question for you is this. I can understand you questioning the Jews/Israel. I can even understand you not liking Israel. You're pro-Palestinian, whatever, dude. You're not on the right side of history, but fine, whatever. I don't care.
Sure.
But you have spread, even though you're being pretty cordial, and I appreciate that, you've spread an extreme amount of hate for not just Israel, but the Jewish people specifically, to the point you're questioning one of the most atrocious things in modern history. In all of history, really, one of the most atrocious things.
Which one?
The Holocaust. And my question for you is, you have admitted that you don't really know any of this stuff. And yet you've gone beyond, I'm just questioning, but I don't really know, to I hate them effectively without saying it. And I find that, one, hypocritical that you talk about Israel the way you do, yet you are exactly what you think of them. And two,
I am what I think of them?
Hateful, very, very hateful. And two,
You don't think they're hateful?
Well, that's my, not really actually, but that's my point. Is that who are you to say
No,
anything? You have already proven. You have already proven. Oh, dude, hold on. You've already proven that you are hateful. You have already proven that you are hateful. So what I'm saying is even if you were right about Israel, who are you to have that like high ground? Who are you to have it?
I don't hate people.
Right, just
Jews. Huh?
Just Jews.
No. I hate certain
You have a really weird way of showing it.
Of showing what? That I don't hate
that
people?
you don't hate Jews.
I hate a lot of the actions that I hear that they do and believe.
But you're not questioning. That's my point. That's the point I'm making. I accept that you've heard this.
I do question.
You don't. You don't. You don't. You made statements. You made statements and you asked questions around those statements. You didn't say, hey, Nick. My name's Nick, by the way. You didn't say, hey, Nick, I heard this. I don't really think I believe it, but I just don't know. That's not what you said. You were making statements and questioning around those statements. And those statements were things from denying the Holocaust to blaming Jews on 9/11 to I'll accept your anti-Israel stuff, even though I don't agree.
I never denied
but
the Holocaust, though, by the way.
What?
You said that I denied the Holocaust.
You know, denial just means, it doesn't mean that you think it didn't happen at all.
But it kind of just sounds like saying like I
no,
denied
that's
it
no,
happening.
you're just wrong, dude. Holocaust denial doesn't mean, oh, you just don't think it happened at all. Holocaust denial can be like, I think it was 271,000 and not 6 million. Just as you know, have you ever heard of Yad Vashem?
No.
It's a memorial. They actually just finished documenting the names and the stories of all 6 million with official records too. So if you want to say, oh, it's probably Jews lying, you can go look at those records and see them for yourselves. And they actually match up with primary sources from the times that you said Jews could not have faked records at those times, because you even admitted that they were obviously very fractured and they just went through a slaughtering, regardless of what you think that number is. They documented every single person. You know, there's a guy named, go look up a guy named Commander Haas. He was a Nazi that oversaw Auschwitz, not in Germany, but in Poland. You thought it was in Germany. Do you know how many Jews he said that he thought they killed?
How many Jews that he said that
he was the Nazi? He was a Nazi commander.
How many?
He said in Auschwitz alone, he said that he didn't know the exact number, but he was so certain that it was between 2 to 3 million Jews. It ended up being 1.1 million, but the amount of slaughtering that they did, the amount of killing that they did, he thought the number was even higher than it actually was. Why would he lie? Was he secretly a Mossad agent?
Are you you said that you're recording like voice. Are you recording my face too?
Yes, I'm live right now.
You're live?
Yes, there's 1,700, 1,800 people.
1,800 people are watching
Yes.
right now.
Yes.
I feel like it would have been kind of nice for you to point that out to begin with.
I mean, I said I was live early on, but that's fine.
Oh, sorry, I didn't. I don't.
Sorry,
remember
was I not nice enough to the Holocaust denier? My bad.
No, I'm just saying. I just don't remember you saying that.
That's crazy.
What do you stream on?
YouTube. X.
Do you mind if I know your name?
Nick Matau.
Well, I know you said Nick, but what is it?
Matau.
How
You
would
can
spell
Google
that?
me. You'll find a lot of them on me.
M-A-T what?
Matau.
A-U.
Oh, now it's up to
Dang.
2,000 viewers. Well, that's between X and YouTube. YouTube alone is probably... Actually, it doesn't tell me. It just does total viewers. So I don't really know how many are on YouTube alone, but...
Oh, hell no, bro. Oh, my
Yep, the Jews are
God.
coming for you now, dude. You're fucked. Your credit score is going to go in the fucking tank by tomorrow, dude. Your credit score is going to fucking go to 400 before you even start live. See you on YouTube. $1,400 on YouTube? Okay, so that would mean there's about 600 on X then. 500 to 600. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, now you're never going to be a doctor or a lawyer or in Hollywood. I really do hope he learns from this. He won't. He won't. In fact, he will just start saying everything I debunked. He'll just start saying it again. Skip because it's fucking midnight 30, dude. I gotta go to bed. Got class tomorrow. How can you be a doctor with only 2 brain cells? Anyways, let's read these super chats that I missed, and then we will end the live. That was a good conversation, though. It's kind of sad, but, you know, at least he was honest about the stuff that he said he didn't know. It's like the best we can get. Thank you, APAC. Oh, I already said that, APAC. Blade, remind him also about Hungary. That's true. And yeah, in fact, in Hungary, there was a concentration camp where it was actually just a work camp at first. And Hitler actually wanted to close his camp effectively and actually push the Jews out more. He was trying to displace them. And Haj Amin al-Husseini, the Palestinian Grand Mufti of Jerusalem during the British Mandate for Palestine, he and other leaders, but he mostly convinced Hitler to kill them. Just so you guys know, that camp in Hungary was by far mostly children. He said, don't displace them, slaughter them. And that's absolutely what happened. That was because of the loving Palestinians. Haj Amin al-Husseini, if you guys don't know who he is, you should look him up. You should know who he is, but, you know, if you don't. Idiocracy was a prophecy, not a movie. Absolutely, IGK. Blade, Hungary. Oh, you're correcting. Yeah, I got you. Pingu, love Nick. Thank you. Love you too. Ali and Alex, thank you. Blade, Judaism does have different denominations. I don't agree. But that's okay. We can disagree. Judaism is Judaism. There might be people that observe things differently or believe things differently, but I wouldn't call that the same as a denomination. But fair enough. I mean, I get where you're coming from. Alana, I wonder if you met a Jewish person or spoke to one. Good question. Pingu, Nick for the win. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks, Jamala, for the different jewels. Gifts, if you will. APAC, thanks again. Jamala, you're a hero, Nick. I appreciate you. And Etan, thank you so much, Nick. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Appreciate the super chat and those sticking with me. You need to post it. Oh yeah, this one's getting posted for sure. All right, guys. Licha, Lalatov, I'm Mr. Ochai. God bless America. I'm trying to, before I actually go, I'm trying to like, I do have some videos. I need to edit them. I'm hoping I'm editing a good amount before I leave on vacation, and then I can schedule them to post. I don't have enough to post every day, but maybe at least like every few days, because I really don't want to like just leave and not have anything for you guys. But you know, so I'm trying to